Wrong.
Go to a church, go to a college,
your
go find
That's
a different
wrong.
type of woman because it's probably never going to work with her.
That's wrong.
Why is it wrong?
One time, why my biggest time they were trying to cancel me, and I recently did this. Sorry, my bad, nigga. But check this out. Look, man, I'm gonna say it, and this might be like harsh, chat. I mean it. I'm attacking you guys and the four men on this table. If the men on this table do not own every password of the hoe they're with, something went psychically wrong in your chromosomal development. Are you fucking joking me that we have fucking all of Earth watching us and you don't own her passwords? So people called me out on this. My girlfriend, I start tweeting every ZHERKA shit. I'm fucking logged in right now. I got all their fucking passwords on everything. I got it week 1. When you're a high value male,
this is fucking crazy.
Actually, I don't want ZHERKA.
This is maybe one of the most craziest group of people I've ever seen in my life. It's pretty fucking intense. I'm not sure what this debate's about. Like, they're rotating from Jonah Hill to ZHERKA having all the passwords for his girlfriend and not giving a fuck. And it's pretty crazy. Let's keep watching.
When women weren't this bad in 2016, but dude, it's the fucking easiest thing on earth. And give me the passwords or I'm walking. It's that fucking simple. 40 bitches in his Discord would give him the passwords. He knows it, but he's afraid he's gonna get canceled.
Why am I afraid?
That's true. He could, if he really wanted to, he could tell his fucking lady to give up those passwords. But it's pretty fucking crazy.
It could be emojis and stuff. And hold on, he attacked me for not working. Yeah, I took a break for a while, but I launched Date IQ on my website, the ZHERKA Official, and we did 55,000 less than 18 hours.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure with a reoccurring fee, this was a smarter move.
ZHERKA's a fucking promo maniac. He just fucking promotes all his shit. He finds every opportunity to name drop how many fucking followers he's got, how big his channel's got. And I like it, dude. He's like, he rambles, and then all of a sudden he's like, and I got 50,000 new subscribers. It's like, all right, sick plug.
Streaming retard shit. And really, you need to generate more passive incomes, bro. Like this whole Reddit.
Oh shit, the passive people are fucking nuts. I'm tired of this. You need to get passive income. Most people in their whole the majority of at least Americans don't even have $500 in case of a flat tire. They don't even have enough money to fucking tow their fucking car 30 miles away from where their tire blew out. So it's the most, like, worry about passive income when you have residual money to like handle basic necessities. You like drop everything, fuck everything, get passive income. It's crazy. It's like, I don't even, well, not me personally, but the majority of people don't even have income enough to support a fucking apartment. So to think that like, hey, yo, let's get passive income. It's like, generate fucking actual income first before you start talking about passive income. This doesn't apply to them. Obviously, they're rich. You know, I'm not rich, but this doesn't apply to me. Like, I'm not like, oh, I'm telling people, the majority of people work hard, concentrate. Don't start fucking off your money trying to do extra shit. Lock down your actual income first, then worry about passive income when you have disposable. Don't worry about passive income until you have disposable income. So those talking points annoy the fuck out of me. It's like, bro, you don't even have not them, but sometimes people will tell me, it's like, oh, we need passive income. I'm like, you don't even have actual fucking income. So how the fuck are you going to get passive income?
Oh my god, did I miss the Money Monday with fucking ZHERKA? Can I get some investment? Oh my god.
All right, so guys, we're gonna move over to phase 2 here in a second. I'll read these chats that came in.
God damn. This was there was no debating. They didn't debate dick. Like, this shit's been going on for maybe 30 minutes. I didn't see them. It was just Destiny defending Jonah ZHERKA telling Jonah he should fucking boss up on his ugly chick, and whether she's ugly or not, that doesn't fucking matter. And Destiny being like, oh, he's got some fucking whore that's been a whore, so he knew what he was getting himself into. And then them just attacking each other ad hominem. So there wasn't much of a debate. I don't know.
So real quick, let's go ahead and we got Barty. He goes, John ZHERKA, the Albania Crusader. Cool. John, Destiny, have you been you, Chris. Destiny, have you seen the new Pearl Harbor? Conspiracy or no conspiracy? Be honest.
All right, we spent 6 hours
Yeah, you
going
did
over
watch
that
it.
video. No, I'm sorry. It was a 6-hour video. We spent like 2 days going over that video.
I have a question for you when we get to Rumble.
Is that
That isn't
Dawson?
safe for YouTube.
Yeah,
Is that
we'll go.
Dawson?
No, it's not
No.
Dawson. Destiny, I agree with 95% of what you have to say. I don't agree with most of the RP logic, but I grew up hating my.
Fuck, dude, it trips me out when someone donates like $100 to like chat in some. This fucking guy must have, like, if he's sitting in his apartment with the fucking a can of tuna and he's like, let me fucking chat into Fresh and Fit to tell fucking Destiny some shit. This is just fucking wild. Whenever I see stuff like that, I'm like, I hope you don't need this $100. Like, this is crazy.
Myself for being a guy. I grew up being told men were inferior. We grew up with women can do anything a man can do, but with heels, these dudes actually gave me some pride. Hey, man, that's what it's about, man. Not being a simp. Anything else here, Chris?
No, we're good.
Okay, guys,
guys.
we're gonna go ahead and switch on over
To Rumble.
now, guys. So come on over to Rumble because y'all niggas know why you're here.
Spy planes up.
We got over 50,000 of you guys in here.
Oh,
right now
they're gonna
between
switch
YouTube and
over.
Rumble.
Yep.
So come on over to Rumble.
What happens if I
now, 'cause I'm gonna hit the
stream
sound effect. Get
their
ready to
fucking?
rumble!
Will I get banned from YouTube if I stream their Rumble stream on if I'm live watching? Oh, okay. Well, let's see. I'm gonna go to Rumble right now. We'll see how this goes. Maybe I get banned. I don't know what's the rules on this. Like, they're fucking. I'm just watching them. They're streaming on fucking Rumble. Let's see. If shit gets hella spicy, I'll probably. I'll probably.
And we are
Yeah.
live.
Oh,
What's up, guys?
shit.
Welcome to Fresh Fit Podcast, man. Phase one of the
up.
debate is going to begin now.
Let's go.
Oh, what the fuck?
No, I just know he's a cuck, and he's gonna get mad when he sees this.
Okay,
I
so
know,
that
bitch.
whole.
I said, please let my queen free.
This prison when you look at
Price is king.
Oh, they've been
I remember
streaming
him.
this whole thing
nothing
on
more than
Rumble.
truth. That's the boundaries from.
I disagree. I don't think he made it clear because for a year. All of them are with 18, 19
That's
year old
not
girls.
true, though. We
They
just brought
love
up. What
him.
did I just bring up? Bezos fucking.
Status?
Shooters because the way men flirt versus the way women. Nick Fuentes is in the house. Amen. And then we're gonna switch on over.
Easiest shit on earth. I was doing it before red pill existed when women weren't this bad. Passwords. So people do not own every password of the hoe they're with. Something went.
hide.
Give me the password.
Did I miss the?
Inferior. We grew up with women can do anything. 50,000.
Yeah. Oh, you had it ready. Oh shit. Yeah, I had it ready.
Over, guys, come on over now.
The crazy thing is, like, will people just ban them? Like,
Okay.
I'm watching them on Rumble.
listen.
Like, what the fuck are they talking about that YouTube can't have it? Like, that's the crazy part where you think, like, are they saying such outlandish shit that YouTube's like, 10,000 people can't watch this, or they'll fucking blow their brains out. They'll jump off a fucking building. It's like, what are they talking? The conversation seems so, I don't know, like real, not boring, but it's just like real trivial shit. It's like women don't deserve shit. It's like, okay, everybody knows that. What the fuck?
Oh shit! I think we got a Rumble going on right now. You don't know what time it is, man.
Look who's here.
Come on in, ninjas. Here. Come on in, ninjas.
The leader of the.
Why is that girl crawling? Why is she setting up everything? Is this a mandate? She has to crawl on her feet to fucking set this. Did Myron pay this fucking chick to like not show her face? Like, or is she scared? She's like, oh no, if I'm seen setting up Nick Fuentes' fucking mic, I'm gonna get
Rumble
canceled.
going on right now. You don't know what time it is, man.
Look who's here.
Look at
Come on in, ninjas.
that was fucking weird as fuck. Like, what is she doing? What's that about? Like, is she afraid? Is Nick Fuentes some kind of crazy overlord where she has to bow to him, or what the fuck is going on? This is very strange. Who is this chick?
Yeah, shout out to the ladies in the back getting everything set up and everything else like that. Getting some chairs for the special guests. If
Why weren't the chairs already set up?
you guys don't know,
That's what I'm wondering. Is this like a? I thought they announced they weren't ready for shit. I guess
They
they're
are.
just fucking winging it. This is it, people. These people right here are literally the reason why shit gets banned. Like, these Nazis. I don't know what the fuck to call. For whatever reason, the internet hates these like 3 white guys and a black guy and a Muslim and an Asian dude. It's like a Muslim dude, some white guy, an Albanian, an Asian. Destiny's a white Latino, I guess, and a fucking black guy are the reason why if you have these 4, these are the fucking evil axis of fucking evil right here. These are like Nazis, I guess, where the second you put them on YouTube, your shit's banned. Like, what the fuck could they possibly be saying? Like, I don't know. Like, it's crazy to think that these 6 guys are seen as the axis of evil on the internet. Like, you know, there's fucking dudes that have Twitter accounts and YouTube accounts that are out there fucking chopping people's heads off, like the fucking, you know, the Taliban have a fucking Twitter, y'all. The Taliban's on Twitter. These motherfuckers can't talk about women not being men. It's like, or men not being women. It's fucking nuts. We live in a crazy world where the Taliban can voice fucking hate speech, but some fucking upper middle class fucking white guys can't be like, men and women are different. Canceled. What the fuck? What have we come to? All right, let's go.
We got Nick Fuentes in the house, SNEAKO in the fucking house. Welcome, guys, to phase 2 of the podcast.
I'm gonna be honest. Phase 1 was not. There was no. If phase 2 is any representation of what phase 1 was, it was just ZHERKA and Destiny calling each other cucks. I mean, I don't see anything ban worthy. If YouTube can't have these, this is the thing. It's like, these are the conversations YouTube's like, we can't have guys calling each other cucks on YouTube. It's like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know. It's crazy. All right, let's see. Hopefully, hopefully I see something that's, I'm like, whoa, these are fucking crazy fucking topics. You can't, unless they're talking about indoctrinating children. I'm like, I don't know who gives a fuck. But yeah, these guys literally had to leave to a different platform because their thoughts are so crazy and so out of this world where you'll just get kicked off of YouTube, which seems nuts to me. I don't know. I mean, I've heard some crazy shit in my life, so it's I don't get it. Let's go on.
Can I just introduce Nick real quick?
Go right ahead. Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead, man.
So this nigga actually made me a Christian because I was like, I can't find a masculine Christian channel. Turning the other cheek is kind of gay right now. He actually said the first clip I ever saw after he went.
It's crazy that ZHERKA said I can't find a masculine Christian channel. The guy Nick looks like he's like a $145, like maybe weighs like 150 pounds. I don't know. Our idea of a mask
Scuff podcast, he said, by the way, that whole Jesus was a hippie, that's a psyop. That's totally fake news. And he said this as a fucking teenager, and then he went into why. And it was a reoccurring loop, a thought in my head for years. I'm like, bro, I wonder how many channels are going to look like his. He's doing great. 0. He's the only one doing Christianity a fucking favor. And on his own fucking website, banned off everything, 7,000 concurrent viewers. He does 50,000 if it's a political.
Why do these guys get banned?
No one in this
I'm
fucking
fucking so confused on why these guys get banned. I still have yet to hear anything. It's like, oh, he hates Jews. It's like that. Okay, a lot of people hate Jews. I mean, is that right? I don't fucking know if it's right or not. But people hate Jews. People hate fucking black people. People hate white people. Does that mean that you just can't talk about things anymore? I don't know. It's crazy. It's like now it's become a badge of honor for you to be some like lame looking white guy and say something that everybody else has been saying forever, and it's like banned or whatever. It's like, look, I got banned from YouTube because I said Jews run media. They fucking do. Look at fucking media companies. Who's the head of the fucking media company? Fucking Jews. I mean, I don't hate them. I'm just saying they're the heads of the media. I mean, every company has a boss. What the fuck? I don't know.
Fucking website. That's the future president, nigga.
Cozy.tv/Nick, man. Check him out over there,
W
guys.
Glazing.
W Glazing.
Snake me and glaze Nick.
Go park a camel,
ZHERKA.
Muslim.
Yeah, so guys, I mean, right now, what you guys are seeing is a fucking historic event. We got all these individuals at the same fucking table, in person, live.
What I will say that's strange is that, which it doesn't usually happen, my stream keeps cutting in and out, which is weird. I'm not sure what's causing that. I don't know if that means I'm going to be banned. If so, fuck it. I'll start a new channel. I don't really care. But what's it called? Like, that's a first, though, where my channel just keeps giving out and it keeps unpairing. Not just on YouTube, but on Twitch, too. And I don't know what the reason is, but it just keeps kicking me off. I don't know. I don't see anything. It's like, yo, fucking... I don't know what the rules are to going live, but... The thing is, it's like, I have a YouTube account. I post. I make shorts. On fucking... I go live. But if you ask me, hey, what are the rules to going live? I have no fucking idea. I have no clue what I can and can't do. I don't know what I can and can't do until I get a strike or a warning. I'm like, oh, I guess I couldn't do that. I don't read any terms of service. I don't know. I fucking signed up for Apple TV and I just hit, yeah, sign me up. I don't care. Like, I'm not worried about it. So if I'm breaking YouTube's guidelines, I have no fucking clue. So we're just going to keep rolling tape until my live stream keeps getting knocked off from both Twitter and YouTube. I'm not sure if YouTube and Twitch are doing that, but the signal keeps going down and I'll stop streaming, or I'm not sure what's happening. But let's go.
Only here at Freshandfit, man. So all the guys' links are below. And here's the other thing, too, I want to say. W Free Speech, W Rumble. Shout out to Nick and SNEAKO. Guys, go support them on their platforms, rumble.com/SNEAKO, and then cozy.tv/Nick. And yeah, bro, I'm fucking happy to have these guys. We do the collabs that everyone else is scared to do. So today we're
like, what the fuck are they scared of? Like a fucking tall Asian cat and some fucking white guy? I don't know what the fuck. Who's scared of these guys? Like, because they're saying fucking random shit. Like, oh, I'm Muslim. It's like, ban. It's like, what the fuck? I still don't get it. It's like, I guess, you know, if you've been out in the real world and seen crazy shit, the neighborhood I live in right now, there'll be a drive-by, like, randomly, for whatever fucking reason, you know? So I don't care that some fucking white guy says, hey, we shouldn't, black and white people should be having kids together. I'm like, motherfuckers is getting shot on the street. There's a fucking crack dealer down the street from me. Like, I don't care that some fucking white guy says Jews run media. It's like, what the fuck? There's bigger shit going on.
We're going to be talking about a very special topic.
Yes, very much so.
We're going to cover the JQ, goddammit. And quite frankly, you guys have been waiting for this for a while.
So what is the JQ?
I think the audience already knows what that is.
Yeah, I think they do.
If you don't know, you're an op.
Yeah, you don't know, you're an op. So basically, guys, we're going to cover, American foreign policy. We're going to cover Zionism. We're going to cover all that.
You can't talk about American foreign policy on YouTube. Is that a rule? Like, why did they have to switch to Rumble to talk about American foreign policy? What does that mean? Like, are they going to give crazy, like, interpretations without any facts? Because if you can't talk about American foreign policy on YouTube, there's way bigger fucking problems. Like, if this channel gets banned with its fucking 300 subscribers because I'm watching some motherfuckers talk about foreign policy, that's a fucking way bigger problem.
Shit. I think you guys already know what sides we have here, versus Destiny and Nick. So I guess what I'll kick it off with is I'll let you guys.
Like, all right, I'm just going to watch it because I don't know. It's like, is this the axis of evil? Are these the motherfuckers like tearing society apart? I still trip out that it's a Muslim guy, some white guy, an Albanian guy, an Asian cat, Destiny's white guy I'm going to go with, and some dude from like Barbados. And it's just like, they are saying such crazy stuff that they have to be relegated to the corners of the internet where no one can see, because they were arguing for 30 minutes on whether Jonah Hill's chick should be posting provocative photos or not. Like, that's what gets you, like, that's the crazy topic. Like, his girl's a fucking surfer that likes other male attention besides Jonah Hill, and YouTube's just like, ban, bitch, you can't talk about Jonah Hill. It's like, what the fuck? I don't know. I've yet to see something that I'm like, whoa, this is a crazy take. I haven't seen any fucking takes. They've just argued with each other, called Adam 22 a cuck, which he is. I mean, he let his girl get fucked by some other guy while being married, and they have a kid together. So I don't think they're saying anything outlandish, but once again, I don't know YouTube's terms of service, so maybe this is against the rules, but we'll see.
Just kind of
Let's
make
go.
your intro statements and then
Intro
from there, you
statements?
can just
What the fuck
go.
is this
So,
debate
what's
about? Dude, if their intro statements isn't like the US did 9/11, I'm gonna be like, this is soft as shit.
Well, I think it's the person who's in the affirmative.
Hold on
Wait,
one
wait,
second,
hold
Nick.
on.
All right, we got you. You're on live now. Go ahead.
Hello?
Nick.
Test,
Yeah,
test, test.
yeah, they got your mic.
Fucking
now.
mic.
Is it? I don't hear him.
I don't hear him either.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
That's
turn it
because
up
he
'cause
won.
it's-
Nick won. You're destroyed. You're in the shadow realm. It's over.
literally.
Five, Mo.
Sicko, you want to go
He's
first?
on
They
mic
got
five.
the call.
Nick, remember
This guy
who
better.
you-
This guy honestly better say some fucking wild shit. If nobody on this fucking podcast says some fucking crazy outlandish shit, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. I'm gonna fucking go bananas because these are the fucking banned people of the internet. We have to relegate these fucking white guys to the corners because they're saying some stupid shit. It's like, what the fuck?
Hey, I can go.
The masses can't hear these ideas of white people can't marry black people. It's like, what the fuck?
You debated him in the sequel. You're like, my powers have doubled since the last time we met. That was fucking hilarious. Yo, we're the dark side.
Go ahead.
the
We're good.
fucking-
We're
God damn it, these guys. I mean, I like them. They're funny. They're comedic, but it's not like provocative. It's not anything crazy. It's like women need to be in the kitchen. It's like, oh wow.
Yeah, so opening statements. I mean,
Oh my God, no, he said he said the no, don't do it words. It's like, what the fuck?
I haven't talked about this with Destiny extensively. We've had a lot of debates, but this is like the number one uncomfortable topic that every single, not even conservative pundit, but everybody is afraid to talk about this. There's always this loomy feeling that
They're about to talk about the number one. This is Voldemort. They're fucking gonna utter the fucking dark arts. They're fucking. They're treating like this. They're fucking talking about Voldemort. Like, what the fuck? It's like, we can't utter these words on the general public. It's like, what the fuck?
you can't discuss this, and they always find
They're really amping up the fact that this is a no-go. You cannot talk about this. And I hope it's worth it, dude. I really hope it's worth it.
ways to avoid it. Even like people that I used to look up to, you look at what they're talking about. Matt Walsh, for example, he made this tweet, and he's supposed to be like the face of anti-trans, right? He did this tweet, and he was outlining who created the trans movement, and he tried to pin it on the Nazis. And you look at who he was talking about. He was
Who's
being,
that?
I thought the trans movement was started by some German scientist who coined the phrase cisgender? I think it was some like pervert, right? Some fucking dude that was like, the best things we can do. He said something about a relation between a young boy and a man. I think that's the guy that created the term cisgender. So I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it was some German dude or Russian, but they created those terms. Some gender, I don't know, scientist. I don't fucking know.
I should tell you, actually, he'd fuck one.
he was being really clever with it. He was trying to say that his name is Hirschfield, I think, Magnus Hirschfield, who created the sex reform back in the 30s, and he was German, and so he tried to make the tweet insinuating that it was Nazis and it was Germans, but you actually look into it, and Hirschfield was a specific religion, a specific group of people, but he leaves that out for reasons that you can kind of understand when you look at who he works for, when you look at who's in charge.
Oh, this is basically going to be a conversation about Jews. Can you not talk about Jews on the internet? Is that fucking, you'll get cursed or something? What's going on? No one can talk about Jews? Damn, dude. That fucking thing with the Holocaust and all that shit that happened, I mean, I don't know if I would go to this extreme, but I don't know who's more untouchable right now. Jews or the LGBT community? Because you can rag on the the alphabet community, LGBT plus, Two Spirit, all that shit. But the second you start talking about Jews, you're fucking banned. I don't know what it is. Once again, if you control media, you get to control what's said and what's not said. If you control, I don't know who owns YouTube. I don't know if that's a Jewish person. Maybe. Fuck it. But apparently, damn, the people you definitely can't talk about more than the alphabet community is Jews, apparently. Everyone's scared. If you look at Jews, if you actually look at the Jewish people, they sound really nasally. They have like there's no really like, I'm like, physically intimidating Jews as far as I see. I don't see any Jews where I'm like, damn, that's a scary motherfucker. But they hold a lot of power, so I guess if you hold a lot of power, you intimidate people. But if I see a Jew on the street, I'm not like, oh, fuck, I'm in danger or whatever. But if you're in there, you know, if you're in this community, the media community, if you're in social media or whatever, in YouTube or any of these, you know, avenues, then yeah, you are afraid of fucking Jews. Like, look what happened to Kanye. He said some shit about Jews. He got fucking, everything was all cool. He said he loved Donald Trump, no fucking problem. He fucking said black people weren't fucking slaves. It was a fucking choice. No fucking problem. The second Kanye West said something about Jews, canceled. Fuck them. So that's crazy. But like me, you can't cancel me because I'm not anybody. I'll just start. I've only have a fucking 400 subscribers on YouTube. I'll start a new channel. I can get 400 subscribers in a fucking day.
Judeo-Christianity. It's like you gotta pick up the sword and fight the dragon. The guy always cries like a fucking homosexual. Jordan Peterson is a psyop, and he never once answered the JQ, but he went live, his first time live, and someone said, hey, answer the JQ, and he knew what it was. So he said, answer the Jewish question. Well, that's a hell of a question. And that commenter came back after the live stream was over, and he typed, it had so many upvotes. This kid's so brilliant. He's probably 16-year-old Nazi. I love this kid. But he wrote this. Why is it a hell of a question? Because you talk about all groups of people. Why is that a hell of a question? Total psyop. Fuck that.
Okay, so it seems like this is so they'll get banned for talking about Jews. I don't know. I've been pausing it a lot because I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, if this gets banned, I'm gonna flip out and be like, this was the most fucking boring conversation. I'm gonna fucking super chat $100 to Freshandfit and be like, get back to fucking roasting these dumb bitches. Forget about these goddamn Jews.
Well, all of them they avoided. Alex Jones has notoriously avoided his whole career, and then you look at why. You look at why Kanye West kind of broke it down by finally being probably the biggest.
Oh shit! I just said that. I'm fucking Kanye West. Yeah, I knew this too. This conversation was super predictable. Oh god, this is lame, dude. I mean, this is a lame conversation.
This person to ever speak about it.
It was built up. It was really hyped up. But to just be like, you think Jews give a fuck if you talk about them? They don't give a shit. They got the fucking banks. They got the media. They got the fucking money. They don't care if some fucking Asian, some Albanian, a white fucking racist, a Muslim dude, another white guy, and a fucking guy from wherever fucking Fresh is from, somewhere in Africa or some shit. I don't know where. You think Jews in power give a fuck that these motherfuckers are talking about them? No one gives a fuck. They don't give a fuck. They're fucking counting their fucking gold. They don't give a shit about this.
And then Destiny's over here, and he says that this is a crazy conspiracy theorist. Like, that we're crazy for talking about it. He thinks that it's wild.
It's not a conspiracy theory. I mean, all right, who owns CNN? Someone does, right? Stakeholders, shareholders, but there's always a majority owner. Every company, every business, I mean, the Rothschild family, right? They own centralized banks. They're Jews. Everything is owned by somebody. You know, Carlos Slim, he owns all the telecommunications in Mexico. In Mexico, you would say, oh, who's a really powerful person? Carlos Slim, he owns most of telecommunications. So he's Mexican, but in his area, he's the most powerful, one of the most powerful people. Maybe he has a boss. Maybe it's a Jewish person. I don't fucking know. But it's like the people at the top aren't worried about these fucking guys.
That they'll say.
But if you're saying that, if they're trying to say that people have ulterior motives or they have everyone has a fucking plan. Whether it's about execution. of the plan. If your plan is to allocate resources, take over, that's corporation in general. All businesses, you think AT&T isn't trying to fuck over Verizon? You think fucking, look at Zuckerberg and fucking Elon Musk. They're literally going to get into a fucking fist fight over fucking social media. A fucking old 52-year-old man and a fucking lizard are going to fight in the cage over who has the better fucking platform for people to argue about fucking aliens. That's what the fuck is happening. It's like Elon Musk beefing it with fucking Zuckerberg. All people are looking to advance their motives. So it should just be like it's a conspiracy that Jews don't have the same motivations. Everyone has those fucking motivations. I'm trying to get to the fucking top too. The next guy's trying to get to the top. If you need to fuck over 100,000 people to get to the fucking top, you fucking do that.
Say words like
Go
you're a
back to it.
Nazi, that you're anti-Semitic. I mean, they've written articles about me. It's part of the reason that I got banned for platforming Nick back on the YouTube days. But then you look at the stuff that Destiny promotes, for example, and you look at his ideology, right? Socialist. You look at who's the biggest democratic
Wait,
socialist.
what?
in
I'm a
2016.
socialist?
I mean, you're leftist, and so you kind of like
Bro, I
fall
don't think
into
you know
that.
what socialism means. Can you
Bro.
stick to like what's in your
I don't think Destiny's he can't be a socialist, right? Destiny can't be a socialist because he's like money. I mean, he's money hungry. I mean, he says these people are low IQ, they don't know shit, but he's always on their platforms. So he either enjoys, being in the mud with the pigs, or he knows where money's there to be made. So I don't think he's socialist because he loves money. I mean, he's a capitalist. He believes in free business because he's here with these guys making money. They're all gonna make money, so.
dictionary?
He's a market tard. He's literally a capitalist.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's
see,
Nico
I
finish
fucking
it.
knew it. Yeah, he's a fucking capitalist. He's a free market guy. He can't be a socialist because he's here in this fucking platform, fucking expanding his fucking presence, getting more views. You can't be a fucking socialist and, want to expand business. And he's a business guy. I mean, they all are, but everybody is. It's just a matter of how high you want your business to grow.
Yeah,
thing,
red
and then
pill,
we'll
blue
turn it-
pill,
yeah.
Well, okay,
Islam.
well,
Go
leftist
ahead.
ideology.
Uh-huh.
Communism was created by Karl Marx, and the biggest democratic socialist is Bernie Sanders. The right things that transgenderism thing.
The whole Bernie Sanders, he writes books and gets paid for it. Bernie Sanders wants poor people to be socialists. He's not talking about himself. If he did, all the money that he would get from selling books, he donated to people and make sure everybody's on an even platform. He has vacation homes. He has multiple properties. He's not a socialist. He wants you to be you to be as poor with everybody else. But Bernie Sanders himself is not a socialist because he doesn't donate any of his properties. He'd give away all of his homes if he was a socialist. That's the thing. When a lot of these guys talk about socialism, they're not talking about socialism for themselves. They're talking about socialism for all the poor people. They want poor people to not be able to move up. The good thing about America, one of the reasons why I love America, is that anybody in this fucking country, if you fucking grind and whatever it is, whatever field you want to be in, whatever fucking, you can be the best fucking plumber if you want to be the best plumber, but you have to fucking try. And that's what's great about America.
You think that women could turn into men? That's also created by Magnus Hirschfeld.
I don't know if that's a socialist thing to say men can become women. I don't know if that's just like socialists outright believe that. I think that's more of like I don't know what that is. Is that socialism? I don't think that's socialism. I'm going to be honest.
You look.
Oh
at,
shit! God damn it!
Like everything that you stand for.
Bro, I
it's
didn't
all-
even
if
see
you
your
look at the
fucking
vaccine,
comment.
for example.
For
You look
what-
at who created that? Who's Peter Hotez? Is
Yeah, I
afraid
know.
to-
I am live on a live. I didn't
to have
even
a
see
debate
these
with
comments.
Joe Rogan
God
about
damn it!
that.
This fucking
Well,
system.
he's been the
shit.
biggest one showing it on
Fucking
children.
shit.
Oh, okay. Because you said created.
Hey,
it, and
what's
now
going
you're
on,
just saying
brother?
it kinda
Oh, wait a
promoted
minute.
it, so-
Yeah, I'm live on a live. Dude, it's crazy that it's like they're talking about like they're about to, expose the fucking some crazy unknown information. It's like, yo, Jews control everything. It's like, yeah, we already know that. Everybody knows that. It's okay. It happens. Someone needs to be on top. There's always no one's ever. It's never gonna be everybody on top. It's okay. It's like, fucking dudes. It's like, God, this has been a pretty lame live. Like, to think that they had to switch over to Rumble to talk about the stupid shit they're talking about right now is crazy. But let's go.
Reading it and making yourself.
I pointed out as a thing for this conversation.
And
These words
let
are
me make
always
my-
mixed up because
okay.
nobody has anything about to say about this topic.
I didn't say created. I said the one that pushing it on the kids. And you look.
You said creative, then look at people like Peter.
Sure, I
Wait,
correct myself.
After the Washington Post and all the
These young kids, if they are pushing socialism on young kids, they're doing it in the fucking worst way possible because all kids love is more and more shit. Kids, give me more shit. They're like, feed us more shit. And you need to have shit to feed. The second they're like, all right, now go wait in line for fucking bread. These kids are off the fucking socialist boat. All these kids, all young people want to do is not have to fucking work for anybody. And how do you not work for anybody? You make enough money to where no one can tell you shit. You're actually creating, wealth without having to be at a 9-to-5 job. I mean, that's the bottom line. If you want true wealth, working a 9-to-5 job will rarely create generational wealth. It's rare, it can happen, but you have to allocate resources. So, trust me, these kids are not down for socialism.
those news agencies and think tanks, they all, released an amnesty and apologized about the vaccine. Are you going to apologize for promoting it?
The funniest thing about the vaccine topic, and nobody will admit it, which I predicted 2 years ago, is every single thing that was complained about to be a conspiracy about the vaccine, none of it came true. Vaccine passports aren't permanent. Governments didn't permanently.
I mean, some things came true. Like, look at all the rise in cases of myocarditis, or I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Myocarditis, basically a heart problem. I mean, more people have randomly just dropped dead, especially professional athletes that are in some of the best health have just dropped dead out of nowhere. That never happened before. Look at Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx randomly ended up in the hospital, was like blind and fucking paralyzed. Where did that come from? That MMA fighter, he just randomly had a heart attack and just fucking now is brain damaged and shit. It's pretty disingenuous to say, for Destiny to say, oh, nothing's happened. It's like, what kind of
Talk about injuries.
Governments didn't permanently.
yeah, see, I have to talk about the injuries. You can't just say, oh, governments, they don't have ultimate power. So, I mean, everyone in Australia gave up their guns. So they're fucked for sure in Australia. China was welding people into their homes. So, I mean, some things were happening. You can't say nothing happened.
Expanded power.
Injuries.
There were not mass deaths.
There was mass deaths. I mean, what the fuck?
There wasn't
is
a
wrong?
mass forced vaccination program.
They didn't really force you, but they made it very difficult to not. I mean, I'm not vaccinated. I never got any of the vaccines. But for months, I couldn't do shit. I couldn't go to concerts. I couldn't travel. You fucking were fucking fucked.
There weren't mass side effects.
Then why
There were
would they say, I'm sorry? Why would Washington Post release an amnesty? Why?
ZHERKA, I don't deal in headlines. If you want to talk about a substantive article, go for it, but I don't care what headline you've read on Twitter.
You don't like headlines?
Which is the extent to what you do for research, right?
Damn. That's true. You do got to do research with Destiny. You got to come correct. He is going to fucking hold your feet to the fire. But yeah, I mean, if I was there, I would just be like, well, what about... I'd start naming professional athletes that had dropped of sudden heart attacks while performing their sport of choice, which we've never seen before. The guy from the Bills had a heart attack essentially on the field. The MMA fighter training for a fight in August, training jiu-jitsu, boom, heart attack. I can go on, but there's a lot of cases where people have just dropped of heart attacks that we've never seen before. Once again, Jamie Foxx ended up in the hospital. There's been an uprise of cases of people just falling into cardiac arrest, people dropping at grocery stores. He's incorrect, but ZHERKA doesn't have any of the resources or any of the information maybe at the top of his head to, cite. But I know he's seen headlines, so he's going to quote it. And Destiny, he's going to hold them to it and be like, well, you have to name actual facts. I doubt Destiny has any statistics to counter any of the things I'm saying. I can go on of all the professional athletes that we've used, swimmers, tennis players. There's been a huge uprise since 2021 of people dropping from heart attacks. Let's see. I'm gonna play
so
this in the
let me
Notice
background.
that.
All
Notice
these guys
that.
apologize
Notice
except
that.
you.
Let
Yeah.
Destiny finish his
Notice
point, and then I
how-
don't want to spend too much time on the vax because we
Oh
have the
my
other
gosh.
topic.
Sure, we can go
Destiny, I'll
whatever,
let you
but I'm
finish
just saying
what you were going to say.
the
Go ahead,
vaccine topic
please.
is the perfect topic because notice how much the goalposts have moved. When that thing first came out, we were going to turn into magnets. Fucking Bill Gates was going to
And-
microchip us into being
You're
gay.
so bad
We were
faith,
going to get
bro.
fucking killed. There were going to be mass fucking
No,
heart problems. All this
I
shit.
said-
Literally,
Zherka, let him finish,
none
bro.
of it came true. None of it came
What
true.
about mine?
All the vaccine passport, bro. How long have you been
What
fucking
about mine?
roids,
During
bro? Come
COVID,
on.
the first
Dude, you had a heart issue before COVID even happened. I've watched your streams.
Lifford,
Why are you trying to lie right in front of me?
No,
We've
I
seen
didn't,
the
I
video.
didn't say what
Alright.
about my heart. I said what about my conspiracy that they're gonna plunge everyone into debt as all monopolies triple their fucking net worth, and that's what fucking happened. Every mom and pop shop closed. McDonald's tripled their net worth, and you're pretending you didn't see
Do
any
you
of
need a
that.
conspiracy to explain why big business gets bigger and mom and pop shops die?
So
Do you not understand anything about the fucking economy? So why do you think a big business is a big
exactly,
business?
that's my point. Isn't it shady to you?
What? No, what's shady about a larger business staying in business and a smaller business going out of business?
Wait.
What's the shady part?
Okay, let's see. So this is just a quick search, and I mean, I can go to more deeper searches, of course, but 3 years after the COVID-19 first appeared, over 750 million people in the world have been infected with. Recent research has shown that some of these people are more likely to experience cardiovascular issues such as irregular heartbeats, strokes, and heart failure. It's happening. I mean, from the vaccine. I mean, there's anything that was rushed within 6 months and say this is gonna be a cure all for everybody is living in a fucking dream. So yeah, Destiny is kind of wrong on this. He's not informed, but he's good at debating and he's good at shutting down anecdotal evidence. But there is evidence to prove that what he's saying is incorrect.
Hold on.
And once again, yeah, Destiny is right about businesses growing and, but they closed down. This is Zherka's point. He can't elaborate it correctly, but Zherka's point was if you owned a grocery outlet or a hardware store that wasn't a huge, a Walmart, a fucking, a corporation, they shut you down. If you had a restaurant that wasn't a corporation, you got shut down. At least in California, where I reside, why didn't Walmart get closed down? They're like, oh, well, they're necessary. It's like, well, why can't people just shop at this hardware store? Oh, they're not gonna have the proper PPE. It's like, no, there was a huge redistribution of wealth after the whole COVID vaccine or the whole COVID thing. To say there wasn't a redistribution of wealth and this is only the side effect of corporations getting larger, it's a pretty disingenuous argument from Destiny. I mean, you can't just be like, oh, businesses get bigger. I mean, corporations get bigger. Yeah, of course, mom and pop businesses always go out. It's like, yeah, but they weren't in the situation he's given. Yeah, corporations get larger, but you're not mandated by the government to close down your businesses while others stay up. They were closing down mom and pop restaurants, but the entertainment industry in Los Angeles could keep on filming, keep producing movies. What does that mean? That we have to think realistic, Destiny does this great job of like yelling and cutting you off. So he seems correct, but there was a redistribution of wealth, but it's disingenuous the way he phrases it.
You know what's shady about that? That's just unbelievable.
Go ahead, Nick.
Because the government literally made deals that some businesses could
Yeah,
stay
see,
open and
I knew it. That's the thing. It's like, Destiny, you fucking crazy.
some were forced to stay closed. That's
What
what's
deals?
shady about it. Like, for example, they said that Walmart and Walgreens could stay open and small
I literally said Walmart. Yeah, see,
businesses had to shut down.
No, they didn't.
They
You're just
absolutely did.
lying.
Go back and Google it.
I don't need to go back. Okay, yeah, you can
Absolutely.
Google at home if you want
There's
to,
a
but in the
press conference
supermarkets,
where Trump goes out
No.
there.
I don't know this Nick guy that much, but yeah, Walmart was allowed to stay open. The industry I was in at the time when I was working, we were considered necessary. We were whatever it was, because we repaired appliances. You can't tell people to stay at home and their fucking fridge not work. So we were considered mandatory or whatever, we frontline workers or whatever the fuck. So, but there was other businesses that were closed down, but some had special privileges. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. Walmart, if Walmart has an indoor dining in their store, that portion had to be closed, but you could still shop at Walmart, but you couldn't. It was very selective. Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, made it to where his restaurant, the French Laundry, could stay open, but other nearby restaurants were closed. It's very selective.
Says that Walmart can stay open. Some businesses were allowed to stay open, and some had to stay.
I wish they had someone on the panel that's impartial that could pull up receipts, because right now it's just going to become who sounds more convincing. Destiny's going to yell, "That's not true," and Nick's going to say, "It is true." That's just arguing. Unless they have someone, Googling, what's true and what's not, it just becomes into who is a better debater. But they're arguing that you can't debate facts, and the facts were that some businesses were allowed to stay open and others weren't.
What was, so that viewers at home can look it up. So what's like a city or state where you're telling me let's be clear about your claim. There are some states or cities where Walmart was allowed to stay open, but other supermarkets or other stores, not a church, not a recreational gathering. Okay.
Yes,
All right.
100%. And if you go and look it up,
So,
absolutely. And not only that, but not only that, but also as large as wealth transfer, because they printed $6 trillion, and
He's right. Yeah.
then they spent $3 trillion. They doubled the money supply in 1 year, and then it was the largest deficit the United States has ever run. Where do you think that money goes? Where do you think that money goes to? The cash transfer in COVID.
Nick came ready. I mean, ZHERKA might say some wild shit, and it's funny, it's entertaining, but Destiny's going to have a harder time with Nick because, he does do research.
$2,500 check or whatever, $1,000 check, I forget what it was. That cash transfer, which I think it was
immigrant check.
Yeah, right. In spring of 2020, that was a $250 billion part of a $3 trillion spending bill. All that other money went to the airlines. It went to all the big companies that had to be bailed out. And when
No
you talk about
company got,
quantitative
bro, do you
easing,
know anything about finance? No company got bailed out. There was the
Are you kidding
there
me?
was the
So yeah, if you have a corporation, once again, so my family owns a business. We have not a pretty big business, but it generates millions of dollars in revenue, and we provide jobs. We have workers that have to stay maintained. So yeah, we were able to apply for, depending on how much your business generated, we had to provide tax returns to show what amount of wealth we were producing and how many employees we had. Because of that, then you were allowed to apply for loans from the government that they were stating might or might not, depending on the situation, might be forgiven, or they would be pushed over to the cost for the taxpayers. So yeah, if they were offering that to us, where we're not a airline or a huge corporation, then they were definitely getting it. I can speak clearly on this because, once again, my family owns a business. We do very well. So it's ingenuine. Destiny's, I don't know if he has employees. I don't know what his situation is, but if you have employees, you could have applied for that money. So, and it was called PPE. I mean, a lot of people lied on those loan applications. It was crazy. Like, hedge funds were getting money. Nick chose a bad word and said bail out, but they weren't technically bailing them out. But yeah, it was free. It was money given from the government. It was a bit of a bailout. It's not exactly what it was. It was called a PPE loan, and Destiny's a stickler for words. So
PPP, there was a paycheck
See,
protection
here we go.
program,
Yeah.
which is where you paid a company that was to compensate them for W-2 wages that were holding
the
employees on
airlines
through.
didn't get bailed out.
People got money
Wait,
to
the
maintain.
airlines didn't get bailed out.
Airlines are one of the least profitable businesses in the entire fucking United
Okay,
States.
So the
What
airlines
is it
got
talk-
bailed out.
Okay, go over it.
There you go. Okay,
There,
so that
there,
it
there,
just
were,
got
there,
totally
were, there,
destroyed.
there were massive,
You're
the
just not
largest
gonna win
government
on
programs. The largest government programs. You go, I took a fucking PPP loan. Do you know anything about finance?
Oh, okay, so he did take out a loan. Okay, yeah, I figured. I mean, the majority of a lot of corporations took out loans. So
The PPP loan and a lot of the bailouts you talk about were available for any company to go in and reach for. Okay, that's the reality. There were
you had to get approved. Most of the first loans that were picked up were by hedge fund corporations, which, I mean, The thing about it is those loans were originally given out to people that had to lay off people that couldn't work, that couldn't even work from home. The company we own is a construction company, so you can't work from home when you're doing construction. You're building new homes, whatever. So it was disingenuous for the hedge fund companies to take out those loans for employees that were on W-2s that could technically work from home. They were originally designed for people that couldn't keep employees on their payroll because you had to produce something. You can't produce homes and people can't be next. It became a big mess, but yeah. Whoever took advantage of it was smart.
There weren't favorable companies. Like you're just wrong.
Like the airline
just like
industry?
the
They didn't
Walmart
bail
and
out the
supermarket.
airline
Home run
industry.
derby
You're
on.
just
Like
making
they
shit
didn't
up.
bail out
You're
the
just
biggest
making shit
companies.
up.
And quantitative easing doesn't benefit the banks and doesn't benefit the biggest corporations. Also,
Yeah, I'm still looking for. I mean, I'm not watching it live, but I'm still waiting for the point where they're talking about a topic so outlandish that they had to leave YouTube. There's yet to be a topic where I'm like, oh man, this is gonna get censored. I don't see anything worth censoring on this. This conversation could be on YouTube. If this conversation can't be on YouTube, that's fucking crazy because they're talking about fucking PPE loans. Like, what the fuck, bro? I don't know. These are the dark horses of YouTube. These are the guys that can't. This is fucking the league of fucking dark villains on YouTube, and they're fucking talking about PPE loans, bro. What the fuck?
Every single thing monetary policy benefits the wealthy people. That's
The general public can't hear these guys talk about fucking loans.
also, do you acknowledge
Fresh and Fit must be like, wow, we hyped this up to be a conversation on how Jews control the government and social media and media en masse, and they're arguing about who got PPE loans and who didn't.
tax cuts benefit the wealthy?
tax cuts benefit everybody.
No,
Sometimes.
hold on. The
Trump
QE
tax
benefit.
cuts. I saw you tweeted about the Trump tax
The
cuts.
QE benefited everybody.
wanna
right?
talk about the Trump tax
does
cuts?
more liquidity in a market benefit
You
everybody
wanna
looking
talk-
for money?
So you're admitting now that tax
So
cuts
you-
benefit everybody.
No,
That's
I'm
what you're
saying that tax
I mean,
cuts
you
disproportionately
admitted that.
benefit the wealthy.
They
Just like the
introduced more
bailouts
liquidity,
also
which means they benefit everybody, just like you acknowledge.
Oh, dude.
All right.
I mean, it's just
They need a better way to moderate and stay on topic. Someone fact checking as well because they're gonna say a whole bunch of wild shit that doesn't make any sense.
Right, what is
Destiny,
it called?
Destiny
Guys,
shifted the goalpost
guys.
before he even
No one is
finished the
shifting a
opening.
goalpost.
guys.
I don't even know if you can see where the goalposts are.
Oh, thanks. Hey, man, shout out who's ever in the chat right now or who's ever watching. Thanks for chatting in. I appreciate you. Normally I have a different setup so the chats can be seen live, but when they announced this thing was going to go live, I kind of rushed. Let me see if I can change it real quick. And then let's see. Because sometimes it doesn't work. Oh, shit. I don't know if you can see this on fucking... Let me see. I'm going to try to switch. Fuck. Let me see. If I can overlay these over this. I don't think it's going to work. I fucking rushed this shit. Oh, man. Okay, well. Let's see. I'll just go back to this one. And cross. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be able to work. But I rushed it because I thought it was going to be a lot more captivating. I thought they were going to talk about a lot more interesting things, to be honest. But they've just been arguing about Jonah Hill's girlfriend and PPE loans, essentially. So I don't know. Maybe things get more interesting.
It was about
I got my
JQ,
work
and
cut
then
out
you
for me
immediately
to
started talking about
moderate this.
airlines.
the only
That's
one
what
who
you
should
did.
have been bailed out was Muhammad Atta. He was a good guy.
All right.
Let's talk about the Jews
No,
now.
real quick. Yeah.
But yeah,
so
thanks.
This is what we're gonna do, guys. I'm gonna moderate this thing. I'm not gonna be participating. I'm just gonna moderate.
Honestly, Myron should participate because if not, they're just going to keep going off the rails. I mean, Fresh isn't going to say anything because I don't think Fresh is honestly that interested in these types of conversation. I'm with Fresh. Get back to yelling at whores about how stupid they are. Oh no, thanks, man. Oh, cool. All right, cool. Thanks, Joe. Nah, man, honestly, I like their shows most of the time. They're very interesting, but sometimes when you hype something up to something crazy extent that like this is what no one wants you to see, this is what YouTube doesn't want you to see, and it's most times things don't deliver. But yeah, this has been somewhat boring. It's been interesting in the sense that they became really full of themselves to think that this is going to be some crazy debate. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, there's still a
this
lot.
is mainly between Nick and Destiny. We're going to talk about the JQ, the thing that everyone else is scared of. I think SNEAKO did a great preamble there talking about everyone is scared to talk about this, but we will talk about it. So I'm going to turn it to Destiny first.
Who's everybody? Who's afraid to talk about Jews? I don't know. Like, are they not saying Jew? They're still not saying Jews even on Rumble. Like, is the term Jews banned? Can we not say Jews? I don't know. I'm still so confused. Is there in the terms of service can someone put the terms of service for YouTube on my chat and let me know if the word Jews has been strict, because I had no idea when they were saying JQ what they were talking about.
What's your stance on the situation, Destiny? And then we'll just have
they're
Nick
finally
go off of that.
gonna get into
right.
it. After an hour of arguing about nonsense, we're finally into the actual meat and potatoes of the situation.
Is
Please.
certain groups of people will act in certain ways, and people will take those behaviors and they'll try to use that in some really weird way to explain every single thing that's going on in the world. Sometimes people, so for instance, they're like, oh, well, these people are disproportionately represented in some area, which for Jewish people, which for all people are true, right? You call a guy for help on your PC, probably going to talk to an Indian more likely than.
Okay. Also, I understand the points he's going to make. You're not talking to an Indian person about your computer issues because Indians know more about computers. You're talking to an Indian person about your computer because outsourcing made it more cost effective to. Instead of having American call centers, they diverted all those call centers to a different country. That's not Indians being better at fucking computers. That's a corporation choosing to move their to outsource their business. I don't think Indians are that much more capable with computers. Anyone can be capable, especially with modern technology, millennials, and then Gen Z. Everyone knows how to use a computer. It's about cost effective with call centers. It's more of a call center issue. I have a friend, he owns a company where his call center he repairs appliances. His call center, the people when they want to schedule, is in the Philippines. It's cheaper for him to pay 2 Filipino bitches to fucking answer the phone and create the schedule than have a fucking person in California paying them $15 an hour or whatever California's minimum wage is now, which I think it's 15. Pay them $15 fucking an hour to say, okay, your appointment is at 12 o'clock, doing that all day long. It doesn't make any fucking sense to have mandatory minimum wage for mundane tasks that you don't really need. You don't need to be smart to schedule appointments. So I'm actually against mandatory minimum wages, because you should get paid for the abilities you have, not just some number. And then honestly, that would bring a lot of jobs back to America. If you were like, you don't have any fucking brains or any abilities, work in this call center, gain some fucking abilities. 15-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds can get those jobs that demand low wage, low skill. Most of those people still live at home. So they don't need to make $20 an hour when you're at home with your parents, but it's a good way to get job experience. But if you mandate that every person in America deserves $15, $20 an hour, whether they're picking up fucking trash, have you made money off of YouTube yet? And how much have you paid to get your setup? I've made zero fucking money on YouTube right now. I'm losing money. I'm not losing any money. No, I don't make money on YouTube. I actually enjoy this. I'm on the road to monetization, and my rig, if I'm really breaking it down, what my rig costs to set it up, maybe like the camera was down. I'm probably in just the setup alone, and one day I'll do a video so everyone can actually see what this rig looks like, what I'm looking at versus what you guys see. You just see me with the mic and the headphones in the background, but everything that's in the room, like in my little studio, I'll probably do a video. If you follow me on Instagram, and I'll put my Instagram, I shoot a lot of videos of what my setup looks like on Instagram, and you can see how it kind of looks. It's not the whole thing, but it's partial, and that's what it looks like. You can see some images on Instagram, and then but in the whole, I'm probably around 3,000, 3,500 in. But I do this because I enjoy it. I've always wanted to do this, but I've never had the free time. I've always been really, really busy. And now I've taken a lot of time off of work. I pretty much, a lot of time people talk about passive income. Currently, that's the situation I'm in right now. But that's all going to change in about a year or two. So I want to really get this up and going. I wanted to get this up and running because, depending on the next year or two goes, I'm going to try to dedicate more time to YouTube. But right now I have a lot of passive income that, I don't have a full-time job currently. I handle all the HR, all the office portion of our family business. We have a construction business. We build new homes, custom homes, $1 million homes for people in the Palm Springs area. We've built homes for Larry Edlin. I'm not sure if you know who he is. He owns Oracle, or at least he did. He created Oracle, created JavaScript. We did his roof for one of his buildings. We've done a lot of work. A lot of big homes have been produced by us, but I handle all the office stuff. And since I don't have an actual schedule, I handle everything the days I need to handle everything, and then so on. And then we also own a property, an alfalfa farm. It's about 20 acres in California, right here in the area I live, where we have a rancher that tills, and it's 20 acres. It's maintained by somebody else. And then we sell alfalfa for people that own horses. What I do is very strange. It's not really an exact thing, but basically we own a big ranch. But yeah, so we have a big ranch and a construction company and several properties that are rent out to different people. So we rent out homes. We're in real estate. We have money in real estate. We have money in our alfalfa ranch, which is like 20 acres of then it gets harvested every month, and then the construction company. So yeah, so right now I've been able to really, focus on things I want to focus on, which is like being on YouTube, which a lot of times people are like, oh, you live in your parents' basement. I'm like, well, that's not true. But I look really young. I'm not as young as I look. So I have a lot of free time to do this, and I enjoy it. So, but yeah, technically I've made no money on YouTube, but I've only been doing this for about 4 months. And I'm close to 500 subscribers, and I have over, on my YouTube shorts, I'm close to 400,000 views. But enough about that. Let's go on.
A Chinese person, or if you go to a person in the Midwest and ask somebody to roof your house, you're probably going to get a Hispanic person rather than a white person, right? There are
yeah, anywhere you roof your house, probably in America, it's going to be a Hispanic person. We don't do roofing; we do structural. So it's basically all the wood portion of the home, and now also the metal version, as because we have hired a full-time welder that does all the welding.
definitely people that that tend to move towards certain areas, which happens
Because of
for
their
a variety of
IQ.
reasons. IQ might be one of those reasons for a variety of reasons, but the problem is people.
And also, I'm a first generation in the United States. My parents are from Mexico. My dad studied civil engineering in Mexico and then moved to America in his 20s. Not to be a civil engineer, but because my sister was born, so they moved over here and they started working construction. My father did, and then we slowly built up. And then one day he's just like, I want to branch off and do my own thing, start my own construction company. Are you guys interested? We just talk about roofing. I know. That was funny. And he was like really coincidental. You can kind of, honestly, you can kind of predict what Destiny's going to say. He's very predictable because he's like, oh, different cultures do different things. I'm like, well, I'm Latino, we do construction. And it's just funny that he touched on that. But yeah, the thing he's saying is that the thing is, every new generation of people that come in, they handle all the labor work. Black people were slaves. They didn't come in willingly, but they did all the labor work. Every time a new crop of the Chinese people, Asian people came into the United States, what did they build? They built the railroads. Every generations of immigrants that come in do another labor intensive work. Eventually, Latinos will be so prevalent in the United States and will move on past second, third, fourth generations where we're an established group in here, and then a new group of immigrants or whatever will handle all the labor work. It's kind of how it's always happened. But yeah, that's what we do. We have a construction company, several acres of property for alfalfa for feeding livestock. My family's well off. We've done very well for ourselves. It's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of, and a lot of luck. To be honest, not everybody hits, and if you produce good work, people wanna buy your products. So we've been able to amass a lot of properties, amass a lot of homes. We are in real estate. So I don't like talking about that stuff because it's not interesting to me, but I see a lot of these finance channels and they're giving advice and they make me laugh because I'm like, oh, that's horseshit. Hey, good setup. Really do your thing and make something good of this. Oh, okay, cool, man. Yeah, I'll post. I'll start posting more stuff of my personal life once the channel gets a little bit bigger, so it makes sense. A lot of times they're like, how do you post all day? I'm like, well, I have a lot of free time because everything's kind of self-operating at this point, But yeah, I basically do HR at this point. I'm human resources for the company, make sure that we're keeping up to all the state mandates, all the rules that California imposes, and, handling with business, making sure people get paid, making sure everyone's paychecks come in on time. So I handle all that, and it's a lot of computer stuff. So I like computers. I'm into technology, obviously. I'm on YouTube. I built my whole rig, so everything here I do. I edit all my own stuff. I produce everything. So I like technology. So the whole thing about like, oh, well, Indians are good with computers. It's like, well, if you enjoy computers, you'll be good with them.
People will take these trends that they see, and then from there, they extrapolate these crazy ideas that somehow every single world government, financial institution, educational institution, private firm are all working for some shadowy group of people, when in reality, every single behavior you see can be explained really simply.
It's not shadowy.
Hold on. Let Destiny finish his point completely before anyone says anything.
Every single behavior that you see can be explained by ordinary human behavior. You don't need any sort of shadowy people or behind the scenes plan to explain any of the stuff that's going on.
I agree with him partially in the sense that, yeah, people are just sticking to their lane, but to say that there isn't, look at the World Economic Forum, that guy, Klaus Schwab. He said, famously, you will own nothing and you'll be happy. That's very strange and very it's a very strange thing to tell people, that they'll be happy not owning anything. Is there a specific cabal of people plotting and planning? No, not exactly, but is there motives? Are people trying to allocate resources? Look at Bill Gates. He bought off some hundreds of thousands of acres to produce, soy. Why? Because he doesn't want people eating beef. Why? Because they're a lot more healthier if you eat beef. They want, I don't know. Yeah, we can get into conspiracies, but there's reasons why specific groups of people try to allocate and acquire the most resources you can. If you can acquire resources, do so. It's the number one way to get out of poverty. Don't have children out of wedlock. Get married. These are all things we already know. If you're young, start saving, invest, buy a property, use the system that you have to generate wealth, but not just for yourself, but for generations. So think about generational wealth. Also, don't say stupid things like have a side hustle when your main hustle doesn't even have $500 in the savings. It's fucking stupid.
Kanye, Mel Gibson, they're just crazy.
All right, I want to respond.
Nick. Yeah, please.
Okay. So I'm glad that you said that. That's the thesis. It's certain people act a certain way sometimes. To suggest that there's any sort of tribal loyalty or anything like that is really, really weird, really crazy. I always love the weasel words. It's always like, because I'll give you my thesis in a second, but I just want to respond to that. It's always like these weasel words, like really weird, really crazy.
And I'm going to keep it 100,000. Everyone that we employ, it's people we know. So put that in a macro level. If you're on the top of the pyramid of like the top 1% earners and you're all of a specific race or religion or creed, you're going to give the opportunities to the people you know and you assimilate with. Destiny's wrong in thinking that everyone is just doing whatever. No, we have a construction company. We employ our family and our friends first. And then if other people want a job, then we think about employing them then. You always, loyalty goes a long way. You always look out for your team first. People aren't out there just being like, I'm going to employ so and so because I want to. No. I mean, look at even our government. We have people that their great grandparents were in the federal government and they're in the federal government. We have universities that have specific layouts where, all right, we get 100 people that their grandparent, great grandparent all came to the same university. So we're going to give them preference so they get the first spots open at Harvard. They have generations of Harvard attendees. Are they the best, most suited for being at Harvard? Possibly not, but their grandfather, their great-grandfather, their parent, their dad all attended Harvard, so they're going to get first dibs because they're connected. Connections will take you further in the majority of time than knowledge. So yeah, I do agree with that point. Destiny's wrong. It's about who you know, not what you know.
Easy. I'll tell you what's not crazy. Jews have been a diaspora people for 2,000 years. In the last 150 years, they have made an effort to resettle Palestine, which they consider their holy land. They consider their historic homeland. They have, by hook and by crook, in violent ways and through corruption, internationally, conspired in the sense that it's people that have made an agreement to make that happen, to resettle Jews in Palestine. And they did it in some legitimate ways, some illegitimate ways in Europe, in the Middle East.
Why do we give a fuck in America? Why do Americans give a fuck where Jews settle? I don't give a fuck about Palestine. I don't give a fuck about Israel. Fuck them. Like, who gives a shit? If they're over there fucking over those people, I don't give a shit. Motherfuckers are starving here today, right here in America. Why do we put so much emphasis on what Jews are doing in some motherfucking country? Who gives a fuck? Motherfuckers are starving here.
East in America. And in many cases, it was violent. It involved subterfuge. It involved corruption. The idea that like that pattern of behavior is happening, it's not really weird. It's not really crazy. You're right. People act in certain ways. People act according to their nationality, tribe, ideas they have. And so my thesis is that Jews in particular have a tribal as well as a religious reason to act the way they do. They're disproportionately represented in many sectors of America. And by the way, they're not jobs. You know, saying that
banking is a job? Give me a break, right?
Exactly. Well, banking is, but owning all the banks.
Owning a bank is the job.
Owning all the banks is not a job. You may get an Asian programmer, an Asian IT guy, because Asians are good at math disproportionately. That's true. You might get.
Also, I think every, some fucking ungodly amount of fucking highest people, the majority of groups of people with the highest IQ, I believe, are Jewish people. I think they test higher in standardized testing for IQ. Don't get me wrong, but Jewish people have produced a lot of geniuses. I'm not 100% about that, but I'm pretty sure.
In a Mexican landscaper, because it's cheap, low-skill labor, the Mexicans are performing. Jews owning all the banks is something that they have inherited over centuries and millennia because of politics and because of religion. And so if we want to talk about how that got to be, I don't think there's anything crazy about that. I think it's actually an interesting and important question because these are the decision makers in the society. It's not just people that are the legislators. We have to talk about the big money people. We got to talk about the media. We got to talk about the people in.
I wonder if he's going to reference Rothschild, their own centralized banks. They're Jews. I mean, think of like the entertainment industry. Harvey Weinstein was able to do the things he did and no one gave a fuck. He was a Jewish person. I mean, they're in a lot of fields that are in the upper echelons. I'm not saying this is exactly why or good or bad, but one of the main reasons they've been run out of so many countries is because they create the banks, they own all the money, and they're really good at that. I mean, they'll set up in Germany, create money, and boom, get ousted, and then they'll move to Poland, and then they get ousted there, and then they move over to the new lands, Americas. They'll develop new names. They'll change their names. They're now the Rockefellers when they were the whatevers somewhere else. So
in the bureaucracy, determining their motivations and who they are is an important attribute of understanding why things are the way they are in America. The Jewish identity explains so much of it. That's the thesis.
Okay. What's your response to that?
What topic do you want to start with?
I mean, that he's saying that it isn't a coincidence that they're involved in.
Sure, it's not a
coincidence.
coincidence. Nothing in history is a coincidence. But the question isn't whether it's a coincidence. The question is, remember, the JQ does not just state that Jews happen to be overrepresented in some industries. Now, people like Nick will try to shift that argument. Well, aren't there a lot of Jews there? Aren't there? But that's not the JQ. The JQ says that there is an intentional effort by those people to congregate all of their power and then to use that power to control the levers of society in very.
Well, a very interesting point. Every country we've had a problem with in the last 50 years has been a country that does not have a centralized bank owned or operated or controlled by Rothschild or like another, Jewish name. It's very interesting to think that why do we have a problem with Libya? They don't have a centralized bank. I mean, we have a problem with Libya. They also don't have a centralized bank. Are those things connected? I'm not sure. We had a problem with Afghanistan. We had to bring democracy to Afghanistan. They didn't have a centralized bank. Coincidence? I don't know. North Korea, they don't have a centralized bank. We need to come and bring democracy to North Korea. Coincidence? I don't know. Somalia didn't have a centralized bank. We need to free the Somali people. It's very strange that Yemen didn't have a centralized bank. We need to free Yemen. It's very weird to say we need to bring freedom and democracy to these countries, but it seems like it's always the countries that don't have centralized banking. And I think that's what Destiny's being not genuine about. It's very strange that every time the industrial military complex is activated, it's activated against another country with no centralized bank. Maybe they're the worst, a priority we need to make, but it's very interesting that every time we're mobilized to free another country, it's a country that doesn't have a centralized bank owned by a specific family, Rothschild family.
Particular ways in order to effect positive outcomes for them, oftentimes at the expense of others. That's the JQ.
Okay, let me pose the next question then for you guys. Do you not think that Zionism pushes that?
Zionism does, and we can try to say that like it's just because we're oh God, sorry, I'm not gonna get triggered.
There it is. No, you're fine. You're fine, bro.
We can try to say that like it's because of some weird Jewish blah blah blah. But the reality is, the United States wants an ally in the Middle East. Israel is our best ally that we have in the Middle East. Just like Turkey is a strong ally in the Middle East.
Because we give them money. That's why.
The idea that we need like a Jewish conspiracy or some Jewish plan to explain that, we don't need one. Just like we don't need a Turkish conspiracy.
Wait.
Just like we don't need a Turkish conspircy to explain why we're so close to Turkey in the Middle East, despite all the political disagreements that we have with them.
I wanna really laser focus in on this. So Stephen,
did you finish your point before he starts?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so Stephen, I want to hear what your opinion is on Israel. So if I understand you correctly, you're saying that Israel is America's closest ally because Israel benefits America the most. Is that right?
I'm saying that Israel is a close ally to the United States because there's a benefit for them being an ally in the Middle East. Yes.
What is the benefit?
The benefit is geopolitical. The benefit is that we've got a strong ally in that region of the world.
We do need to have we need to have friends. We need to have friends in Saudi Arabia. We need to have friends in Afghanistan. It's very interesting that we need to have friends in all these countries. I think America is the only country that has an embassy in almost every other country. It's not very common for other countries to have embassies everywhere. We want to be able to strike first, when we need to strike. I don't have a problem with alliances with other countries, but I think you should be aligned first with the countries in your immediate area. We need to have a stronger alliance with Mexico. We need to have a stronger alliance with Canada. All of North and South America should be more united than less.
Okay. It helps us deploy military assets. It helps us have bases in these areas. Yeah, sure.
How many bases do we have in Israel?
I don't know how many bases we have.
Okay, really? What do we deploy from Israel?
I don't even know
The
in
answer's
terms of
nothing.
economy.
The
Nothing.
answer's
There's
nothing.
absolutely no economic, no beneficial interest
Nope.
whatsoever for
Nope.
Israel being there in
And,
the
and
United
no
States.
Israelis died in the Iraq War. Everything in the big controversy actually for the Muslim world is that Saudi Arabia allowed us to station
I knew, yeah, Saudi Arabia was about to come up.
there and use their
God,
air
these people are really predictable.
space, which is like a total.
That's strange.
We're friends with Saudi Arabia too.
They haven't talked about anything interesting so far, as far as I see it. Nothing too crazy. It's like, oh, Saudi Arabia, the Middle East, Israel. They're basically just having like a conspiracy theory conversation. This conversation you have when you and your homies are high as fuck and you're sitting around a fire and you're just like, have you ever looked into 9/11? If this is the most banned conversation on YouTube, that's fucking nuts. Where's the sound? Oh, okay.
Why are we friends with Saudi Arabia if the Saudi Arabians
Well,
and the Jewish
don't
people
change the
don't get along?
subject.
They
I
do
want
get
to
along. That's the point.
If they don't always get along, why are we friends with Saudi Arabia then too?
Hang on.
Yeah.
We could talk about Saudi Arabia in a second. I want to talk about Israel. So you said that we're allied with Israel because they provide us a benefit. I said, what's a benefit? You said, well, it's a geostrategic. I said, what does that mean? You said, well, we deploy stuff and blah, blah, blah. And I just said, well, no, actually, they don't do any of that. So I want to stick to the same question. What does Israel do for us specifically?
Specifically, I wouldn't be able to tell what Iraq does for
So
us
you don't know.
specifically.
That's the problem. Damn, Nick is ready with the heat. I mean, it's true though. We don't deploy. Israel has its own defense. It's the Iron Dome. I don't think we provide those defenses. I also believe that Israel created Pegasus 2, which was weaponized against what's it called? Jeff Bezos to unlock his phone and remove all his data. So they developed Pegasus 2, which is basically hacking software. I don't think America's too happy about that.
Either. No, I don't know.
So you have
100%.
no idea.
I don't know.
Okay, well, the answer is
Yeah, tell
nothing.
us.
And the answer is nothing.
See, this at this point, it doesn't matter what Nick says because the rest of the panel have to take it as the truth because they're so ill-informed about. You can't argue geopolitical topics if you know nothing about what Israel, what the benefit is from us to them or vice versa. See, Destiny can debate low IQ or non-informed people and do very well. And he said, well, we trade with them. We have military, this and that. But Nick knows that we don't. So you're not going to be able to use these talking points. Destiny's going to have a hard time when it comes to this.
We give them $3.8 billion per year in aid. That's in addition to all kinds of other special provisions. Every other country, because you're right to some extent about the foreign aid. We give a lot of these countries foreign aid, but there's a reciprocal advantage for foreign aid. Like, for example, we give Egypt a lot of foreign aid. You want to know why we give Egypt a lot of foreign aid? They became the second they became the second largest recipient of foreign aid after the Camp David Accords in 1978. They were the first nation to sign a peace treaty with Israel. It was only after that that they became the number 2 recipient of foreign aid. But one of the benefits that we get from the foreign aid, besides that we brokered a peace deal with Egypt, it was very controversial, very unpopular, is that Egypt buys our military equipment with the money we get.
I'm assuming that this must have been some kind of deal with Rumble because I've yet to see any topics that are too spicy for YouTube. I mean, I'm still streaming on YouTube right now. If I get a strike for this, for having this conversation up, it's laughable. This conversation is, at best, lame.
Give them. Israel's the only country in the world that they don't have to spend all the foreign aid money they get on the American defense industry. They can spend it on their own defense industry. Only country that gets that sweetheart deal. In addition, we have a special part of the aid that we give Israel that we give it all in a lump sum at the beginning of the year, as opposed to giving it over the course of the year. We give it to them as a lump sum. And what they do with the money is they actually buy our American Treasury notes so they can make interest. Isn't that beautiful? So we give them the money and they demand this, only one, in a lump sum, and they take the $3.8 billion and they spend a little on their own defense industry. They spend a little on ours. And then they buy our Treasury notes and they make a little interest off the money we give them. The other thing is this. We give it to them as a loan, which is important. If we gave it to them as a grant, we would have to monitor how they spend it. Well, they don't need that kind of scrutiny on what they spend it on, so they accept it as a loan. but we forgive the loan. So there's no scrutiny, but we also don't collect it back. There's also no interest. These are all the kinds of special sweetheart provisions we give them, in addition to them being the number one.
You know what? Now I get why this guy Nick Fuentes is called a Nazi or some kind of Jew hater, because he's, when you're spewing facts and that can't be refuted, and they can't find an actual reason why is the U.S. government doing this? Why do we give out loans to Israel? The Israel-U.S. alliance is very strange.
One recipient, and there's actually no tangible benefit that we derive from them. In fact, it's the opposite. Constantly, we are catching spies, like the Jonathan Pollard affair. In the Trump administration, they got busted for putting listening devices in Washington, D.C.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do we have any military bases in Israel?
Do you tell me you just looked it up on your phone?
I did. So we do have military bases in Israel. Okay.
You
I
have
see
your
that we have
live
radar
chat going on.
installations in Israel.
Tell me about
Not
the
only
military
that, I
base.
see we have radar installations in Israel that literally help us keep track of what's going on over the skies of Iran. Do you think that provides us a geostrategic advantage? to the
No,
United
because
States?
Iran is not our adversary.
Do you
Why
think
is Iran our
wait,
adversary?
Because we had a geostrategic interest in Iraq, and Iraq was for a while an adversary.
We're not in
and Iran
Iraq.
is also an adversary because Iran has the IRGC.
The most of the terrorist groups from Iraq have moved over to Pakistan. So we should not have any interest in either one of those countries.
Literally does ops all over the United States.
Really?
In fact, hold on.
Wait. The IRGC does ops in the United States?
No, hold on. Against U.S. troops.
Where?
What do you think? In Iraq. Why do you think
are we in Iraq?
Why do you think?
Why are we in Iraq?
Why do you think Donald Trump killed Soleimani?
Why are we in
Wait,
Iraq?
Why do you think Donald Trump killed Soleimani? Who do you think was killing
because
U.S.
Shell
troops?
Nadelson gave him $500 million in 2020. That's why.
Gotcha. It wasn't because
Yes,
there were
gotcha.
attacks all
Absolutely.
over Iraq on U.S. troops that was done
Why
by
were
the
we in Iraq?
IRGC, that was ran by Iran's
Why
IRGC.
were we in Iraq?
It doesn't matter why we're in Iraq.
Yes,
I'm telling you.
Guys. This is what we got to do.
This is
Let the Sneak get off his things. If you want, Nick, I can give you a piece of paper and whatever. You can write down his questions. That way you can address each one.
Yeah,
So Destiny, ask what you were saying, get into your stuff, and then Nick will respond.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Okay. So to be fair, I do not know every single point of trivia that a Nazi memorized about Israel. I don't have all the information.
Damn.
I will look it up when I can, and I
Ad
read what I
hominem.
can, and I learn what I can, but I don't know every talking point. But I would like to say at the beginning, it kind of seemed like we're relying on the idea that Israel has no military installations for the United States in Israel. That seemed to be the point we're relying on. Well, now it seems like they do. Not only they do, but it seems like it also is one that provides geostrategic interest to the United States because of our operations in the Middle East. Now that you found that out, now you're like, oh, well, why do we care about Iran? I told you why we care about Iran. We care about Iran because the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC that was ran by Soleimani, the guy that Donald Trump assassinated because they killed so many U.S. troops in Iraq, that they have an interest in killing U.S. troops across the Middle East, and they had for a long time. And then you shifted the goalpost from, so the goalpost was, are the military bases in Israel? Okay. Do they provide geostrategic interest? Okay. Well, what's even the interest? Okay. Well, why are we in Iraq? You're going to shift the goalpost over and over and over again. You can shift as much as you want, but Israel does have U.S. military installations, and we also have weapon depots there as well. And there's a reason why we have them. It's geostrategic interest. And there is a reason why they're spying on people that are killing troops in the Middle East. So if you want to keep shifting the goalposts, we can. I don't know if we're going to get to the point where like, why were Jews persecuted in Rome fucking how many thousand years ago?
Real quick, just to clarify, what he said is, what he asked was, how many bases do we have? Didn't answer. Then he said, what benefit does America get from aiding Israel? And then he said nothing. He didn't say anything about the military bases.
Sure. Well, because the answer is to give the impression that we don't get anything from them, because you did say that. He said we get no benefit from them.
Let's
We
give him a
just ship a
chance to
bunch of money over
respond
there.
to that.
Yeah.
Did you finish your point though, Destiny? I want to make sure you get everything off before I
Good job, Myron.
turn it to Nick.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, go ahead, Nick.
Okay, so let me dive in here. The reason it's not shifting the goalpost, I asked you specifically, precisely, because you came on here without knowing it actually, and I want to point that out. You come on here and say, well, it's a weird, crazy conspiracy to suggest that Zionist Jews in America conspire to help Israel. That's weird and crazy. It's not tribal. It's not religious. You said the reason that it's way more boring and way more complex, the Nazis would suggest, it's because they actually provide a benefit. I said, really? What's the benefit? You said, oh, I don't know. So you just claimed that without knowing anything. Then you went on imright.com. Your chat helped you out and said, well, actually, they have a military installation. Here's the reason why it matters why we're in Iraq. You told me the benefit that Israel provides to America is that they help us spy on Iran. Well, it would actually matter then why it's actually a geostrategic necessity for us to spy on Iran. Iran is thousands and thousands of miles away from the United States, as is the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. You said for a moment, you said, well, the IRGC operates internationally in America. And I said, really? And you said, oh, no, I mean, in the Middle East. And then you say, well, why are we in the Middle East? Well, that's not important at all. Actually, it is, because America has no business in Iraq. We had no business.
True. I mean, the only reason we're there for oil.
in Iraq in 1990.
They get that oil, baby.
We had no business in Iraq in 2003. We had no business in Iraq in
Experts have come out. They've said we knew there was no weapons of mass destruction. Weapons of mass destruction. God damn, I was tongue tied. Fucking Mexican. Weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, in Afghanistan. We knew it since the 80s. They were never there. They never found any. They cleared all the bases. There was no weapons. Through the guise of weapons of mass destruction, we stayed in the Middle East when we had no reason to. No reason besides that oil.
2011. It matters. Of course it matters. And here's why. My contention, of course, is that we were led to Iraq by Jewish Zionists. Jewish Zionists' number one enemy is Syria. Therefore, their number two enemy was Saddam Hussein. And the reason why is because of their northern border. In the 1980s, Israel invaded Lebanon, and a group called Hezbollah pushed them out. The history goes way, 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 way back. But basically, they are mortal enemies with the al-Assad family, with Hafez and Bashar al-Assad, and with Hezbollah, with Lebanon and Syria. It's about securing their northern border. In any case, they have said continuously over the last 40 years that their number one adversary they got to take out, the road to Damascus runs through Baghdad. They have to take out Iraq to take out Syria. So my contention is that we went to war with Iraq basically for the benefit of Syria. It follows, therefore.
Wait, can you explain that? Let me finish this
very quick.
Finish very quick.
Oh, fuck.
It's super
we'll give you a
quick.
chance to.
And then you can reply. It follows then that if we're at war in Iraq,
Is this the information that YouTube doesn't want anyone to know? Because this is some fucking boring ass shit. I mean, I like it. I personally like it. I enjoy it because it's interesting topics, history, geopolitical. But 10-year-old, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, most people don't give a fuck about this. You can expose this. They can do this whole song and dance that they're about to do, where they expose all the Jews. They can in the end convince Destiny that Jews are up to no good, but guess what? No one's gonna give a fuck. No one's gonna get banned. No one's gonna get deleted. They don't give a fuck.
because Jews pushed us into that war to benefit Israel. It's actually not a geostrategic benefit for us to be able to surveil Iran or to kill the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, because the only reason the IRGC can kill our troops in Iraq is because we're in Iraq for Israel. So that's actually just a roundabout way of saying, well, they benefit us so that we can benefit them. They benefit us so we could kill their enemies when we're fighting their enemies in Iraq for them. It does us no good. We would have.
They will say terrorists hate Americans, so we need to be over there to qualm the terrorists. But the people there don't give a fuck about America. They only care about America when they see fucking bombs dropping on fucking children, weddings, schools, hospitals. Obviously, if I see a fucking bomb drop on the fucking hospital near me and the fucking fragments say USA, obviously I'm gonna have a fucking problem with it. Anyone's gonna have a problem with that. If I wake up tomorrow and I find out that my local fucking hardware store, a fucking missile came down from fucking Iraq and fell, and we found fucking evidence that it's an Iraqi missile, yeah, I'm not gonna be too happy with Iraq. The second we stop getting involved with regime change wars in other countries is the second where most of our problems go away. But we can't do that because of oil, because of Israel, obviously, and other political parties' interest in us staying in. We have the biggest military. We can be bought. Once you have the biggest military, it will be utilized by other people, other organizations, other countries to flex on each other. When you have the biggest military, you can be bought.
Have no beef with Iran besides the hostage situation from 40 years ago. But other than that, we'd have no beef with Iran, Iraq, or Syria if it wasn't for our support for Israel.
Okay.
The problem is that I want to do a back and forth where I ask him a question, but if he rambles on like 40 minutes of bullshit history every time I ask him a question, it kind of
it's a book context, so
sure.
that people
So I'm
understand.
curious, like when you say that the Israel is the one that dragged us into Iraq, can you elaborate that?
I can, yeah, very clearly. In 1996, they published a memo called the Clean Break Memo. Maybe you've heard of it. It's Douglas Pearl, David Feith, David Wormser. These guys all went into the Bush administration and created the Office of Special Plans. in the Defense Office in the Department of Defense, which concocted this excuse for war in Iraq, this fabricated evidence about WMDs, this connection with the poison.
The crazy thing is, all this is public knowledge. These generals that and CIA and all these operatives have been on. They're not just memos. They've gone to the public and told us this. Some of them have even been on like Conan and Jimmy Kimmel and TV shows like that and broke it down. They've even gone on record and gone on late night TV shows and told us why we're backing Afghanistan, where it's a Robin and Batman type of situation where we need to control Robin, that's Ukraine, and Russia's Batman. All these things are not news. I mean, they're treating it like, I mean, if you care, you care, and you know about it, but these aren't hidden topics. They've literally, generals, military people have literally gone on late night TV shows and discussed these topics openly with the public. Why they do it? Because they know the general public are going to look and listen and say, wow, that's crazy, and go back to their fucking job that pays them not enough money to live. The general public does not give a fuck. I find it interesting, but this is not going to break the internet. This is not going to break the YouTube algorithm. I know it's going to be a blip. I mean, they need to go back to just yelling at bitches and tell them to stay in the kitchen.
Thing and so on. And what they said, exactly, the anthrax. In the clean break memo in 1996, all these, by the way, these guys are all Jewish Zionists. They all said it's about securing the realm of Israel, securing the northern border. We have to take out Saddam. We have to take out Syria. We have to take out Iran.
Why didn't we go to war with Syria or Iran then?
Oh, that's a great question. They tried to get us to war in Syria, if you remember. They fomented a Syrian civil war with ISIS, which was supported by both Israel and the United States.
Hold on. That's like 15 years later.
Yeah, because that was the plan. First Iraq, then Syria, then Iran.
Wait. So did we go to the first Gulf War and the second Gulf War?
I'm going to pause this. I'm going to do some quick research. I'll let it play.
Because the Jews are just the second one?
Both. Absolutely.
So
we went
the gassing of the Kurds and any of that, none of that mattered?
No, that's all ridiculous.
In Kuwait, that's all bullshit.
Well, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
In 1998, all these same guys, Wolfowitz and Abrams and all of them, Cohen, they all wrote a letter to Bill Clinton in 1998 before his State of the Union and said, you got to address taking out Saddam. So they were talking about taking out Saddam for like 20 years. Then 9/11 happens and they go, oh, Saddam did 9/11. Oh, Saddam has WMD.
Okay, I'm going to pause this briefly. And if, here we goes. Righty. All right. I'm going to just play this real quick. Here goes. I think Joe Rogan's talking about it. Oh, shit. Where's the volume?
One of the generals called me and he said, sir, you got to come in and talk.
Oh, man. Okay, let me see. I'll try to find it. All right, here we go. Here goes. And then this is more for whoever. I mean, there's only two people watching this, but check this out.
A replay of what happened in the lead up to
Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz, I went downstairs just
on.
See, he's going to explain the countries we attacked and the countries we will attack and the reasons why. They got generals and all these CIA operatives. They've gone on TV shows and talked about this.
Bandwagon.
This is not hidden knowledge. These are interviews they've done with people. I mean, this is
about
not
10 days
secret
after
knowledge.
9/11. I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who had used to work for me. And one of the generals called me and he said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, "No." He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, "We're going to war with Iraq. Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I guess they don't know what else to do." So I said, "Well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al-Qaeda?" He said, No. He says, "There's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq." He said, "I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we've got a good military and we can take down governments." And he said, "I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail." So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, "Are we still going to war with Iraq?" And he said, "Oh, it's worse than that." He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, and he said, He said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, this is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran.
Yeah, so I mean, they
This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries.
They're not hiding the ball. Like, the conversation that they're having right now, this is not news. I'm not sure if Destiny's not aware about this. I wish I could chat in and see if they can, you know, just play this and be
Please,
like,
let's
hey,
go in.
check
Yeah,
this
it's
out.
all excuses, Destiny.
Why didn't
Are
they
you
just
so- wait,
Why
wait.
didn't they just depose him after the first Gulf War then?
Are you so naive to think that like gassing the Kurds is the reason we went in? Do you really believe that?
I more so than 4 Jewish guys drafted up a plan to get us into an arbitrary war in the Middle East so we
In
could
other
defend
words,
Israel.
it's more about bullshit humanitarian nonsense than it is about like spies, money, warfare, and like that's really the crux of it.
Because
Is you
I
have
don't know
this
if
naive worldview,
yeah.
like, well, the government said they're gassing the Kurds, yeah, just like Assad was gassing his own people, and it was fucking fake, and it was all white helmets with the
There's-
UN down
yeah,
there,
absolutely
and it was
no
the
evidence
rebels
of
using
any of
chemical
that. Yeah,
attacks. No,
absolutely
there
no
isn't, and they
evidence
should
of
go and
any of that. There's
investigate that.
absolutely no evidence
There
of any of
isn't
that. There's not a
evidence.
single international community in the fucking world that would back up the
There
claim
isn't
that there's-
evidence.
there's-
Okay,
There
let
is
me
not
ask this.
evidence.
Let me ask this. So are you okay? So Destiny, just so I can make sure I get
Yeah, they're basically just talking about conspiracy theories.
your stance correct here. Are you saying that we went to war with Iraq because of the gassing of the Kurds?
I think that, yeah, I think in the invasion of Kuwait, I think was a really big deal for.
Destiny just believes whatever the corporate line is. He's a bot. I mean, Destiny's a beautiful propaganda. Whatever the government says, if they tell him he'll need 100 boosters, he'll take them. He believes solely what the government says. He's the real one that's, you know, he will call these people Nazis, but it's like, bro, you'll be the first one in line to kill the Jews if the US told you to, because he's really brainwashed to just whatever the corporate line is, he'll just follow it blindly, which is pretty sad for someone that thinks they're pretty intelligent. He's not willing to take 2 steps away from critical thinking and be like, well, could there be possible nefarious actions between for these actions? Oh no, it's only for, we only do it for the good of the people. He'd be the same guy to say that the US is terrible, that we're, you know, unfair to women. He'll be the same guy to say that there's a patriarchy, a cabal of men to keep women down. But then if you ask him, well, is there a cabal of Jews that are trying to take over the world or have more world control? And he'd say, no, that's not possible.
Internationally, why we felt like we had to step in and intervene.
With the Kurds being killed.
Yeah, and then the
which
chemical
Saddam
weapons on the
behind.
Kurds.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So Saddam killing the Kurds in the northern part of Iraq is okay. What's your response to that?
We don't care about any of that. I guess.
I think that's ridiculous. I think
it's
that
way more likely that 4 Jews somehow.
Well, let me ask
concocted
this,
the plan
Nick.
to-
Would you?
But
would
not
you
enough
say,
to depose Saddam, just enough to invade and leave him in
Whoa,
power.
let me finish.
Let's connect. Let's
You're
connect.
getting
Let's
cut,
connect.
so
Would
he's
you
getting
say, Nick? Would you say that the gassing of the Kurds was a contributing factor, or you're saying it's not at all?
No, I don't think so at all. And here's why.
All right.
There is Africans right now in fucking hand shoveling metals, getting toxins, getting poisoned right now to build cell phones in I forget what countries, but they're by hand pulling out, you know, cobalt, nickel, and no one gives a fuck. No one cares. If Destiny really thinks that the U.S. cares what other countries do to their people, we don't give a fuck. What the U.S. does not give a shit because some people get gassed. We went ahead and gave a whole bunch of people syphilis for no reason. The U.S. doesn't give a shit.
So you don't think whatsoever it's not relevant whatsoever to the situation?
I think that is how they dress it up. I think that is basically United States foreign policy, is that we come up with pretexts and excuses to do what we want to do anyway. Like, for example, and I'm not trying to just zoom out here,
You don't
but I
think
am
the
trying to
invasion
give
of
examples.
Kuwait, you don't think that mattered either, right?
What here's the big picture, Destiny, which is I think what you're missing.
Okay.
Is that we give a lot of excuses. We said there were WMDs in Iraq. That's why we went to Iraq.
Second Gulf
There
War.
weren't any.
You're mixing the first and second one
No,
up.
no, I'm giving additional examples.
Well,
That
why
was-
not just focus on the first Gulf War
And here's
instead of
because
talking
you're
around
missing.
a lot of
Here's
random
why,
shit?
because now you're interrupting, trying to derail.
Because
It's
you
not
like to
working, you're
conflate a
running
whole bunch of
interference.
shit together.
No,
because
It's funny that they painted this as the conversation that would be banned on YouTube is between two nerdy white guys.
I'm
don't
making
have
a
an
point
answer,
now
yeah.
because I'm
Two like out of shape fucking weird nerds are debating, and YouTube thinks that this is too hard of a topic. I can't.
you're very naive,
This is nonsense.
and you think that the news media is telling you the truth about
Well, just
a very
explain
big
then. Why did
business,
we do the first Gulf War?
which is war.
Okay,
Yeah.
let him give his examples,
Thank
and then
you.
can you please address the Gulf
Be
War
more
for him?
rambling,
Absolutely,
but
Yeah, give your
absolutely.
examples because he's just giving examples of why the United States lies to get in certain
Because he
situations.
doesn't have the answer to the first question,
No,
so
no,
he's going to
he'll-
obfuscate
no,
with
no,
stuff
he's
later.
gonna-
Look at
answer
this.
the-
Look at this.
It
Is
won't do it,
crazy.
but yeah, go for it. That's fine.
Look, he's getting
I
nervous.
know his
He's getting
strategy,
nervous because he
yeah.
doesn't know anything about foreign policy, so he
So-
doesn't want to talk
so this is
about
what
it.
we'll do.
Because the
This is what
four
we'll do.
Jews
Nick-
made the plan in '96. They got us to invade Iraq like 10
please,
years
and
later.
he's still going.
guys,
Listen to my guys.
Nick, so please cover your examples of
I will.
how the United States does this to do things, and then please cover his first Gulf War because that's what he's interested in.
100%.
All right.
So I'm making a bigger point about United States foreign policy, which is that we conduct regime change operations. We go to war all the time. There's always a pretext, whether it's the gassing of the Kurds or it's what happened in Kuwait. The same is true of Iraq with WMDs. The same is true of Libya. We deposed Gaddafi in Libya. They said because, it's not like democratic enough. Does anybody really
That's
believe?
not even true.
Hey, whoa. Does anybody really believe that we go to war with a
we had no reason to fucking throw over Libya. It's had nothing to do with it.
NATO coalition and we deposed Gaddafi because the elections weren't free and fair? And the same thing is true of Syria. Constantly
Why did
trying to
China
create.
abstain?
Whoa, why are you interrupting
It's
me
like-
all the
it's
time? Is
just
it because you're not?
If we truly cared, why haven't we invaded North Korea? If there's so many people starving, why hasn't North Korea been invaded? Why hasn't China been invaded? If we truly care about countries destroying their people, why did we not invade China when they have the Uyghur Muslims in internment camps today? Why have we not invaded China? Why have we not sanctioned the NATO to mobilize against China for the enslavement of Uyghur Muslims? Why haven't we done so? Because we don't care. Because there's no benefit. Destiny is very naive.
Not confident.
He's naive to think that the U.S. does anything to protect humans. We don't care who gets gassed. We don't care who gets killed. We did not give a fuck in World War I that the Jews were getting killed. We didn't give a shit. No one cared. America doesn't give a fuck unless it's motivated shit. Unless it's driven by motivation.
But in your positions, you
No,
have
it's
to derail.
because every time you answer a question, you make up
How about
50
this? How
bullshit
about
points.
this?
You bring up the deposition of Gaddafi.
He's only
Everyone
mentioning-
is acting like a nigger. Stop.
Jesus fuck.
Destiny, just let him finish his examples, and then please address the first Gulf War for him.
Yes, exactly.
You're giving your examples of America getting involved in foreign policy.
Remember, every answer relies on 30 random talking points. Too.
It's not random talking
It
points.
is.
It's about because it's about your worldview. Your worldview is predicated, and I've seen your stream. I watch your stream. You always hand wave away all these
Still not the
Jews
first Gulf
in the
War.
Defense Department. You hand wave away all the Jewish disproportionate stuff by saying that things are as they seem. There are people in the world, they act a certain way, but it can't be explained by a conspiracy. That's what I'm talking. That's why it matters to go through these examples. Because you're going out there and saying, well, Israel benefits us because geostrategic. Well, what does that mean? Oh, I have no fucking idea. Well, we went to war in Kuwait because of the Kurds. Can you tell me why we went to war?
Hold on, Nick. Give your examples, then the first Gulf War, and then you can ask him a question after.
I already gave my examples.
Okay. and then what
Libya,
about the first Gulf War then?
Libya,
For his-
Ukraine, all these different interventions. They're always a
None of these
pretext.
things are remotely similar to each other.
Oh,
Libya,
if I
Ukraine.
laugh, it looks like I'm not losing. If
You're
I
just-
laugh, it looks like I don't have a
well, let
completely
me name
naive
off 15
worldview.
random facts, and I'm not gonna
Spies
fact
and
check
money
anything what you're talking
aren't
about.
real.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The
All right.
Libyan invasion
Guys,
was
guys,
the
guys,
Defense Department.
Yeah.
It's the fucking craziest shit to watch too. This could have been on YouTube. It's just two nerds arguing about shit, and then the thing about it is they're not going to get anywhere because their heels are so dug into what they already believe. They won't hear each other out. Destiny's using his, I guess, chat of his loyal followers to feed him lines, which is, I mean, I'd do that. That's pretty smart. You know, if he has 30 people doing research all at once to disprove supposed Nick Fuentes points, and it doesn't seem like Nick's using any resources other than the knowledge he has, which Destiny's clearly not.
Guys,
Yeah,
please.
it's about Kurds.
Let's keep this civil.
Yeah.
Okay, because he asked a question about the first Gulf War. Why did we go? Is that your question? Why did we go into war with the first
Yeah,
Gulf
I'm
War?
just curious how Jews are concocting every single fucking thing. And then
Okay.
also keep in mind too,
Not everything.
the only evidence of any of the fact that like the Jews are behind this is because some people that are Jewish are involved in writing some of the plans.
Well, explain Kanye. Explain JP Morgan and Kanye. Let's go to the good stuff.
That is
Okay.
always
Fuck
going
the
to
Gulf
be
War. Let's go to Kanye.
Well, hold on.
in the totality of this conversation.
Let's get John
The
involved.
strongest evidence that Nick will ever offer for his position is some of the people involved are Jewish.
Okay, so
Nope,
let's hit
wrong.
the first Gulf War because he's asking why did we get involved in the first Gulf War?
We got involved in the first Gulf War for the same reason we got involved in the Iraq War. It's because the Jews had a problem with Saddam Hussein. The Zionists had a problem with Saddam Hussein. It's the same situation. And here's why I bring up the letter to Bill Clinton 98. It's because once again, we can take the explanation that we were given by the news media that Israel our closest ally because they help us. Went to war in Iraq because WMDs, I don't know, we were fooled. We went to war in the Gulf War because of the Kurds. What I'm trying to say is that was already the policy. They were agitating for war for a long time. The neocons were agitating for war for a long time.
Can you tell me how did we make Saddam Hussein invade Kuwait and then use gas weapons against the Kurdish people?
We didn't make them do that. That's the pretext.
How are
That's
we
the
agitating
excuse.
for it?
That's the excuse.
Yeah, can you tell me how
that
we
they
were
used.
agitating for it?
No. I'm not saying
Oh,
they
I know you
agitated
are.
for that.
Okay, okay.
What
What are we
What are you
agitating
saying?
for?
I'm sorry. What are you saying?
I'm trying to figure out how the Jews made us go. I'm trying to figure out how did the Jews make
You
Saddam
are
Hussein?
trying to figure it out.
I am. I'm asking you. Teach me.
desperately trying to figure it out.
How did the Jews make Saddam Hussein invade Kuwait and use
You're
chemical
not following,
weapons?
though. I'm
Yeah,
not
I'm not. That's what I'm
saying-
asking
you're
you.
not
Tell me
following.
simply.
Yeah, no, but
Without
you're
talking
playing
about
dumb. You're playing
Benghazi,
dumb.
without
You're
talking
playing dumb
about
because you're
China,
disingenuous.
without talking about Ukraine.
Without talking about other examples of American foreign policy
It's
to
always
establish a concrete
obfuscation and
worldview.
dialogue trees.
And
That's
it's
the
always
only thing that it
derailing.
is.
It's always derailing and sophistry from you
I
because you
agree.
have no
Fuck,
idea what you're
guys,
talking
guys,
about.
fuck,
You
guys,
have no
guys,
idea what you're
guys.
talking about.
This is a lame ass conversation.
Ask
This conversation could be on YouTube because this shit boring as fuck. They're talking about geopolitical fucking actions and Jews, and no one gives a fuck.
question, and then he'll answer it.
How did the Jews make us invade in the first Gulf War?
But see, that's a totally incorrect. It's so funny.
You're so
It's so
triggered.
funny.
I see the trigger in you.
I'm not triggered, but that's
You're
just what
very
you
triggered.
do. When you
It
lose
is.
a
It's very
debate,
funny to me
when
that
you lose a
this
debate,
is like
you
your
do this.
specialty, area of
hang on,
interest.
You do
I
this
don't know fucking
contemptuous.
half the shit you're talking about, and
It's
you
just
don't
like
have
the
an answer
weasel
for
words.
me.
It's just like the
Because
weasel
you
words
rely
at
on
the
somebody
beginning.
having no understanding of any history
It's
you're
just
talking
like the
about,
weasel
and you're
words
going to
at
say
the
random
beginning.
fucking shit to win the argument.
It's so weird.
ahead.
It's so crazy.
This is like two nerds arguing about which is a better Yu-Gi-Oh card. This is literally two nerds. Like, they should just fight. They should just get down. Like, they're basically arguing who's better, Goku or One Punch Man. It's like, you guys is it's fucking lame. It's crazy that all these other guys are sitting around. These Nick and Destiny have somehow brainwashed the whole world to think that they're interesting, which they're not, and that they're like this. This is two nerds. I'm watching two nerds argue about Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, that's what's happening right now. They're arguing that one's righter than the other. This is lame. SNEAKO realizes it's lame. ZHERKA realizes that it's lame. Everybody else thinks this is lame except for Destiny and Nick. This is gay as fuck.
Okay. The question
Here's-
is, how did say it one more time? What was it?
He brings up like
No, it's a
5 different
false premise.
conflicts.
It's a false
Destiny, please
premise.
ask the
It's a
question.
false
Tell-
premise.
We're watching the two autistic kids argue.
Here was the question. He
So
said,
that we don't derail,
he
guys.
said, how did the Jews make Saddam Hussein do these things?
Yes,
I
there you
never
go.
said the Jews made Saddam Hussein do those things. Were you listening?
Oh, so Saddam Hussein chose to invade Kuwait
Uh-huh.
and gas the Kurdish people.
I don't know that he gassed the Kurdish people, by the way.
Oh,
I don't know
we
if I
just
believe
don't
Wasn't
think
it
that.
that
6
happened?
million?
Let's say they did, though. As I said before, that's the pretext, Destiny. Countries do bad things all the time.
Were there other countries that were
Let me
using
ask you
chemical
this.
weapons on
Were
their
there-
own citizens in the Middle East that we had no interest in? Wasn't that one of the reasons why we went after Gaddafi was claims of torturing people, locking them up in prisons?
No, we said.
Why is it that
the
we went to
reason why
invade? Why is it that we went to invade? Why is it that we went to when we went to depose Gaddafi? Why is it that even China abstained from voting against U.S. involvement in that? Because they knew that Gaddafi was a fucked up person, and they knew that that country was being ran in fucked up ways.
China's not ran by fucked up people, and there's no other fucked up.
I'm just saying, China had the ability to enter, and everybody say, "Don't do it." There's a reason why they abstained.
Let me ask you this. So we went into Libya, we went into Iraq because it's fucked up guys doing fucked up stuff.
We changed from the first Gulf War.
Are there any leaders? Are there any leaders doing fucked up stuff in Africa and Latin America?
I think.
Boom. I knew that this was going to happen.
That generally, the United States.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yeah, they're probably. Yeah, of course. I'm pretty sure
so
there's like 6 ongoing genocides.
Where are the ground wars in Africa and Latin
No
America?
geostrategic interest, and I don't know if there are. I don't know if there are democracies there. I don't know if there are democracies that we feel like are worth supporting.
What was the geostrategic interest in toppling Saddam Hussein in 2003?
That entire area, because of its location near Russia, I believe, is of interest to the United States.
Because of it, so we invaded Iraq because of its location near Russia.
We invaded. I didn't say we invaded Iraq.
See, this is why.
I'm not gonna. You want me to answer the question?
This is why
you doesn't want me to answer.
Nick, please.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can't say the U.S. invades countries because they're doing bad shit. That's a terrible argument because there's bad shit going on everywhere in the fucking world. It's very selective of what it's like. This country gassed its people. It's like, okay, China has people in slave camps, Uyghur Muslims building all the iPhones. Yeah. But these guys over here, they're treating their people bad. It's like, well, what about in Africa where they're having open air slave auctions? Yeah. But these guys over here, it's like, that's the thing that Destiny doesn't get, that it's very convenient that the U.S. selects what atrocities to humans we're going to stop. It's very selective on which countries we need to invade. It doesn't matter that another country in the Middle East is kidnapping kids. It doesn't matter that 1 in every 3rd human person trafficked is happening in Mexico City. We don't need to invade those areas. We need to invade Iraq. It's very coincidental.
Okay, now there's no interruptions. Okay,
let him answer.
Let's hear about Russia.
The reason why we invaded
Sonic the Hedgehog.
the reason why we invaded Iraq,
and then you can answer.
the reason why we invaded Iraq is because Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait with shitty pretext and used chemical warfare against the people of Kurdistan, the Kurds living in the north of Iraq. The reason why we have an interest in Iraq is because of the location on the globe. So if you want to tell me why we're interested in Iraq, I can tell you that. If you want to tell me why we invaded, I can tell you that. Those are the 2 separate answers to that. Where were the Jews involved?
Well, wait.
Now
so
let him respond.
That was the geostrategic benefit.
Sure. First of all, we've already drafted nations that are literally bordering Russia into NATO. That's what we did with the Baltics, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania.
Yeah.
So we've already done that. In terms of reaching into countries that are more northern and eastern, or from Iraq, my guess is going to be because we don't have any connection or reasonable way to support those countries. We just don't have
what does that mean? We have no reasonable way to support
the geographic locations of places.
Why do we need to support them? Destiny still hasn't found a good reason why we need to even get involved in. I'm a don't get involved in other nations kind of guy. That's the thing. It's like they'll always find a reason to invade a country. That's the thing.
Places like Turkey and Israel make them easier for long distance support rather than places like Armenia, Azerbaijan.
So where's
Georgia.
Azerbaijan on a map? Do you know?
Northeast of Iraq.
It's east of Turkey.
Yes.
So it's right there. It's right there with Armenia. It's right there with Turkey. It's right there with Georgia. Georgia and Turkey are allies. Why won't we just go for Azerbaijan?
Georgia already had Russian troops in the country.
And we couldn't have gone in there and repelled that in 2008?
Russian troops on the Russian border? No, I don't think we would do that.
That's what we're doing right now, dipshit. That's what we're doing right now. And it's 20 years later.
I'm sorry.
Russia's having an arms buildup.
The United States does not have military troops in Ukraine.
Yes, they do.
Wow. No, they don't.
Yes, we do.
Then why isn't Russia screaming it from the rooftops? If we had,
they are.
Notice how we pivoted away from the first Gulf War.
That is incredible.
Because we're
amazing naivete on display right here.
Okay, we because I see what's going on here. Basically, we're answering one question by bringing up examples, and those examples basically create a whole other conversation. So
well, no, they shouldn't, but it's because he can't answer that.
Well,
the point is to bring up. If I can bring up 10 different conflicts and say the Jews,
keep looking at your chat.
If I can bring up 10 different things and I say the Jews, and then I push on any one of those, and it's like
to be fair, hold on. To be fair, both of you guys have done it. So Are you? Did you get to answer the first Gulf War thing? You
He
did.
doesn't have an answer.
We already went over
He
that.
has no answer. We didn't go over
No,
it.
we did. I said it was pretextual.
If
That's the
it's-
answer.
is that-
Pretext. Every war is pretextual.
Oh, finally, an admission. I agree. You're right.
There's a reason
Just
for
like our
every war.
support
They're not
for Israel.
random.
Thank you
The
very
pretext
much.
was
I
them invading
appreciate it.
Kuwait and using chemical warfare
Yes,
against the
it's a
Kurdish
false
people.
pretext.
Oh, so that
Okay.
didn't happen.
Are
They
you
didn't invade Kuwait. They didn't gas the Kurds.
Are you both comfortable with leaving the Gulf War and going to Kanye?
No.
Hold on.
I want to continue with the
Iraq
Iraq
as an
war.
example.
Yeah, now, yeah, because he did ask, because the two reasons you gave for Iraq was,
I can
Yes,
tell you,
you-
there's a
Russia.
general reason the United States will
Yeah.
support countries that are of geostrategic interest. That usually means next to important travel.
This conversation's weak as fuck. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how this would get them back. Maybe they set up some kind of deal where they'd be on Rumble for this. They'd be on Rumble, so they had to hype it up like YouTube will ban any of these topics. But these topics are discussed everywhere, all around the world, all the time. This is not anything out of the ordinary. This isn't any. They're not bringing up any facts that are thought-provoking. They're just arguing why something happened. Nick's point is that we have a specific set of rules on who we need to invade and why. And Destiny's point is basically, we're there to defend people, which is bullshit. I mean, you can say that, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't actually believe that, but he needs to defend his point.
Ways for trade.
Of course.
It could mean geographic location in relation to China or Russia.
Yes.
And then there's a third reason: places that have somewhat tenable democracies.
Yeah.
Like that's an important thing. That's why we don't intervene so much in African countries, because we're worried that if we start shipping in a ton of weapons, shit will get fucked. In Iraq, we abandoned that strategy.
Hold on.
Shit's gonna get more fucked in Africa. That's already a piece of shit.
And that
Guys,
was
let him
one of the
speak, please.
reasons why the post-Iraq war, the second Gulf War, was such an unbelievable fucking
Destiny's a good company man, though. I will say that whatever team he's on, he's fucking loyal, to where he almost seems like an idiot to be like, hey, do you think there's any external reasons why we're invading these countries? He's like, no, everything's by the book.
shit show, because we invaded the country.
And it's crazy because he believes in like the patriarchy. How can you simultaneously say there's a patriarchy of men trying to keep women down, but then we're like, well, what about the government? Are they have some kind of ulterior motives? And it's just like, no, they don't exist. Everything we do is for the right reason.
We dismantled the government, and we realized that was fucked, so we tried to build another government, and that was even more fucked, and arguably a lot of what we ended up shipping to Iraq went straight to fucking ISIS.
So
that
do
was
you-
one of the
do you
bad
not
things
think
about that was
that
like the bad
Israeli-
thing about
okay,
Iraq.
let me ask
and
you this then.
Afghanistan as well. Yes.
Let me ask
Yeah.
you this, just so Nick can properly respond to the Iraq war.
Sure.
Are you saying that Israeli involvement had nothing to do with us going into Iraq?
That
Israeli
is-
involvement.
I'm sure that people from Israel were probably happy we did it. I'm sure there are Jewish people
Okay.
in the United States that are
Just let
probably
him
happy we
finish,
did it,
please.
but I don't
Alright.
think the Jews made it happen. Like, I think if you delete Israel and you delete Jewish people, God willing for Nick, from the world, we're still probably going to
So you
Iraq
think,
as
you
well.
think we would have invaded regardless of Israel?
Regardless
That's
of any
funny.
Jewish
Okay,
influence.
what's your
That's hilarious.
response to that? He's saying Israel pretty much played no part in it.
Okay, well, I mean, I was about to respond to a lot of this. I would say in the first place, he said, well, we don't go into Africa because they can't build a democracy.
Okay.
As if Iraqis are any more democratic than fucking Africans. That's number one. Number two, he said, well, we wouldn't go to war in Africa because the weapons would just go everywhere. As though that's not exactly what's been happening in the Middle East for 40 years. That was happening before we even arrived. There was happening with the Soviets against the Mujahideen in 1979. It's been going on. So both of those are two arguments that are just crap.
Okay,
Like,
yeah, you disagree. Okay.
and so,
And
no,
then what
they're just
about the
wrong.
Iraq? Yeah.
And then about
Iraq
Jews
part.
in Iraq, he says, well, maybe there were Israelis that supported it. No, there were very powerful Zionist Jews that supported it. It was a number 2 in the DOD. It was a number 3 in the DOD. It had a Near East policy in the National Security Council. These are the guys that put together. And by the way, it's not like I'm just listing people that were in the government. They
You are.
specifically created. No, I'm about to answer that. They specifically created the Office of Special Plans. The Office of Special Plans is where all this phony intelligence about WMDs from Iraq
It wasn't
was
phony.
coming from. It was.
It was not.
It
the
was.
OSP was also requested
It
by
absolutely
Cheney and
was.
Bush.
You
because
can
they
go
didn't
and
like
look it
the-
up.
I
You
have
know,
looked it
look it
up.
up.
They
They
went
went
over
over that.
Destiny, let him finish his point, and then you
Okay.
can go ahead and say
Sure.
it was phony. Let him just finish his point about the Office of Special. Go ahead.
So they contradicted the CIA. They contradicted American intelligence. They had Mossad people going in between all day long. Not only
That's true. I think Myron himself. I don't know why Myron's not getting involved, but he had a guy on there. I forget. It was a military guy who was actually sent to the Middle East to look for the weapons of mass destruction and reported back since the 80s that there was none. Myron doesn't want to take sides. Maybe that's why he's not saying, but he has the answers that Destiny's looking for.
But these are all guys. I don't know how people can just pass this off as a coincidence. All these guys that I'm talking about in the government were 10 years prior writing a clean break memo that was literally commissioned by the Prime Minister of Israel. The Prime Minister of Israel said, hey, guys, go write a memo about our foreign policy. And the foreign policy playbook they wrote was this: first Iraq, then Syria, then Iran. Then these guys all get in the Bush White House, and that's, go figure, exactly what they push for. On September 20th, 9 days after 9/11, 40 prominent neocons at the Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, New York Times wrote a letter to George Bush and said, if you don't support a war against Hezbollah, against Iraq, against Syria, then we're going to say you're an ally of the terrorists. You're a cuck in the war on terrorism. Those guys were all Jewish Zionists, by the way. All these neocons, they're the most prominent conservatives. At the same time, that same week, they're drafting plans for war against Iraq. We didn't even know who did it. And when we found out, it was people that trained in Afghanistan, funded by Saudis, connected to Pakistanis. Why are they talking about going to war against Hezbollah, which is in Lebanon? Why are they talking about going to war in Syria? Syria helped us in the war on terror. Why are they talking about going to Iran? It makes no sense. Other than that, this is the fucking playbook that they wrote, commissioned by Netanyahu. It's not crazy. It's not weird. That's just the facts.
All right.
So again, every single argument relies.
What happened?
On this, there are some Jewish people that said this, therefore that's the plan. There's a reason why you won't answer specifically anything related to the first or even the second Gulf War, and then you restate some of my points, you make them your own, and then you just keep harping this idea that the Jews. The Office of Special Plans was created because Cheney and Bush wanted to take unvetted intel because they really wanted to go to Iraq and fight a war there, and they didn't like the information they were getting from the CIA or the FBI, which is interesting because if U.S. intelligence is so corrupted, why the fuck would you even need to create the Office of Special Plans? If the Mossad and the Jews and all these people have so much influence throughout every single hierarchy of the United States government, can you tell me why the OSP was even created? Why couldn't they just fake intel from the CIA?
Because their positions were in the DOD. I mean, you're telling me, wait a minute, they didn't have any clout. They just created an office within the Defense Department, the number 2 and 3 in the fucking Pentagon.
Yeah, why did they have, what I'm asking you, I'll repeat the question, because you won't have an answer.
They used what they had.
This is how it, they used what they had? They literally created a new office.
Why didn't they do it in the CIA when they did it in the DOD?
When we talk about conspiracies, they're always all-powerful, but then they're also super cucked at the same time. If these guys have so much influence in government, so powerful, why the fuck would they create a whole separate office? Why wouldn't they just take shit from the CIA?
Okay, he's saying. Okay, I see what he's saying.
Let me summarize real quick for the viewers that don't understand. Okay, there probably was no good reason to think that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Okay, and the actual intel in the United States that was doing research at the time was reporting as much to the White House. Chances are
WMDs.
No. However, Bush and Cheney had a separate office created, the Office of Special Plans, and what they did was they took unverified, unvetted intel and they shot that up right to the White House, and they said, "Hey, look at this report. Hey, look at this report. Maybe there's something there." But intel is a messy business. There's a lot of verifications we have to do, right? And as a result of some of that unverified bullshit intel, they used that as a pretext for weapons of mass destruction. They went to Iraq. We just
But why did they do that, Destiny? What was the reason?
I'm saying, probably a really bad way to start that war. But the problem is, and again, this is my biggest issue with these types of all-encompassing conspiracies that run every part of the world, is that they're so fucking powerful. Why would they create a whole cuck separate institution that retards on fucking YouTube and cozy.tv can research? Why wouldn't they have just faked intel through the CIA?
Okay. So you're saying why create this entire other entity?
Like, how suspicious are you? Where it's like, we're going to create the Office of Jewish Plans. I mean, I'm sorry, the Office of Special Plans, not the Jewish one. And then we're going to use that to go. Why not just go through the CIA?
Okay.
This is so.
Okay, that's fine.
Hang on.
I see this question. This question is why create an entire another branch of U.S. government to create a narrative to go into Iraq when we could have just faked intel from the CIA in the first place? I see what you're going.
That's so funny to me. I mean, because first of all,
He won't answer that, by the way. Go ahead.
Okay, is that interruption going to be clocked?
He's going to answer. He's saying why create another agency?
He's going to ramble. He's not going to answer.
To come up with information.
There it is again. There it is again. See, they don't want me to talk.
The blue blinker need to chill. Everyone chill. Go.
So let me jump in. I love this argument because first it was like, well, it's really weird and crazy and blah, blah, blah. Then it turns into, well, why would the Zionist Jews that wrote the memo and work in the DOD in the number 2 and 3 positions, why would they create an office to funnel in unvetted intelligence from Mossad instead of doing it in the CIA? I don't know, because they were in the DOD, they were in the Pentagon. I mean, it's like presupposing the whole premise, which is that so let me get this straight. You're conceding that there are Zionist Jews that wrote the clean break memo working in the Pentagon. They were funneling unvetted intelligence given to them, and this is reported by witnesses from the Mossad to, which is Israeli intelligence. You probably don't know that because you're ignorant.
Geostrategic interest of the Middle East.
That.
Israeli intelligence. Thanks for
another interruption. So you're admitting you have Zionist Jews who wrote the memo in the Pentagon and in the State Department, in the DOD. They're funneling unvetted intelligence from foreign intelligence agencies into the government, and that was part of the war in Iraq. Is that all what you're saying? You're admitting that?
Yeah, you restated my whole answer. Let's see if you'll answer my question now. Go ahead.
Well, so then I don't think there's any disagreement. I mean, if he's going to sit there and say but he's wrong because he's saying they control everything and everyone. No one ever said that. My thesis at the beginning is that you have these Zionist Jews in these positions. They have left.
Yeah, it is very strange to be like, yeah, they did create a separate branch. Oh, yeah, they did do all these things, but they don't have control. And if they really did have control, they would have just created fake documents from the CIA. It's like, what? So, but you're admitting that they had the capacity to do all these other things. It's very weird. Destiny's style of debating.
Leveled up. In some cases, they have been helped by foreign intelligence to get there, and they use their influence and power to help the state of Israel, which is basically what you're conceding. I never once said they control everything. Anybody will tell you that there are divisions, the CIA, FBI, NSA, State Department, DOD. There is factionalism within all these groups, and some are more infiltrated than others. So nobody said, well, they control the whole government. If I can prove they only control the DOD, then therefore I win. And we agree. You're right. Zionist Jews in the DOD did give intelligence from the Mossad to Bush to bring us to war in Iraq. We agree.
Why did they need to create a separate office for it?
Because they needed to bypass the CIA.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they have just gone to the White House themselves?
There's rules and regulations they got to follow. That department doesn't have to.
There's rules and regulations for going to war in Iraq by creating a separate office.
This is a mechanism that they did.
Yeah.
Why would they create that then?
I just don't know why you wouldn't just pass it up through the CIA.
That's what they didn't pass it up through the CIA. They passed it up through they created this office special plans.
They created the
reported to the NSC.
Just to be clear, here's a summary. Basically, what he's saying is that the CIA was not compromised with Zionist interests to the same degree that the DOD was, so they did it through the DOD.
Exactly.
Is that the answer?
Yeah,
pretty much.
That's the answer.
Pretty much.
So the CIA was not, because they're different agencies.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that.
Yeah.
But like the idea that Jewish Zionists have the levers on our financial system, on I guess the DOD and the Pentagon, but our
now we're
intelligence
talking
agencies.
about the financial system.
Okay.
Well, no. These are your words. You're saying that Jews run everything. You can look at me. It's okay. Don't be nervous.
The topic was Iraq.
It was, but you never gave me the answer.
I like how you threw a funny part in to distract from the fact you're losing. Go ahead, look at me. Don't be nervous.
Okay.
You're the one
I
that's
see you
losing.
staring off into the corner. You're having like a little autism attack.
It's amusing.
Do you have any
I'm
Adderall
just
for this
amused
guy
that
over
you
here?
said
He's
they
like, he's
weren't
getting a little bit
Iraq.
worried.
Okay, let me just, besides the insults, let me
I'm just saying that like
I don't know if Destiny feels like he's winning, but it doesn't seem like it.
it's frustrating because it reminds me of arguing with my mom, right? Where she says the elections are rigged. Well, how did Trump win in 2016? Well, enough good people showed up that day. Like
Now
it's
it's about
always
the
rigged
election.
until it's not. I don't know how, if we get so much Israeli intelligence, it's so corrupt. Why couldn't Israelis just passed on fake intelligence through the CIA and gotten us to go to war with Iraq that way?
I think his answer was basically that
his answer was that we can't do it that way. Yeah, we weren't compromised that way.
The CIA to the degree where it can go up, where we can go into war, but we were compromised at the DOD level, so they did it through the chain of the DOD.
Gotcha.
Steven has a better strategy, though.
Let's say that I buy, which is ridiculous.
I'm just summarizing what Nick said.
I know, I understand. Let's say that I buy all of that, which is already too much, and it's hilarious.
All right.
Why is it that they created their own little Office of Jewish plans? They got us to go to Iraq. Why the fuck didn't they get us to get rid of Saddam Hussein? Why did we keep him there?
They did.
What do you mean? We kept him there.
We got him in 2003.
Why didn't we get him in the first Gulf War?
The fact is, we got him.
Whoa, shit!
What's funny about that?
Why didn't we get him in the first Gulf War?
We got him.
Did they need a second office?
They needed a 9/11.
Oh, okay.
Boom. So there's no answer. So is
No,
so
he did answer.
No. Hold on. So to be clear,
Amazing.
It did give an answer. He said it was after 9/11. So because it wasn't done on Destiny's timeline, then that means that there's no Jews in power. I'm not sure what that means. So because it wasn't done on the timeline Destiny wanted, that negates everything.
To be
That's
clear,
amazing.
To be clear, because also, by the way, the best answer the best reason for why we should have gotten rid of Saddam Hussein after 9/11 was because of the first Gulf War. So if we would have deposed him after Gulf War I, I don't think anybody would have even cared, right?
So,
the
let
motherfucker
me
used
get this
chemical
straight.
warfare against the Kurdish
So the
people
argument
and
is,
invaded
well,
Kuwait,
why
which
did
is
they
to
do
this
it to the
day,
CIA?
which is to this day like one of the most U.S. loyalist fucking countries on the planet because we saved them when Saddam Hussein invaded. So my question is, if the Jewish people, I'm laying it all out, okay? The Jewish people have so much influence in the DOD, they create a special office because Israel really wants us to go to war with Iraq to get rid of Saddam Hussein. They managed to do all of that successfully, and they get the most powerful nation in the history of the world.
Something I definitely need to work on is getting a more comfy chair. This chair fucking sucks. That's the next big purchase on this goddamn ring. New chair.
To go to war with another nation that doesn't even border Israel to depose Saddam Hussein, but we don't even get rid of Saddam Hussein. What the fuck?
Well, hold
It
on.
doesn't even border Israel. Wow, what a
When
lack
was
of
the Office of
understanding.
Special Operations created again?
I think it was 2003.
So it was created after 9/11. I think that's what he's trying to say. Is like they needed the 9/11. That's why they created the office, and then that allowed them to circumvent CIA
But hang on,
intelligence.
but Myra,
Sure, but
let
I'm
me
saying that- but I'm
argue.
saying
Hang
if
on,
for the
this
first
guy,
Gulf War,
this guy can ramble and interrupt.
Bro,
I
you
did
rambled
check-
so much.
No,
There it is.
Nick, good.
Yeah. All right.
Jesus is king. Go, Nick.
So
I was just
let me-
summarizing what he was saying.
That's
so.
amazing. And I can argue here.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
it's amazing that the argument started out with crazy, weird. They think Jews run everything to like, well, why didn't the Jews take out Saddam Hussein the first time? Why didn't the Jews do it this way instead of this other way? Will you engage with the fact that these people wrote the clean break memo for a foreign government and then were in the most important national security positions 7 years later? Will you engage with that at all?
Yeah,
Will you address
but
that?
the problem is you haven't established anything other than
No,
the fact that these guys
engage
were
with that.
Jewish. I'd
Tell-
engage
tell
with
me
it.
what you
Sure,
think about that.
Yeah, they might have been Jewish. They
No,
might
no,
have been
no,
like
they
Israel.
were. No, they were.
Sure.
Don't say they might have been. That's a weasel
They were
word.
Jewish. They probably supported the nation of Israel. Okay.
No. They don't. Hang on. Let me tell you the facts.
Nick, I don't care unless you can
Why don't
show
you
me
care?
because you have to show me a
Why don't you
connection.
care?
It's not enough to say
Let me
Jewish
show
and
you
they
the
support
connection.
Israel.
He's getting there. He's getting there.
He's not going to. He has no evidence. But go
He's
for it.
gonna-
That's amazing.
He's going to
So-
talk for a while, but there is
The
nothing.
clean
There's
break
nothing.
memo is the
Yeah.
foundation. Go ahead.
So, because I want you to engage with this. In 1996, it's not like maybe they supported Israel, maybe they're
This is a very interesting topic. I enjoy it. I don't think most people would enjoy it. It seems like the chat, from what the chat, they're completely disregarding what's happening in the in the conversation. It just seems like they're just like, I'm on this team, fuck this other team. They don't even know what the fuck they're talking about, which that's fine, I guess. But this is nothing out of the bounds. Like I don't think the Jews in power care about this Muslim, a white guy, some Albanian, Asian, another white guy, and a black guy have to say about this. Like, if this is, I don't know if I'll get a copyright strike, maybe, or it'll get banned from YouTube. This video that I'm putting on, but this has been for the general public a bunch of boring shit that nobody cares about.
Jewish. Again, with the weasel
They didn't expose anything crazy, at least.
words. No, they were Jewish. They were Zionists. They didn't probably support Israel. This was commissioned by the state of Israel. Bibi Netanyahu commissioned them to write this. And they write in 1996 a memo that says, in order to secure the realm of Israel, we need Saddam gone. We need Syria destabilized. We need Iran gone. These are guys that then go and work at the highest level positions in the DOD. They create the OSP, which creates the intelligence for the war in Iraq. And that was their plan, actually, to go into Syria. If you look at some of the classified documents, they wanted to go into Syria, but the Iraq war was a big deal. And we wound up supporting rebels in Syria anyway. So will you engage with the fact that that's a pretty clear connection?
It's not.
That's not.
It's not. You have to show that Israel was controlling the United States foreign policy.
foreign
there was
government.
popular support of the United States for the
Wow.
war. There was support in Congress for the war.
Wow.
We got the authorized use of military force. We did the first Gulf War. And we did the second one. You don't need Jewish anything to explain any of that.
So a foreign
And naturally,
government-
there's a lot of Israel enjoys broad support in the United States by most of its citizens. You don't
because
need
they
a
control the
conspiracy to
media.
explain. Okay.
We can talk about the media next. But he
Sure.
is saying the clean break memo. So you're saying that has nothing to do with it.
Sure. Remember,
Okay.
I mean, maybe, but the problem is what he'll do is he'll say 4 Jews were involved.
Amazing.
They might have even been from Israel, which I don't even know. I'd have to go
I
look
didn't
up
say
every
4
name.
Jews.
Usually when I look these people up, it'll be like they were born in New York to a Jew or something. I don't know about these guys in
Oh my
particular,
gosh.
right? But the issue is you can never show a connection of like this was the plan, this is the evidence. It's always like these guys were Jewish, they supported Israel, they wrote this document, they control the whole United States. Now remember earlier I said They couldn't just do it through the CIA? No, they had to make a separate office. Okay, what about the fact that all the United States supports them? Well, they control all of the media, which would be more impressive, by the way, than actually controlling
We'll
the
talk
CIA.
about the media here in a second, because that's another topic. I think what Nick is saying...
I understand. I just real quick, there's always this duality of they're kind of cucked and they really don't have any insight or infiltration into our intelligence agencies, but they also control the entire media apparatus of the entire United States. I don't know how they can do one but not the other.
It's two different things, but what Nick is basically saying is that you have people that have Israeli interests at heart that are in high positions of the government that influence foreign policy for the betterment of Israel.
Yeah,
that's all he's saying.
For example, Zelensky, you said duality, his dual citizenship. Is Zelensky a Jew to you?
I don't think about people that way. I don't think about it. I'm not a Jew hunter looking for who's Jewish or who's not.
Let me jump in. Let me summarize my point.
Okay.
So,
go ahead.
Oh, fucking I was right. Apparently the guy was born in New York, 1941. Richard Norman Period. Yeah. Okay, so how many of these guys were even born? Were
They
any of
are
the
Jewish.
The guys that you mentioned.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
I'm just
When you
curious,
say,
were any of the guys that you mentioned,
can
were
I
they born in
summarize my
Israel?
point or
Okay,
what?
let
This
him-
is
Wait, can I just ask something? I mean, sorry. Were any of the
I
guys
never
you
said they
mentioned?
were born in Israel. I said they're Jewish Zionists.
Yeah, he did say that.
Why are you saying, oh my gosh? I said they're Jewish
So they're U.S.
Zionists.
citizens. Okay, go ahead.
I said they're Jewish Zionists, Destiny. I didn't say they were born
They're
in
American
Israel.
citizens too.
They're
who have a right
Jewish-
to serve in a military and are DoD just like any other citizen.
Okay, and that's totally irre- it's so
It's
amazing.
interesting that you didn't mention that. Though.
Another
I thought these were
eruption,
born in
another
Israel.
eruption.
I think they should just hook up. I think Destiny and Nick should just make out after this. They should probably kiss.
Okay, gotcha.
That's
But we're not
to
going to
be
control
fair,
that. That's okay.
He did call them Zionists, which you can be a Zionist and hold a U.S. citizenship while
Yeah.
You can.
simultaneously.
When you call someone a Zionist
That doesn't matter.
Jew, then taking orders from Netanyahu.
Wow.
I mean, it feels like
That's
I understand.
crazy.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
there's no Zionist Jews with Americans. Yeah, fucking Sheldon Adelson had American citizenship. Jonathan Pollard had American citizenship. It didn't mean they weren't loyal to Israel. Talk about literally just. If you're losing the debate, just lie about what the other person was saying. Wait a second, they were born in Israel. Throw my head up and laugh. Nobody fucking said that. I said they were Zionist Jews. I hope people are paying attention. Jeez.
Yeah. Okay.
So let me.
You want to summarize? Go ahead, please.
Let me summarize my point.
Stop laughing, Snicko.
You stop laughing.
Good.
So
I don't know. I don't know who's winning. This has been a bunch of bullshit.
let
Though.
me summarize my point. My point is this. Okay,
You
it's
moderate.
not just four guys. I said, and this is the whole debate. I said you have guys at the highest level of government. I'm talking about these specific guys because it's so egregious. They get commissioned by a foreign government to write up a strategy for that foreign government, and then they go and implement it in the United States government 10 years later. And people can say, well, but there was support for the war, but the American people supported it. I threw out evidence and said, well, in 1998, all the same Jewish neocons, including all the four authors of the memo, including all the people that signed that letter on September 15, 2001, they signed a letter to Clinton in 98 before 9/11, before the WMD stuff, supporting a toppling of Saddam Hussein. In other words, they wanted it before there was a 9/11. They wanted it before there was popular support, before it's in the conversation. 9/11 happens, and within 5 days, it's not just four, you got 40 prominent Jewish neocons, Washington Post, Weekly Standard, New Republic, Wall Street Journal, New York Times. They all write. And by the way, all Jewish columnists too. Charles Krauthammer's another one. They all sign a letter saying you got to go to war, not just in Iraq, but against Hezbollah, against Syria, against Iran. What I'm trying to do is paint a picture. I'm not saying that the Jewish lobby is omnipotent. I'm not saying that they control every aspect of government. I'm saying that it's not a coincidence that they're there. It's not innocuous that they're there. That was the original premise of the debate is, are they just people that happen to be there and do things? Or are there people in these positions where it becomes problematic because
Everybody has motive. That's the thing. It's like everyone is wherever you are in life, you have a motive, you have a plan. Everyone has some sort of a plan. So for Destiny to be like, oh, it's just coincidental that these people agree with this exact same plan, it's pretty stupid.
they have a tribal loyalty, a political, religious loyalty. That was the thesis of the debate. I never said, they control everything and this and that. And I think that's been basically established. But you want to debate like, well, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that? Without actually engaging with any of the evidence I provided.
I've engaged with everything you've given me.
No.
But you're not providing anything compelling.
Okay.
I don't know why
Okay.
if for everything you're saying, for instance, so first of all, let's acknowledge you are purporting that these Jewish people are among the most powerful and influential people in all of world history, right? If they're controlling literal foreign policy from the United States of America, which is the strongest empire that has ever existed in U.S. history and in the world history, right? You're asserting that these people are the strongest and most influential people in all of world history.
Current history.
And then you're telling me that for the first Gulf War, they couldn't just get rid of Saddam after he used chemical weapons? You're telling me that they needed 9/11 to go in to Iraq the second time? Why didn't we also go into it? You're saying that Israel wanted to get rid of Syria. They wanted to get rid of the Ayatollah in Iran. Why the fuck didn't we go in? Why didn't we go to those two countries next, right after Iraq? We went to Afghanistan, didn't we? We didn't like Pakistan. We went into there to kill Osama bin Laden.
Yeah.
Well, what about like Operation Northwoods? Why did the U.S. government come to proposals to JFK for a fake attack on a American plane by Cuba as a pretext to invade Cuba and take out Fidel Castro? We can't just arbitrarily invade countries. That's what Destiny's trying to avoid the fact of saying. It's like you can't just ignore. There is rules for engagement, so you can't just be like, well, we're gonna take out all these countries because of this pretext. No, I mean you have to give some. You have to have the people of the United States also go along with what you're planning. If the majority of the people in the United States aren't interested in regime change wars or toppling governments, a lot of people will complain and not want to do it. Look at the Bay of Pigs. There was many instances where the generals wanted the U.S. Presidents to invade countries or do things, and would even create false flag operations to do those things, to give the pretext, which Nick Fuentes is alluding to, that there is you have to have a reason for invading these countries.
Or bin Laden. Why didn't we just go right into Iran, right into Syria after Iraq?
Well, and I addressed that. Again, it doesn't mean that they are omnipotent, but they are pushing for that constantly. They are pushing for war with Iran constantly. They're pushing for war with Syria constantly. And you're ignoring the fact that there is a shadow war going on against Assad in Syria. There has been for over a decade now. And that is supported by Israel. That's supported by the United States. And by the way, it also has John McCain's fingerprints all over. We could get into
why not get rid of Assad like we did with Gaddafi if the Jews are so influential?
Because the war was extremely unpopular. Barack Obama gets elected in 2008 on this, we're going to end the war in Iraq. And Barack Obama actually,
whoa.
Hang on. You're interrupting me. Okay. I'm answering your point. You said,
it's going to be 10 more minutes of rambling. I'm going to bring you back to this, but go ahead.
It's not rambling. Don't say it's rambling because we're making an argument
here.
It is
rambling.
Okay. The argument is not that they control everything and they're so powerful. It's that they're extremely influential. They have a tribal loyalty. They use their influence to advance it. That's the thesis. So to say that when you say, well, why didn't they just do everything they wanted? Well, because I think that they don't have absolute control of our country. Thank God for that. It doesn't mean that they're not pushing for it. It doesn't mean that they're not achieving that to some extent. And they almost defeated Syria if it wasn't for the fact that Russia came in, if it wasn't for the fact that Trump came in. And actually, Trump ended our support for regime change in Syria. It was one of the first things he did in April 2017. And you know what they did a minute later? Chemical weapons attack. Amazing timing, literally. And I remember because it's when I started my show in April.
Total goalpost move, by the way.
No, it's not a total. Whoa, it's not a total.
I don't know. I don't think Destiny's great at debating, but it doesn't seem like he's got all the info.
Goalpost move. We're explaining about how these power dynamics work. Trump comes in, and I think it was a Friday or a Saturday, Pompeo, the then Secretary of State, it's Rex Tillerson, Nikki Haley come out and say, we're no longer pursuing regime change against Assad. Meaning, in other words, the United States was pursuing regime change, like you said they weren't. Literally 5 days later, that following Tuesday, boom, chemical weapons attack in Homs. Will the United States respond? The same thing happened in 2013. And this gets back to... Hang on. I promise I'm almost finished. Then this gets back to the Kurds. When they say, oh, well, they're gassing their own people. They said the same thing about Syria in 2013 with Obama. They said the same thing in 2017 with Syria and Trump.
It's always the random names,
It's not random. We're explaining how this stuff works rather than, the Gaddafi was a total freaking asshole and so was Assad. We're saying that there are competing interests here and there are political realities. They couldn't support another ground war in Syria after Iraq, after it was wild.
This conversation could have been on YouTube. I don't know why they took it off.
Unpopular after they tried to do nation building. They fought a shadow war there anyway, and they tried to force 2 presidents to go to war. They tried to force Trump into a war. They tried to force Obama into a war in Syria. You're rubbing your face. Did that not happen? Was there no pressure to go into Syria?
Okay, so firstly, you
Wait, let
lied
me
about
ask
your
you point
thesis.
blank.
You lied
Point
about
blank
no.
question.
If you want to go point by point, we can do that. But now you
Point
just rambled a
blank
whole bunch of dumb shit. So
No,
I'm
but
gonna
you're
counter.
rubbing your
I'm not
face
gonna-
like that's not true.
Yeah, because everything you're saying is wrong.
So
and
did
retarded.
they
No, of course
was
I'm gonna
there
rub my face.
pressure for Obama and Trump to go into Syria with boots on the ground, 100,000 troops?
But we didn't do it, did we?
No, because they don't control everything. But there was
They only
pressure to.
control the most powerful nation in the world when they want to, but not when they don't want to.
They did it in 2003, and it
Wait,
became wildly
I'm
unpopular.
gonna find out. You said the JQ, and I pointed this out at the beginning of the conversation because I want to make this known, and I'm going to reiterate. You just rephrased the JQ. Why didn't we go into Syria?
Things are not the same today as they were then. Does not just prove the point that Jewish people have influence. What's more, and this is Syria and Iran. Simple cause and effect. He talked about
other people, you're not going to deal with the same consequences. But if you criticize,
No one answered the fucking Jewish question. That's the point. Because brought up, everyone stood up to attack Kanye.
All right, John.
Explain to me.
I'm ready. I want Zherka
If
to
you
talk. I'm ready for Zherka to do some fucking talking.
disagree,
right.
is it in certain components? Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm
Yeah, well, I mean,
like a
look,
Mexican.
I mean, the Kanye thing is just basically undisputable. I don't know how anybody could look at that and not see exactly what happened, which is simple cause and effect. He talked about the Jews, and then he got totally financially ruined, reputation destroyed, ruined in the media. And I was there in the war room with him as it was happening in November and December, and it was literally like could not find a fucking lawyer. Like he was being sued by Adidas. It was some civil thing, and
They're finally talking about something interesting. Kanye. They were talking about geopolitical fucking affairs, Syria, Iraq, this and that. I wanted to be like, y'all don't know shit about that. Like, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of
I
here.
remember him like literally could not find a business lawyer to come and help him. This is a multi-billion-dollar deal.
Wow.
So I wanted to hear Destiny start off because I want to hear the rational Reddit explanation for that. You know, what happened with Kanye?
The rational explanation is if you attack Jews, if you attack LGBT people, if you attack minorities, you're probably going to get shit on in the United States.
Really?
That's not true. Zherka attacks Muslims, and then he has to.
I fight them on the street.
He fights in the
three on
street.
one, bitch.
If you attack
I fucked up
Christianity,
two of them, you fucking goat fucker.
Jesus Christ. Here we go. Now things are getting spicy. All
you
right.
attack Muslims, then you'll
At
have
least-
physical altercations.
Isn't he literally permanently banned from Twitch?
Not for that. And
Not
hold
for
on,
that
hold
at
on.
all.
You're
And so are
saying
you,
you're
and
saying
not
if
for
I
that.
attack Mexicans, JP Morgan is gonna fucking float down from the fucking gates of synagogue of Satan? Are you fucking joking
If
me?
you attack anybody, I don't think anybody will give a fuck because you're John Zherka.
Well, hold on. Explain to me this, since Ben Shapiro's little bitch ass is watching, huh? You little turbo Zio bitch,
Is he? Is Ben Shapiro watching this?
fucking bitch. Fuck you. Fuck Media Matters. You're afraid of competition. This kid would have whooped your ass. You fucking boring fuck. But check this out. Ben, how come Ben can shit on my black African nigga community
Damn.
and talk about crime statistics for decades? But when Kanye brings up one Jewish question, JP Morgan and the whole world tries to cancel him. And what's funny is every single argument, when everyone stood up
Is JP Morgan Jewish?
to attack Kanye, everyone's argument, they froze and it got very awkward. Piers Morgan, everyone, they're like, they didn't know what to say. The point that Kanye brought up was never answered.
Right.
They just punished him. What was the answer? What was Piers Morgan's answer? You don't remember because no one answered the fucking Jewish question. That's the point.
Because
What
bringing
was
it
the
up is
question?
Answer the
necessary.
JP Morgan
What
thing.
was
Answer the
Kanye
JP.
asking? What was Kanye asking? What was the question?
If Ben Shapiro can attack black community and nothing happens, why did JP Morgan shut down for Kanye?
What do you mean if Ben Shapiro
He
can
asked
attack the
one
black
Jewish
community?
question
I'm
and
pretty
JP
sure
Morgan shut down $200 million.
Zherka, let him please
Ben
answer.
Shapiro
Sorry,
made
it's my
one
black
tweet.
side. I got low IQ and high testosterone. Sorry, it's a
Ben
warrior
Shapiro
gene.
made one tweet about what was it, like Arabs don't build anything, they just destroy.
Oh, he lost his bank
Jesus.
for that.
And he didn't lose his bank for that, but he's been shut out or attacked for that for fucking
Didn't he-
15
didn't he-
fucking years over that.
his
shit.
career
Right,
boomed after that.
let me just make sure I get this. Basically, what Nick is trying to say is that when other classes of people are criticized, they don't feel they don't experience the same level of debanking, cancellation, and I guess vitriol that you do if you criticize a certain country and a certain group of people. If you criticize blacks, if you criticize Hispanics, if you criticize Christians, white people, whatever,
Yeah,
you
I'm
deal with
asking
almost
you
more
honestly, is
consequences.
there an example of somebody with a 10-figure net worth that has come out and shit on any minority group of people?
Mel
Trump.
Gibson.
Donald Trump.
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson?
Yeah, and
the
which
guy whose
community?
entire career got fucking destroyed?
Exactly, but which community destroyed him, idiot?
No, but I'm asking you. I'm asking you. Let me listen. Okay, I'm asking you.
Wait, what? You
No,
want
this-
that one? You want Mel Gibson too? This is like science, bro.
Guys,
This
yeah,
is
let
stupid.
him-
Hold on,
speak,
wait a
bro.
second.
Let him
Hold
speak,
on,
please.
it's been a
Let him
while. I'm
speak.
sorry. Wasn't Mel Gibson canceled because he literally said the N-word in that phone call to that lady?
No one gave a fuck about
No,
that.
but hold on. I know you guys
JQ.
about it, but my understanding, didn't
guy's
he
an
leak that
idiot.
phone call where he told that he was his mistress or ex-wife?
He was
whatever,
talking about
and
Jews
and he
when
was
he was
talking about the
dropping the
N-word, or
phone.
was that
Yeah,
just Jewish
Jews
people?
got
So-
mad because he said nigger.
Guys.
It's been a long time. I don't follow every single fucking
Let's
drama
be
thing,
respectful to Destiny's viewpoint. Again, I'm just here moderating. I'm just simplifying it. All Nick is saying, right, and Kanye West said this as well, is that if you criticize other people, you're not going to deal with the same concept.
I'm gonna strictly criticize Jews now from now on, and see how my career goes. Hopefully it goes well. But now I'm gonna strictly just shit on Jews and see if my career goes up or down.
But if you
If I get what can they say, like, oh, you're a Zionist or something, or anti-Zionist, I'm like, all right, whatever that means.
criticize anyone that's a Zionist, Israel, Jew, anything like that, and say anything about, the disproportionate.
Now I'm gonna just support Palestine. If someone you know what, something's wrong with my brain. If someone tells me you can't talk about these people, then I'm gonna talk about them. So I'm gonna you hearing this live now, I don't care about Jews. I don't give a fuck about them. I never even thought about them really, honestly. But now on, I'm gonna go hard in the paint. I used to go hard in the paint on the LGBTQ community, but fuck that. That's too easy now. Everyone fucking hates them. I'm gonna go in on the Jews now.
Proportionally represented in certain places, despite only.
I don't know what I would say about them though, so I need to do some research to go hard in the paint on Jews.
Representing 2% of the population, they're going to cancel you.
Sure,
That's
and I
all he's
understand,
saying.
but my question
Well,
is,
I mean,
Go ahead, please,
because
go
I
ahead.
want to state it.
well, wait, quick, because you can even vibe with this. Are there any other billionaires that are shitting on minorities so that I can compare? Like, for instance, has Jeff Bezos come out and said, like, Mexicans run this shit, I don't like them, blah, 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 and nothing happened to him?
Yeah,
Because my understanding is typically when you're worth that much, you don't usually.
Mexicans aren't running shit besides the drugs.
Go ahead, you can respond.
Yeah,
Nick, go ahead,
Trump,
respond.
Trump said we're going to ban all Muslims from America. He didn't lose Twitter. He didn't lose banking. He got the Republican
He just
nomination.
said he's going to do it again
was fine.
too.
Yeah. So there's one.
And he was
And
forced
then-
to regulate relations with Saudi. Like, they still made him do something for their Jewish friends, Saudi.
Well, and let me say some more on this. So, in the conservative movement, it's well known. You can literally say fucking anything about Muslims. You can go in there. Glenn Beck is he's not worth $1 billion. He's worth $250 million. He can go out there and write a book that says it is about Islam. And in the book, he argues that Islam is an evil religion and they all got to go from America. He's worth $250 million. Robert Spencer, not Richard, but Robert Spencer, he's a Jewish anti-Muslim guy. He could go out there and say similar things. Milo at one point, who's a Jew, could go out and say, I'm going to go and burn the Quran in Sweden during Pride Month or whatever the fuck it was 10 years ago. And he's got bank accounts. He's still got Jewish support. And same thing with Ben Shapiro. Shapiro literally called for a genocide. I'm not sure if you're even aware of that, but he wrote a column and said, transfer
Whoa.
is not a dirty word. We need to ethnically cleanse Israel and get the Palestinians out.
Total
That was
faggot,
a column.
by the way. Ben Shapiro, total faggot. Faggot in the chat for Ben.
And that was in addition. That was in addition to saying that
Oh my god.
Outside of the chat, let's go.
bomb
This is America, dude, where you can have a fucking white guy, another white guy, two blatant homosexuals. I mean, let's be honest. Black guy, a Muslim, an Asian, and an Albanian arguing about whether Jews control the world or not. This is awesome.
shit and live in open sewage. He never faced any repercussions or penalties. It's, of course, only, and even Leafy. Leafy can go on Twitter and say LGBTQ people are evil and all the stuff that he didn't shout out Leafy. He's been doing a great job. He hasn't lost his Twitter. Elon personally told Ye he cannot come back to Twitter.
Yeah, look who's
Why
banned
the
on
fuck
Twitter.
do you think that is?
Nick's still banned on Twitter.
Do you think that if we look at so we can explain this with two ways. Either one, I guess because Jewish people are in control of who gets banned from all of these organizations, or two, can you not just look at where broad U.S. support is and realize that companies are probably doing things to keep broadly the United States citizens like in line with their corporations? So if you were to ask, for instance, if you were to poll U.S. citizens, do you broadly support Muslims in the Middle East more, or do you support like
Fuck no.
like Israel and Jewish people more? Everybody over the age of like 40 is literally an Israeli simp, Donald Trump included, as much as he seems to want to avoid that.
Wait, your original argument was you could get in trouble for any minority attack.
There
and
are
now
there
you're
are certain.
shifting
I
the
think that if you,
goalpost
I think that if
1,000
you,
miles. And why
I
did
think
you
that
get
if
it,
you,
bro?
sure.
Come on.
I think that if
Let's go, Team ZHERKA and fucking Nick.
I think that
Is this supposed to be? It feels like slowly but surely SNEAKO is starting to hate Destiny or starting to disagree with them, and he's like, just ZHERKA and Nick are much more entertaining. That's for
if you
sure.
get on
Destiny's a whiny little girl, and SNEAKO's just like, fuck, I hitched my fucking toe to the wrong fucking truck.
Twitter,
No,
I think that if you get on Twitter, I think that if you get on Twitter,
this is cheating. What he's doing, it's a waste of my time.
He's formulating his
yeah,
argument.
I think that if you get on Twitter, and I think if you shit on like right now, I think if you do like LGBT people, I think you're probably gonna get a lot of trouble for it. I think that if you
Not true. I shit on LGBT people religiously. Quote me on it. I have hundreds of videos, shorts on YouTube. Go check out my YouTube channel. I strictly shit on the LGBTQ community because I think it's gross. It's nasty. It's not right. No, but I do shit on them. Mostly because I don't think women, biological men should be competing in sports against women. I'm not shitting on them. I just think that, hey, you want to be a lady? Be a lady. You just can't play you can't fight against them. You know, you can't join the swim team and be like, hey, I'm 400th in the men's competition. I'm going to be number 1 in the women's. I don't shit on the LGBTQ community other than the fact that I don't think men should be in women's spaces. If you're a trans woman, you're a biological male. Period. That's my opinion. I'll call you ma'am. I'll say miss, I'll say she, her, I'll call it whatever your pronouns. But the second it's time for you to go piss, you better go to the men's room. If you have a dick, you're a man. I mean, I'll be courteous, I'll be kind, I'll, call you whatever you want. I don't care. Personally, don't give a shit. But as far as men, biological males in women's spaces, I'm 100% against that. And I'll fucking go to bat for that. I'll die on that hill. I don't care. Biological men should not be competing in any women's sports. We know that muscle strength's a thing. We know bone density is a thing. We know testosterone's a thing. We know all these facts, but it's just a bunch of pussies out there that want to just be like, they identify as this so they can compete against women. No, fuck that. We got to go back to telling these whiny little fucking homos that you're a fucking man. You compete against the men, bitch.
No.
You think that's why he went down?
I think he literally shit on that company personally. Yeah, he shit on the CEO of that company personally.
So how come he can't get one fucking lawyer?
What I'm saying
every fucking
what
term?
I'm saying is, also Kanye West is fucking insane. What I'm saying is
Why is he
literally,
that? Just not- name
he's
one
got
thing he
fucking
said.
manic bipolar because everybody in
So
the
do
fucking
you.
world. I don't have manic bipolar.
You take Adderall and you're fucking.
I don't take any Adderall. Go search my apartment and find a single fucking.
You take Adderall.
With all the stimulants like yours. Stop projecting.
We have to let him formulate his argument. He's giving a response for why people don't deal
What I'm
with the
saying
same
is that, yeah,
consequences.
if I'm trying to figure out like where is the repercussion of the American people, I can try to go by Jewish people that sometimes control the media and sometimes don't, or sometimes control the government, or sometimes don't, or sometimes push their interests, but they're not from Israel. Or I could say, what do the American people broadly support? I don't think America right now cares that much about people in the Middle East. So if you come out and you shit on brown people or people from the Middle East or Muslims, I don't think they care that much. Now, if you would have shit on Ukrainians, I think that probably would get you a lot of pushback right now. If you would have shit on Jewish people, for a lot of reasons, that probably would get you a lot of pushback right now. If you would have shit on black people, depending on how you do it, that probably get you a lot of pushback right now. But I don't think that it's just like the Jews.
Can I go?
Go ahead.
The reason why there's so much emotional baggage with that tribe is because of all the Hollywood movies on World War II depicting them as victims, but none about the people Stalin killed or any other dictator, Tojo's fucking Jap face. I'm telling you, you've never actually wondered why every world.
Hey, shout out to the people that are watching. I don't know if you guys who's ever been watching this time, comment down below. Do you think this should have not been on YouTube? I think this whole debate or whatever this has been, they called it too toxic or too edgy for YouTube, but it's been pretty boring. I'm gonna be honest. Right up until like this last few moments, it's been pretty like they were arguing about Jonah Hill and then fucking geopolitics, and now they're finally into some interesting stuff. But it's like, I don't know. Like, was there thought that the second they started talking about Jews that like YouTube would just fucking permaban them or something. I don't know.
World War II movie is from that point of view, that lens. Literally every Hollywood movie, me and Nick growing up were like, Inglourious Bastards, oh no, oh, this is the only tragedy in history. Nigga, I'm from a war. I'm from a war. I'm a refugee, bro.
And you showed it in this debate. You insinuated a couple times that I'm a Nazi, and you said that Nick is a Nazi. That's the most insensitive thing to call
Nick is a
somebody.
Nazi. You literally started to call me far leftist. You don't even know what communist or socialist means. You said I was a communist.
Steven, who trained you to spellcast to disparage someone with the word Nazi? Who trained that in you?
I don't think anybody
No,
at
who
this
put
table.
that in? Which part of the media put that impulse in you?
I don't think anybody at this table is going to dispel the
Do
word
you
Nazi.
think? Do you think a fat Chinese media outlet put that impulse in you to call him a Nazi? Where did you learn that behavior?
By
Oh, actually, I think it's fun calling people Nazis, but I don't. When I call someone a Nazi, it's more of a joke. It's like, it's crazy how, you know, you're like, hey, Jews suck. It's like, oh, you're a Nazi. It's like, you can call someone a Nazi for anything now.
Listening to what he says about Jewish people in the United States.
But when you call someone a sexist, communist, faggot, whatever.
Do you think I do that a lot? Do I call people sexist?
Well, no, we get it from the external world. So media trained us. Why did they train you when you're losing an argument to put a mustache on him?
I called him a Nazi once at the beginning of the debate.
No, you call them a Nazi.
Why is it the most powerful word you can use?
It's not the most powerful word right now. Is probably racist, I think, or transphobe. Those are the ones that were more shut up right
Do you hear what I'm trying to say or no?
What?
Like that you were trained by
you're
media.
saying that there's some manufactured consent because Jewish people run all the fucking media in the U.S. Blah blah blah
Like
blah.
at 8 years old, you watching Glorious Bastards, Schindler's List, and all that.
Do you think there might be a reason why the United States
kosher bagels, bagel boy?
Do you think there might be a reason why the United States is more interested in like what happened on the Western Front than the Eastern Front?
Say it again.
Do you think there might be a reason why the United States is more interested in what happened on the Western Front rather than the Eastern Front?
How is this relevant?
I'm going to kill myself.
All right.
How is that even relevant?
Let's go back
because
to
you
the
asked me
media
why
thing.
are so many movies? Why are so many movies made about World War II from that perspective?
Okay, Destiny.
Yeah.
Can you explain, I guess, the disproportionate...
How about this, Steven?
Zoka, chill, man. You had a chance, bro.
movies.
You had a chance. You had a chance. I got to keep this shit somewhat controlled and not too wild all over the place.
What rumble? Be wild.
Yeah, no, I know that, but what I'm asking is, Destiny, is do you have an explanation for the disproportionate...
Was this a 3v1 Destiny?
...level of punishment for criticizing anyone from Israel or Jewish people versus other races? That's what they're addressing.
My guess
That's
is
what
for
Nick asked.
older people,
Go ahead,
broadly
please.
speaking, everybody old in this country loves Israel. That's just a fact of the matter. Like everybody over 40 is a massive fucking Israeli simp. Younger people,
I don't know anyone. I'm pretty close to 40. I don't know anyone that loves. I'm like, hey, what do you think about Israel? They're like, motherfucker, I'm starving. I don't give a fuck about Israel. I'm hungry as fuck.
people have issues with Palestinian stuff.
White people, maybe anyone. I don't know. I don't know that many white people. I'm gonna be honest. Well, personally, I mean, obviously white clients, but I'm not asking them. Hey, quick question: do you like overtly support Israel? Maybe I should ask them.
More far right or far left people might have reasons for other reasons why, but broadly speaking, is even Nick would, I think, attest to this, that broadly speaking, Israel enjoys wide support for the United States from Democrats and Republicans alike. So my guess is attacking that group of people is probably going to get you in more heat because you're dealing with people that actually vote, you're dealing with people that actually buy shit, and then you're dealing with people that are like running those companies, not just you people, but everybody that supports Israel. That's probably why it's not a good idea to attack that group of people.
No, I totally disagree. I mean, first of all, the left has been drifting more pro-Palestine as opposed to pro-Israel. So it's not everybody that loves Israel. And by the way, we're not even really strictly talking about Israel. We're talking about any conversation about Jews or Israel gets totally censored by big tech, gets totally censored and
why can you buy the book on Amazon?
Hang on, I'd let you finish. So let me jump in. You know, it's a fucking debate, dipshit. So I'm going to disagree, obviously. So when it comes to criticism of Jews or when it comes to criticism of Israel, it's not like this is something that's just happening. There are high pressure groups that exist like the ADL. When it happened to Kanye, it wasn't like Kanye said that and then collectively everyone got together and said, well, we like Jews more than we
This conversation's ass, bro.
like Muslims, so that can't stand. The ADL came out there at the front like they always are. Anytime anyone's
This debate was overhyped. I hope the last hour is way better than the last 2 hours. I went live and I need to pee so fucking bad, and I've been listening to this fucking shit, and I realized one thing: this has been a bunch of bullshit.
Said something remotely critical of Jews in Israel, and they wrote a letter to Adidas and said, you better fucking disavow. And the threat was this: if you don't, we're going to run a media campaign and say that Adidas supports Nazis. Don't buy their shoes. They've done this before. They did the same thing to Facebook in 2020.
Did you see the letter by chance? Did you actually see it, what they sent?
Yeah.
Kanye?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Did you see the one by JP Morgan?
It was public. The letter was public.
Because the JP Morgan letter was before.
Hey, let me finish.
He's explaining his stance.
Go ahead.
So,
and then the JP Morgan.
So the point is this. It's not that this censorship stuff just happens. Like, for example, people ask me all the time. There was just a girl over here on Friday. I said, oh, I'm banned from Twitter. She said, oh, but, they're reinstating people. Like, I don't know that. I know. And I told her, I said, yeah, I got reinstated for a day. Then I got immediately rebanned. I was one of 5 people on a list by the ADL that they said cannot come back to Twitter. And out of that 5, I'm 1 out of 2. That is, or 1 out of 3 actually, but 1 out of 2 that was not allowed to come back. That talks about Jews. Andrew Tate got to come back. Doesn't talk about Jews.
You did get to come back.
Donald Trump, and then got immediately rebanned. And all of my appeals got shut down.
Why'd you get rebanned?
They didn't tell me.
Because he
They
called
never
himself.
told me.
He called
What
himself.
did you tweet before you got banned?
He was
I
on a
tweeted
space and he
video
said,
saying DEFCON 2.
and he was in a space and he insinuated he was baby Hitler.
So yeah, you got banned because you did the same shit that got you banned initially. You got rebanned again.
I got banned for bullshit the first time. They didn't even tell me what I tweeted because I don't break the rules on Twitter. The ADL said,
why would Twitter
hang on, I'm still not finished. These interruptions get tolerated. Unbelievable.
Answer his questions about why you got banned in this thing, if you
So
can.
the point is,
yeah.
To say that this is just happening because, well, it's unpopular with the American people. First of all, Jews aren't super popular with the American people. I think most people have a little bit of anti-Semitism or a little bit sus of Jewish people. That's first of all. That's what we're always reminded. You want to argue at the same time that there's record high anti-Semitism. Yeah. Also, it's a popular mandate, which is why any talk about Jews gets censored. So it's not some spontaneous coming together based.
I wonder who doesn't like Jews. Who's out there just shitting on them? I want to meet those people. They're probably Nazis. I don't think the people that hate Jews probably don't like me either. Like if they're already hating Jews, I'm probably below them. So they're probably not interested in talking to me. I'm going to find some actual Nazis and be like, hey, am I above or below Jews in your level of hate?
Based on popular support. It's groups like the ADL, which has a $500 million war chest that goes out there and uses the bully pulpit in the media to smear anybody as an anti-Semite, blow them up in the stock market, use their connections. That's what's been going on forever. So, and you're on your phone. I know you're Googling.
I'm writing down notes. I didn't get a notebook for you, so I'm going to write it down in the little chat box.
Sure.
Yeah, see, I would like to be clear. I want to reiterate again. He will never answer a question again. He hasn't. I don't think he's answered a single fucking question.
That's just ridiculous.
Can you just explain to him why you got banned off Twitter, by the way?
I know why you got banned. I don't know why you're lying about it.
Well, you don't know because
you were in Twitter Spaces. You were in Twitter Spaces.
Hang on. Did you see the email I got from Twitter, which is why I was banned?
Yeah, I'm friends with Elon. He showed me.
Okay, so now you're just being cute. You didn't see it.
Oh, you don't believe I'm friends with Elon? I was on Lex Friedman's show. He hooked me up. Oh, wait. So what did the email say, Nick? What did the email say, Nick?
It said banned for violations of the terms of service.
That's all it said? Are you sure?
That's all it said. Yeah.
Oh, well, 100%. Do you think that
100%.
going into Twitter Spaces and saying shit like Hitler is base, I love Hitler, do you think that might be a violation of the TOS?
No, because what I said wasn't a violation of the terms of service.
Oh, okay. So just to be clear, it wasn't because you tweeted DEFCON 2. You didn't say that you hid that because you didn't know that I knew that you were in that fucking Twitter space, even though we listened to
you said it's because of what you tweeted, and I said this is why I tweeted.
Isn't it my turn to ramble?
First of all, you just said you knew
things. Don't I get to ramble?
I don't know how I feel about this debate. It's been pretty not epic.
All right.
You said
but honestly, most of Fresh and Fit need to go back to just ragdolling bitches.
People at home can see this guy's fucking
You said that
melting.
Big Tech is censoring JQ stuff. Okay. Elon Musk, Twitter is private now. Where's the pressure from the Jews?
They killed all his advertisers. They sponsored an advertiser boycott in December, and they didn't get all of them back, obviously. That's where you don't even know what you're talking about. They did the same thing to Facebook.
No. Okay. Fuck, that was a major L for me. Fuck, I didn't even think about that. Why are we on Rumble right now talking about this then?
Well, I've yet to be banned from Rumble.
See how they're all powerful that they can shut down Elon Musk, who is a fucking massive billionaire. What, the second or third wealthiest man in the world?
We'll see what happens.
On Twitter, they shut you down. Okay, Elon Musk, Twitter, private company. Rumble, publicly traded.
Amazing.
Holy shit. Rumble, publicly traded.
You're banned from everything. Whoa. Why are you banned from Rumble?
Why is he interrupting me? Because he wants to schizo ramble because his points are fucking retarded.
Your points are retarded. banned from everything other than
That's
Rumble.
not a good
That's the
argument.
point.
Let me
To
make a switch,
reiterate,
and then you can
Yeah,
clarify.
so if
You
the
can
Jews could
clarify
pressure
our
any
options.
fucking company, it's going to be publicly traded companies for a
Okay.
variety of reasons. You get the government involved in
Let
everything.
him finish his
probably
point,
gonna
guys.
do, right?
Okay,
That was his point.
Then Nick
that's
is
the-
on a fucking fly list, and
Yeah,
you're not
he's
as
off.
suspicious.
Not anymore. He hasn't been on that no-fly list for a while, and he wasn't on that no-fly list
Destiny,
for what
Destiny,
reason?
Destiny, go ahead and say why he got banned off Twitter, and then make your Rumble
He did
connection,
already.
and then
He
well,
did. Yeah.
but y'all were interrupting.
5 seconds.
I wanna make
so
sure
just to
that
be
people
clear,
can actually
we're
hear.
doing the thing
Go ahead.
again where the Jews are so powerful, even in a privately owned company, they individually target Nick Fuentes, the most dangerous man ever, going to get him banned.
Oh my
okay,
gosh.
but they can't exert that same influence on Rumble. What
Well-
about on YouTube?
well,
Doesn't the ADL go to YouTube? Why are we banned on
Let him
YouTube?
finish.
Okay, go ahead. And I'm done. Go ahead.
Was that good? Okay,
Go.
Nick, you want to address
Well,
that?
I
He
think
said-
Sneako wanted to talk.
Well,
I
you
got
know,
one.
so one,
okay.
you're saying that it's because he said that he loves Hitler and all that stuff. Doesn't that kind of prove the point? You were saying that you can criticize all minorities. You could say that you love Mao, you love Stalin. You could say that you love all these historical leaders. But when you say I love Hitler, for example, that is seen as the worst person of all time. That's
If you tweet, well, does this only apply to famous or pseudo famous people? Like if a regular account on Twitter that has like 100 followers, whatever, and just tweets "I love Hitler," will they get permaban? I don't know.
one that we.
Hitler probably was the worst person of all time.
Why? Why? See, but that's the program.
What an
That's exactly what
Because
it
he
is.
systematically led the murder and extermination of like
I'm
some
from an-
11 to 17 million people.
Stephen, I'm from an ethnic cleansing in 1999. They murdered most of my family. We didn't have a military. Nobody even knows about my fucking war. And I'm not farming sympathy and going to Jewish Hollywood execs saying, make a movie because I'm
Genghis Khan eradicated 10% of the known population. So if we're doing a totem pole of who's done worse things, Genghis Khan literally changed the carbon footprint of humans. No, Hitler didn't do that. I mean, he might have changed the carbon footprint of Jews, but not of the world as a whole. So I don't know. I'm not saying Hitler's good. I'm just saying that there's, as far as gruesome, evil dictators out there, there's way more. How many people did Stalin starve in Soviet Russia? I mean, let's check it out. I'm gonna let this play, and then I'll do a bit of
cry
research.
for 20 decades. Bro, I'm telling you, you only focus on World War II because you're programmed to. Dude, you'll
Definitely not number one. I mean, like I said, Genghis Khan changed the carbon footprint of humanity. I mean, he's up there.
I think you're talking.
And then it also proves the point. If you're saying Hitler's the worst person of all time, but you're looking at all the other leaders that have caused genocide on other minorities, you don't see them as evil people. But Hitler is the most evil
Wait,
one
whoa,
because he
you gotta-
genocided the Jewish people.
Bro, you can't say you don't see them as evil people. What is that insane dichotomy? Of course I think they evil. You know, they got to talk
So
about
why is
Mao?
Hitler the worst?
Because they led an unprecedented systematic elimination
On who?
on Jewish people,
So did
on
every
Soviet captured
dictator in
people, on the
history.
Romani people, on Polish people, on gay people, and
Do
disabled
people criticize him because of all the others? What group did Hitler genocide that people are really afraid about? Why do they say that Hitler's the worst of all
The
time?
two biggest ones are Jewish people and Soviet people. That's why Russia to this day defines itself.
Does anybody
as
care about the
anti-Nazi.
Hitler genocide on Soviets? Nobody
Yeah,
talks
dude,
about
that's
that.
all of Russia's foreign policy. Why do you think you talk about
Wait.
going to Ukraine?
You're lying. You're lying right now because you and I covered Hassan Piker saying Hitler wasn't bad for invading Poland. He was bad for killing Jews, and you covered that, and you changed your position.
Okay.
Read the live chat more. Is that your notes? That looks like a live chat.
That's Adam
Keep
22
reading the
texting
live
him.
chat for more answers.
Adam 22,
But
stop
I
texting
want to
him.
reply because I never got to reply.
I want him to reply about the Twitter thing. Why did you get banned? He's saying that you got banned for something else. But
Why
go
Twitter
ahead.
and not Rumble? I want to hear that.
Hang on. So,
Okay, why
well,
Twitter,
first
not
of all, he
Oh,
said,
Ramble.
there it is. There it is.
Yeah,
Got to
there it is.
derail because
Bro,
he has
didn't-
no
he didn't
answer.
start.
Okay, so pulled this up. Alrighty, between 1931 and 1934, at least 5 million people punished for perished from hunger all around the USSR. Among them, according to a study conducted by Ukraine demographics, I don't know, where at least almost 4 million were Ukrainian. So yeah, Hitler killed 6 million Jews, but a bunch of people were starved in Russia during the USSR and Stalin. 1 million more in Russia. I mean, in what's it called? By Hitler, but these numbers are pretty close. But yeah, Destiny's been indoctrinated to believe that the worst person in history is Hitler.
Man, let him start. Go ahead.
Right? So first of all, you said, well, I know why you got banned on Twitter. And then I said, no, you don't. And then you made a funny, cute joke and said, well, I know Elon too. So no, I was told by Twitter that I was banned for repeated violations of the terms of service, even though I was there for 24 hours. But regardless, either way you cut it, my argument is they banned me because the ADL told them, because the ADL says jump and they say how high. The argument is, well, they banned you because you said you love Hitler. And like SNEAKO says, well, that would be an obvious contradiction. It would show that talking about Jews is obviously exceptional. It's not like other things. Leafy didn't get banned from Twitter. Leafy's going on Twitter and saying all gay people are pedophiles. All gay people are terrible. Do not be gay. Gay people are losing. He didn't lose his Twitter, but I make a Twitter and I lose it in 10 minutes. I literally make a burner with a fake phone number, a fake email, a fake profile picture. They know they banned me in 10 minutes. I use a VPN. So you're wrong either way. Now, as far as Rumble goes, this is always the argument. I remember in July 2021, I put out a tweet on 4th of July and I said, yeah, happy Independence Day to the gay country that banned me from all social media. And some faggot in the replies goes, well, you're still tweeting. And this is like the same argument. So wait a second, Nick Fuentes, you're banned from TikTok, Reddit, Discord, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. YouTube literally told us before we went live, you can't go live with Nick Fuentes because it would be circumventing a ban. So your argument is, so Nick, you're banned from every social media platform in the world, but you're still on Rumble. Ha! Case closed, point is proven. And it's just like the other thing where it's like, well, Nick, so you're saying the Jews control the DOD and the State Department, but they didn't go through the CIA, point is proven. It's always just like bullshit obfuscation. Obviously, they exert control. The ADL.
So, yeah, I guess my channel is going to be in trouble because I fucking posted this live. I didn't know. I didn't get no warning. YouTube needs to warn people, hey, if these people go live, you're not. They should be a notice, hey, they're gonna go live. You can't post any of Nick Fuentes' content on fucking oh shit. What the fuck? That's weird. My chat got disabled. Whoa, that's fucking crazy. So my chat just got disabled and I had to log back. That's not. That's weird. That's never happened. But I'm still live. I'm still streaming. But that was really weird that the chat just got disabled, all random, spooky shit. Let me see if I can bring the chat back up. Fuck, that was random. That was crazy. All right, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna let this play while I'm doing this.
Does this? They're belligerent, aggressive berserkers. They did this to Facebook. They did this to Twitter. They go for the advertisers. They go for the public campaign. It's probably why I don't have a deal with Rumble. You know, I don't want to out anybody, but there's people here that probably have deals with Rumble. And there's other people. I think you have a deal with Rumble. I don't get a fucking deal from Rumble. I'm one of their biggest streamers.
Do you think it's because of the ADL?
If I went live exclusively every night on Rumble, I'd be pulling 6,000 or 7,000 viewers on Rumble. I should get a fucking deal. I don't get a deal. They don't talk to me.
Do you think it's because of the ADL?
They said no JQ. So the Kick literally.
Do you think Kick is influenced by the JQ? Or isn't that guy Australian?
They are 100% influenced by the ADL. Yes.
How?
Because they know that they're going to go after these platforms.
Hold on. Kick is all private equity. There's no advertisers. It's all crypto gambling. Where does the ADL influence Kick?
Let's move back to
No. Let me keep going.
I want to hear this one now.
Well, you should ask the CEO because the CEO of Kick went out there and said no JQ.
On Kick, you can't talk about Jew. That's crazy.
On the platform specifically.
Why?
He didn't give a reason,
Exactly.
but somebody told me.
You don't think
This I'm gonna transform my channel to the all Jew talk all day channel and see what happens, I guess.
They said no free speech. The CEO actually went public and said that there's no free speech.
Now,
on the
Aiden
platform.
Ross can go on
And
there.
what is free speech
because
about?
when people make streaming platforms, they don't want. And Aiden Ross has gotten in trouble for a lot of the edgy content he's did outside of the JQ shit as well.
What was the trouble?
Never canceled though.
Never
No,
canceled.
you got a 2-hour ban.
Yeah, Google some shit
No,
more.
I don't. I'm looking at my notes. Okay, so number one, here's just a quick question. You're not going to answer this. Do you have any proof at all that the ADL told Twitter to ban you?
Yeah.
What?
You look it up. Look up ADL.
No.
Elon Musk. No, swear
I'm
to
asking,
God.
is there proof that the ADL?
he's telling you,
The audience can look it up. There's literally, I mean, I could pull it up for you.
Yeah, tell me.
The ADL said there's 5 people you can't bring back. David Duke, Alex Jones, Nick Fuentes, Donald Trump, Andrew Tate. I said this earlier. 3 people have not been brought back. David Duke, me, and Alex Jones. Elon Musk said Alex Jones can't come back because of Sandy Hook. Me and David Duke are the only two in the list that talk about the Jews.
But you did come back.
And then they rebanned
Why
me.
wouldn't they just keep you banned?
Maybe it was a mistake. I don't know. But they rebanned me in 24 hours. What do you mean? What do you? No, I don't understand.
Okay, I can
don't
lay this out
understand.
so
I
simply.
didn't break the rules.
Here is the appallingly
Amazing.
obvious take.
Right.
Okay, some speech is not corporately popular because all it does is it gets your platform in shit. You
Corporately
lose
popular.
advertisers, you lose popular
That's
support.
good.
Having people on the platform saying, I'm going to go to war with Jews, I love Hitler, shit like this, literally doesn't benefit them at all. The same as if somebody got on a Twitter account and just started spam calling people to kill themselves, or was just spamming like fucking, I don't know, videos of people getting killed. I don't know if that's against TOS, right? We don't need a conspiracy to explain literally any of this. I'm sorry. People probably don't want you on Rumble because people don't want Rumble to be seen as just a platform where all the Nazis go. Okay. Elon doesn't want you on Twitter, although he gave you an unban because as soon as you got unbanned, within 24 hours, you were already tweeting crazy shit and then you were back in spaces talking crazy shit. People don't want you on Kick, a company owned completely by private equity with no external advertiser whatsoever. What is tying all of these together? The ADL, which is only spending $500 million, 5 times the XQC deal. You think that's enough for them to keep every single one of these social media platforms under their thumb? What was Elon's individual investment?
¿Qué pasó? Ya está abajo en el donde están mis cosas, mis tools. ¿Por qué? ¿Qué pasó? Ah, okay. Alrighty, sorry.
In Twitter, was it like $33 billion? And you're saying $500 million is enough to keep Facebook market cap of what? $1 trillion.
I have to piss so bad. I'm gonna let this. I have to pee so bad. I'm gonna let this run, and hopefully nothing interesting gets said. But I have to take a piss so fucking bad. It's been 3 hours, and I've been chugging water like crazy.
Facebook, Twitter, private equity held, Kick, private equity held, Rumble, publicly traded. Somehow the ADL is keeping you off of all these platforms. Don't you think it might just be the case that people don't want you because you're radical, you just spew right-wing talking points, and it's bad for the platform?
Yeah. Let me answer that. Let me answer that.
Just to be clear, well, you can after I
Let
ramble.
Destiny finish. Let Destiny finish.
Every single ban you have
Ramble.
can be very easily explained by this is not popular, makes our platform look bad, and we don't want it. And I don't have to invent, like, sometimes the ADL is a lot of pressure, sometimes they keep 5 people banned, but they accidentally unban me, but then they remember to reban me, and they somehow influence publicly traded companies to get rid of me, but not Freshandfit that have me on them. It doesn't make sense.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about it. So first of all, you said, could you show me where the ADL? Because I'm sure someone in chat said that didn't happen. It's right here. If they Googled it, October 28th, 2022, 5 things ADL is watching following Elon Musk buying Twitter. Point number 1. In addition to Trump, other high-profile and dangerous individuals may be allowed to return to Twitter. David Duke, Nick Fuentes, Alex Jones, Andrew Tate, Steve Bannon. These are those are the 5 that they listed.
But Trump got unbanned, and you got
Trump,
unbanned.
hang on. I already said that. I said the 3 that have not been allowed back, me, Alex Jones.
You were allowed back.
Hang on. You don't even let me finish.
Because your
Mine doesn't even say anything. When I interrupt or laugh, I get fucking called out.
Yeah.
When you interrupt, no one gives a fuck.
My bad.
Anyway, that's okay. You're cool. I'm not trying to. I'm just
Wait,
saying.
didn't Andrew take on a bench?
Cheating.
Let him
Let
finish.
him
Okay. He did specifically mention Andrew Tate came back. He mentioned that 3 people were not able to come
Well,
back.
Andrew Tate came back because he's a Jew.
So
I
Tate came
addressed
back,
this. Hang
Trump
on,
came back,
and now
Nick
it's
came back.
right back to
Andrew's
him.
not Jewish.
And back to Stephen
No.
Bonnell with the gaffification. So I said the people that were not permitted back are people that, one, Elon Musk specifically said Alex Jones can't come back because of Sandy Hook. He's got a personal gripe. The other 2 that haven't come back, it's me, it's David Duke. We're the only 2 that talk about Jews. And by the way, you say, oh, well, maybe it's just because they don't want you. Maybe it's just because it's a brand risk. Really? And I go back to once again, you engage with like this part of it and blow it up. It's all sophistry. So let me ask you this, Destiny, with the face in the phone. If Leafy is tweeting every single day for the last 5 or 6 weeks, gay people suck, gay people, fucking pull up his timeline while you're on your phone and look at all the stuff he's tweeting about LGBTQ people. Why don't you look at that? That's not a brand risk, but I am. I went on my stream and said, which you didn't even listen to, I know. I tweeted nothing that was offensive. And on the voice chat, I said, we have to be radical. Alex Jones calls me Little Hitler. We have to lean into that kind of stuff.
What did I miss?
Now
What did I
their
miss?
policy is hate speech says you can't incite hatred or violence against a group, which is not what I did. They banned me in a very short time. They didn't give me a reason. They didn't tell me it was because of the voice chat. They just took me off. So if it's about bad content or something like that, clearly Leafy's content, and I'm not trying to get him banned,
You're
but Leafy's
nuking him.
content
Stop it.
is
I made him
more
beans and
against
rice.
the rules than the stuff that I said. What's more, you didn't address the Kanye West was told personally, you can't come back by Elon. And what did Elon do? Or rather, what did Kanye do? Kanye tweeted the swastika. That's it. He didn't call for the death of anybody. He didn't say anything hateful. He tweeted the swastika
Not
and the
even
Star of
explicit
David.
swastika. It was.
It's the seal of Solomon. Don't say David. That's
Right.
a lie.
Okay, true. The
Star of Remphan.
Yes.
There you go.
So he tweeted that, and Elon literally told him when all the reinstatement was happening, no, you can't come back. So there's obviously a common denominator here. All the stuff that you throw out there falls apart when you look at the breadth of the evidence. People get more canceled for talking about the Jews than they do anything else. They do about gay people, about Muslims. Talk about goalpost shift. Initially, you said, well, people get canceled for anything. Not Leafy for gay people with a contract on Rumble and still on Twitter. Not all these Jews that bash Muslims. They're still getting contracts and they're still on Facebook. Only the people who talk about Jews in Israel. And I said the ADL is part of that. You always say, well, you say the ADL controls everything. ADL is a part of that. They're part of this berserker army that goes after these guys. And we could get into Facebook. I didn't get to hit that, but we could get into that later.
Yeah. Basically, you're saying the pressure is always there. But can I say one thing?
Yeah, sure, please.
Actually, I don't know how good faith Steven's being because I've watched Steven for years and a lot of people in chat have. Did you know there's one group of people he does not joke about for the last 4 or 5 years? Every other place he goes edgy. I can find a million clips of any minority group, but there is one where it's like, I can't find Steven doing any anti-Semitic comedy. He can go against blacks, Chinese. Like, if you really want to look for clips of Steven mentioning the Jewish community, it's fucking scarce. But he's an edgy guy. Right. He attacks everyone.
You've attacked Islam. You've made a lot of jokes. Even ZHERKA makes jokes about Islam too.
Yeah.
Okay, but why is it not
It's
easy
even
to
easier to make fun of a nose?
Because it's like I've challenged people to come on my stream and give me like, what are good Jewish jokes? I don't even know any. Like everybody brings
I remember that stream.
There's a lot of jokes.
I got
every single
What are you talking about?
I got a
Good Jewish jokes. I know 30 off my head, but I want to keep my bank account. What are you talking
You're a
about?
Muslim. I'm sure you know all sorts of Jewish jokes.
I was just gonna say, that was Ryan Dawson calling me on Telegram. He just wanted to say real quick.
Dude's a homosexual.
It's actually funny.
Shout out to Ryan.
He said Nick needs my help here. ZHERKA's useless. But
Who are you, bro? You weren't even invited, faggot.
This is what he said. He said Elon removed the ADL from the advisory board to trust and safety. Y'all Roth also had to step down. Nick was brought back in this window. Then they had a new Zionist at head of trust and safety and then banned him again. Also, I got banned on all those same things
Nobody
even
gives
before
a
Nick without saying any racist things at all.
Martin, he
There were
literally
others brought back and rebanned in that same window as Nick. So what he's saying is that they have people from ADL at the advisory board to trust and safety.
Are we just forgetting?
Oh, wow. What did I miss? Sorry, it was dinner time. Oh, shit, it's 9:30. That's why I was so hungry. I was like, what the fuck? Someone needs to cook me a goddamn steak. Oh, no, I just ate some beans and rice and some chicken. This has been a pretty boring conversation. I don't know. But I'm going to test it. I'm going to try to, if I go somewhat famous, I'm just going to start going hard in the paint on Jews and see what happens. Or maybe they'll take down my live stream. Or maybe they'll do nothing because I'm not anybody. Who knows? It has to, there has to be corners of the internet where people are blatantly talking bad about Jews, but no one's seeing them because they have no clout. They have no, this has to only affect people that are famous. I was going to say rich and famous, but who knows? Okay.
That he literally called Nick an anti-Semite recently?
Who?
This fucking faggot.
Well, Nick probably is an anti-Semite. Does he not say as much?
No, we're not gonna read his shit.
What is it? Somebody who opposes the existence
No,
of
you know what he did?
No one's want. Oh man.
He said, "I have no problem with Jews, but Nick is an anti-Semite." Who the fuck? Stop trying to grow your bum ass platform, faggot.
All right. Either way, the point is,
fuck that.
Let me make this very clear. Hold on. Ryan Dawson and Nick are enemies, and he still said this to basically say, hey, look, Twitter does have some ADL influence, is what he's saying.
And also, in Nick's defense as well. So you are.
I don't know what the ADL is.
But to be honest with you, like speaking plainly in plain sight of the podcast itself, he may be in danger. You never know. So you're not staying behind the scenes either way.
I don't think he's in danger.
You never know. You never know.
I think if people wanted to get him, I think he would have been gotten by now.
Hey, I know this might be anecdotal.
wait, real quick.
Real quick.
Oh, let's
the
turn it up
chances
the
the only
fucking-
streamer who ever mentions Israel from a straight white male, and that's not an attack on straight white male, it's an attack on Christianity. What are the chances the only streamer in internet history to just critique Israel is on a fucking no-fly list, banned from PayPal, every fucking platform?
Wait, why did he
what
get
are
on the
the
no-fly
chances
list?
Nick has this problem? If Nick was talking about the Great Wall of
Glazing.
China, would he have this problem?
Okay,
Wait,
so all I'm trying
hold on. Can only white people not talk about Jews? So because I'm brown, because I'm Mexican, I can go hard in the paint on Jews and no one's gonna say anything? Is that what? I thought Nick was Latino. His last name's Fuentes. Am I confused? He's not white, is he? Is he a white guy?
point out is that, like, if we look at how companies
Research
act and how they
time.
respond to consumer pressure, it's pretty obvious to explain every single banning that we're talking about. If we try to use this ADL lens, it is the most like unspecific, random, schizo fucking unbanning and rebanning ever, right?
Wow.
Nick pointed out that the ADL said 5 people needed to stay banned, okay? And what, 3 of them got on.
I'm like 100 subs away from meeting fucking YouTube's new guidance on how many subs you need to fucking get monetized. Nice. I just need to reach the viewership fucking views goal. I think with watch hours, I don't know if it's what's gonna be easier, like 3,000 or 3 million 3 million shorts views. But it's 3 million in 90 days. Fuck, that's what's hard. I've only had my channel up for about 4 months. I had no formal training. I've never done anything in the media space. I basically learned how to edit while I was doing YouTube. So the first 2 months, all my videos are just fucking straight trash because I didn't know anything about editing. Now I'm a lot better. I'm still not that good, but I've learned how to use... I've gotten better at using DaVinci Resolve. And I guess I could hire editors, but I don't know where to hire someone that edits. And do I send them my stuff, or I don't know how it actually works. I mean, I would just pay for those services, but I don't know where to get them. Also, I had to learn how to create thumbnails because I didn't know how, and that was a hard process. I didn't know what I was doing. So yeah, that's been fucking crazy. It's been a crazy process, but I've liked it so far. I'm definitely enjoying the process of watching YouTube channel grow, and it's been fun. And I like talking into the camera. It's not something a lot of people when I was first started looking into doing research of, becoming a YouTuber, creating content and stuff like that. A lot of the videos said, "Oh, you got to get used to talking into the camera," but that came super natural because I talk to myself anyways. So I'm just like talking to myself, but to you guys, whoever is watching, most of the time it's nobody. This is the most my fucking chat was lit up earlier. Now it's really died off, but that's okay. But yeah, it was lit up earlier. People hide from the truth and somehow at all costs. So you go, alrighty. But back to the topic.
Okay.
This is like the last 30 minutes of the. This is the last 30 minutes of the debate. I don't think, other than the fact that Nick Fuentes is banned from YouTube, I guess. I don't know why. I don't know why this is an appropriate conversation. This has been a pretty mild conversation. So I guess what it comes down to is that if you're a person that believes that Jews are in control, then this makes a lot of sense because you're just like, this conversation's been a bunch of boring shit and it's still banned. So if they have that much sway, you can't just say Nazis are banned from talking. That's how you get people interested in, like, now I'm interested in what crazy Nazi shit this guy has said to get him banned because he seems pretty boring and soft. If they were like trying to make him Nick Fuentes be like, he's a danger, I'm like, he's a little skinny nerd. Like, who the fuck is scared of this guy? I don't know.
Where's the power? That doesn't make any sense.
Which I already went over.
Yeah, no,
Let me
I
ask you
understand.
this. Let me ask you this.
But again,
I got a great question for
you got all 5 of you just ran for like 2
Once
minutes.
you finish, I got a question.
So it's
Wait, did he say I'll fight you?
again, and I'll point it again because I'm going to reiterate this all through the night because it's going to keep coming up over and over again. They're all powerful. They have all the influence. They control all of these multi-trillion-dollar market capitalization companies. But when they go to make these huge statements, the ADL says these are the 5 people that need to stay banned. For some reason, like 2 of them are the only ones that stay banned,
Yeah,
or
they don't
even 1 of
critique
them, and then
Israel,
1 gets
Steve.
rebanned.
Do they critique Israel? Those ones that got on banned? Be
Elon
honest.
Musk critiques Israel. Elon Musk
What
literally shit on.
the fuck are you talking about?
You can go on Twitter right now.
You're
You can
putting Elon with Nick?
You can go on Twitter right now and find Elon Musk shitting on George Soros and saying he's like a fucking
Is that the same
eroding
thing as
humanity
talking
and
about
shit.
foreign policy
George
and foreign
Soros is
aid?
like the #1 fucking Jewish conspiracy accused
that's the
guy in
same
the fucking
thing.
United
That's true. Everyone does hate George Soros.
States. Okay?
Wow, that's billionaire beef. That's
Wow,
not
so
Israel.
Elon should bring Nick back.
That's amazing.
logic.
I'm just saying
Well, you're
that
just
when you try to
revealing your
use,
own
if you try to
ignorance.
use,
Soros
if you
got
try
nothing to do with
if you try
Israel.
to, okay. Interesting. Stat.
That's so
if
funny.
you try to use this ADL lens, it doesn't explain anything.
What
Whereas
is
some
the
people- the
ADL?
answer for why Leafy is largely untouched is very obvious because nobody knows who the fuck he is or gives a fuck about
He's
who he is.
getting
We're all
incredible
number
impressions
one.
talking
Right,
about
right,
the
right. Just
LGBTQ.
Okay,
Hold
More
hold
than
on.
your Islamophobic
Sneeko brings,
jokes.
Sneeko brings up, and I hate Islam. Thank you for reminding me. More than what Sneeko brings
Yeah,
up.
you're gonna
More
burn
than
in
what
hell.
Sneeko's correct that Leafy is getting big in some areas, and that's why recently he has gotten pressured. Because as soon as Leafy started doing incredibly unpopular shit, now he's tweeting out that he's getting pressured by Rumble to chill his shit out. And I don't think it was because he was talking about Jews. I think it's because his content is extremely fucking edgy. Because newsflash, most people don't want that type of I love Hitler content on any of their fucking platforms because it's a bad look for literally fucking everybody.
Okay, so let me ask you because I really
I love
wanna
Hitler
ask you. So,
content.
Kanye West, people are still buying the Yeezys. People are still listening to the music.
Right here.
Right
Let's
there,
go.
Adidas lost, I don't know, $250 million or something like this because they had to remove Ye. So if you say that it's in response to consumer demands rather than the demands of the ADL, it's pretty clear. The consumers are still buying the Yeezys, but the ADL wanted them gone. So which one did Adidas listen to, the consumers or the ADL?
Well, Adidas is still selling Yeezys, aren't they?
No, they're not.
Didn't they buy the trademark to Yeezys?
No, they're not. They're done selling Yeezys. They fired Kanye. They're not selling them anymore. They have a bunch left over, and we're going to have to destroy them. So they said, we're going to sell them, but donate a portion to the ADL. But they're not going to sell them.
K.O.
So they are selling other stuff. But regardless,
I don't know what this proves. Like, I'm so confused at this point. I'm like, if the Jews are controlling everything, they're doing a sloppy jalopy job.
chances are because of Kanye West being the literally most unpopular fucking figure in the fucking world right now.
I don't think that's
not
true.
right
I love Kanye.
Not true at
but when
all.
he started going on the anti-Jewish shit, yeah, it's not surprising that companies want to separate from that.
I don't think that's true. If you look at the comments on any of his interviews,
Overwhelming support.
people are agreeing with him. Where do you get the ideas?
Oh, we're
unpopular?
looking at
Can I
the
get a source for that?
we're looking at the comments on the YouTube
Yeah,
videos.
maybe in mainstream news, he looks unpopular. If you ask the people, they are overwhelmingly
Someone asked me, what do you think about Kanye? I'm like, he's cool. I fucking think he's dope.
supporting him.
Don't ask the dude with the nipple piercing on the anchor. I forget his name. Help me. The fucking weirdo. The nipple piercing CNN.
Yeah.
Is that Anderson Cooper?
Oh,
the chat.
yeah.
Total
Did you say want to
Okay,
say
and then
something,
also
Sneeko?
hold on
Oh,
again.
yeah,
Wait, real
Google.
quick, yeah, because Nick is just
Google
lying.
it, Google
Adidas will sell Yeezy shoes after all, May 12th, 2023.
Yeah, they're selling the stock that they had before and donating the proceeds to the ADL.
sure. Oh, never mind. Okay. He's right. He's right. He's
He
right.
did say
You're
that,
fucking
Destiny.
wrong.
Bro.
Okay.
Where's the sound? You know what this episode's missed? The sound effects.
Doesn't even know what he's talking. This is the smart guy, by the way. This is a debater. Oh my gosh!
but
By googling
everyone's-
the entire debate,
We got some. We got
what
some.
a miserable
This is so
performance.
unfair to give Steven a med kit. He's fucking getting knifed up by Nick the Knife and the Knickers.
I want to make a statement. though.
Jesus Christ.
So
There's a
Destiny-
combo of this
Hold
bitch.
on.
Chug,
Destiny is right though, because on these platforms, it is their platform. So, truthfully speaking, if you endanger their advertiser or the money, they're gonna want you out. So that is true though, Destiny. We have some chats here as
All
well.
right, give
It
him
would
an
be in Rumble's-
HP potion. Let's
I want
go.
to give Sneeko.
It would be in. It would. It's not in any platform's best interest to have Nick Fuentes in your platform. When you start talking about Israel and the JQ, they don't want you on. The advertisers don't like you. You're a threat. People don't want to invest in your company. It's bad for the PR. They don't want you on. Like it's not
Steven,
good. But
Steven,
Rumble
your
cares about
position
free
is
speech.
that Nick was edgy. That's why he got nuked.
But and then
It's fucking retarded
and then-
position.
and
Are
then
you
Nick-
not the edgy guy tweeting like cube jokes
Yeah,
about
and I've gotten
Islam?
banned off of platforms too.
Make a Jew joke. Can you make a Jew joke?
I don't know any Jew
Oh,
jokes.
actually, like, hey, text Adam 22.
okay, so
Yeah,
Destiny,
very
let's do a
simple
test.
stuff, man.
If you're so secure about the JQ topic, right?
Yeah.
How about we do a whole stream about it and expose it like how
Wait,
you
can
did
I do a Jew
on
joke?
Twitch?
Yeah, of course.
Just kidding. You're on
Fresh.
Twitch.
Banned on Twitch.
And,
Yeah.
Can I do a Jew joke that's pretty heavy? I've done it before, but never live.
Oh shit!
Or is it-
Is this? I'm gonna get banned right now. If we air ZHERKA's Jew joke on YouTube, I might get banned.
I want to hear it.
Let's go.
Okay,
go ahead.
it's just a joke,
Go
right?
ahead.
Just
Go
a joke. I don't even.
Are you sure the joke?
I don't know. I'm gonna regret this one, but I hate Hitler. Actually, I'm not gonna do this. I never.
Okay.
What happened?
Because he did not.
Destiny made a really
yeah.
bold claim that we kind of glossed over. He said, "I hate Islam. Why don't you hate Judaism?"
Yeah, good question.
You gonna ask chat too?
No, I'm good. Do you even know anything about Judaism?
No,
no,
but
but
why do you not hate Judaism?
I know
probably
a lot
I
about
hate all
Judaism.
organized religion. I'm an atheist.
So
you
do you
hate
hate
Judaism?
Judaism?
Sure, yeah.
You hate
Yes,
Judaism?
Probably, yeah.
Let's
Say it. Oh, Destiny. Brr, 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 brr.
So
I don't hate
I
Judaism.
don't even hate Jews. I'm just here to get famous and rich.
man.
Twitter.com/ZHERKA official.
I don't hate Judaism.
is that Leafy? Is that Leafy?
It is Leaf.
Oh,
shit. Destiny tried getting me banned off Rumble, and Twitter threw that dude out the window, bro. He lost the debate, Nick W.
Oh shit.
Just as a heads up,
Okay.
I've never tried to get Leafy banned from anything.
We're only
said-
reading 100 and up.
Leafy tried to mischaracterize. He tried to say that I spent 4 hours on the phone with people from fucking Rebel to get a ban. None of those conversations
girls?
ever happened.
Yeah.
He
Yo,
made that
chat.
completely up.
Listen to Myron. He got a surprise for you. Myron, what do you have for this chat? Because they think we're peaking. We're just getting started.
Yeah,
And
we-
Super Saiyan 1 is, what's up, nigga? I can take it further. I can go further beyond, nigger. Let's go, give it to them. What are we doing there?
Oh shit! Fuck, this guy's too much.
You take bald ass head.
No,
Come
no,
fight
no.
me.
Oh wow! Come on. What?
Come on. No, shit. It's on the wrong platform.
no.
I love you. Go ahead.
No.
There's a Gentile in this bitch.
Hey.
We got girls. We got
Yeah, we got girls.
Jewish
We got girls.
women coming
we
here
got
for
girls.
after
We got
hours,
girls.
but we need 100,000 follows to start it.
Look, man, Andrew's the homie, man.
Yeah,
I know.
bro.
I know you have your
Yeah,
beef with
don't-
Andrew, bro.
don't
But
do
it's
that,
like,
bro.
come on, man.
We wouldn't diss you, bro.
Yeah, we want to diss you.
Come
bro.
on, bro.
Bro,
And if someone
I
talks
was
about you
talking
on
about
the thing,
Andrew
I'd be like,
Tate. I
yo.
wasn't talking about. You know who I was talking about? I was talking about.
This nigga, bro.
Yeah.
I was
man.
talking about a different Andrew.
And we don't do the same thing. If someone came out like, fuck ZHERKA, we'd be like, oh, well, that's our
Well,
homie.
here's why I'm
That's our
angry.
homie.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a tweet
And we would
involving
do
my
the same
boy. though.
thing. We would do the same thing if
All right.
someone said
All right,
some
but
shit about you.
it's a tweet
Do you want
involving
to
Nick.
address the Twitter stuff that happened?
What is that?
Do you want to address that?
What
I
Twitter
don't want to
stuff?
do it on their platform. They're my boys, bro.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that fair to do? No, that's not fair.
Okay.
I mean, it's a discussion.
HXCTXR.
Discussion.
Well, there was Tristan and Andrew.
No, we're not doing it here.
Okay.
XCTX.
That's fair, that's
Come
fair.
on, Steve.
97K viewers, holy pulling
Just
them
talking.
tape numbers. Yeah. No, I mean, well, we're
Bro,
already
don't
addressing
answer
this. JQ.
They
No,
don't
JQ,
also
we're already
don't
been
put him
answering
on
this.
the
No,
spot.
but
That's
I don't
Twitter.
care
I
about
won't do it, though.
Joe
this.
Rogan
My
is
thing is this.
Nick ever in his life.
Look,
Once Joe Rogan checks the early life Wikipedia on Peter Hotez, I think he's going to go
No,
down the red
Alex
race.
Jones had the best
Look.
position. He's like, it's not the Jews. It's the Jews being tricked by the
Look,
Jews.
my thing is this.
That's
Here's my thing.
Alex, we love you.
And I'm gonna say this. I'm a fan of Joe Rogan. I like Joe Rogan. He inspired a lot of things that I do. But I wish that they went and had these tough talks about American foreign policy when it comes to the betterment of Israel at the death row.
No, Joe Rogan has hinted about it.
He hasn't had a full conversation.
Not a full conversation, but closer than Tucker
if
and Matt
anything,
Walsh.
what they'll do is they'll bring some.
Or another group. Why is this topic so fucking viral? I want to
100K
know
on Rumble
because
is
you got-
wild.
bro.
why. You're saying they're all crazy?
I'm saying that people probably watch us talk about
Are
anything.
they all conspiracy theorists?
Probably.
It wouldn't,
100
it wouldn't be 100K if we were talking about
Yeah.
Mexicans or we were talking about Muslims. It'd be 40 or 30.
Maybe
People
if it was
really wanna hear
Latino.
Solid points. I know this. You might disagree. Whatever.
I have no idea. I hope. How do I? I'm gonna have to figure it out. But my live stream, I didn't record any of it. Fuck. I wonder if I can go into my live stream and chop it up. I'll figure it out. I don't know how to do it, but I'll figure it out. I'm pretty sure there's a way for me to go into the full live stream from today and chop it up into segments because it's been almost 3.5 hours. Fuck.
He made a lot of
It's 9:30.
actual very valid points about American
I go to sleep pretty early, y'all. I'm a early morning person.
foreign policy being compromised for the betterment of a foreign nation, which is not what we should be doing. You know what I mean? Okay. Let's.
This is like a taboo topic anyway.
Yeah.
Well, hold
of
on.
course.
I want to say, Myron,
And I don't like you, Steven, but I gotta say, because the truth defends itself, and Nick, I know he doesn't even have to prepare to win.
Glaze.
You did phenomenally well coping.
the fuck up.
No one could cope. Didn't he do good coping?
Also,
No,
what do you mean
I thought he
didn't
did a bad
prepare
job.
it well? He does this shit on the show every
you
fucking
think
night.
Hassan
Holy
Piker could do
shit.
that? Hassan Piker's a fucking retard. He could never do what Steven just did.
No, because I think he's just ignorant. Like I think he has no foreign policy
So
knowledge.
which influencer would beat Steven defending that position? That's
Probably an
impossible?
actual Jew, like Ben Shapiro would probably prefer better.
No, he hasn't even talked to
'Cause
you.
they're
He's-
trained in the Talmud.
But
They're
you're
trained
saying-
in the Zohar.
Hold on, hold on. You're saying if Ben Shapiro was better than Desi, a bigger brain, he'd be here, but he's terrified of you.
Yeah, that's why we got to make that one happen.
And I think here's the thing: everyone here at the table has different takes on, and it is. But I
Met a Jew behind closed doors.
Jews are the chosen people. So if they carry that belief, if to their coldest
It's exclusive, not universal. So they view.
I'm fast forwarding because
By
we've been pretty
the-
boring.
Wait, you just said it by the mom's side. Why would they even have that rule if it was always mother and father were both Jewish?
Your mother
You're
is
contradicting
supposed-
yourself.
it is
You
illegal.
literally can marry into it, and you
Have
can
you
convert it
not-
other ways as well. You're
That's
absolutely
that's-
right.
it's forbidden.
Steven, let's
Just
say
fact check it in your chat,
Guys,
like you're
guys.
doing the
I
actual
have
debate.
Jewish friends in Israel. I know
Ask your
facts on
chat.
this.
Okay, chat. Okay, guys, let me finish my point.
I want.
I'm
that's what I
not
was
your
gonna say.
parents, I'm
Let's-
sorry.
let's-
how many
let's-
converts
let's
go
go.
down? That's right. Good.
Jews believe they're the chosen people. They do not want other people. They're an ethno-religion. They're ethnically a group of people. That's why there's so many
My
atheist
school.
Jews. You don't
Oh,
even need to
feed
believe
the
in God. You're
whores.
still going to be a Jew forever.
Ethnic Jew doesn't even make sense. There's like
Go ahead.
5 different ethnicities
I
that are
agree.
Jewish.
And
No,
we
no,
are
no, no.
live
I'm
with you guys.
saying
The
that
Freshman
even
Podcast.
what you're saying, there are different ethnicities that are Jewish. There's not just the Jewish ethnicity.
Well, they all
What
come
is
from the
an-
tribe
Steven,
of Israel
can I-
like
can I-
over time.
Steven, what is an Ashkenazi?
It's one of the ethnicities of Jewish people.
It goes-
But there's
it
like
goes
four,
back-
I think
it
there's like
goes
4
back
others
hundreds
as
of
well.
years.
Hold on, wait.
You're
Do you think every
derailing, though.
Jewish person is
Oh my
Ashkenazi?
God.
You know what's
No,
funny?
no, answer that.
No,
answer that.
you
No,
win,
I
you
want
win.
to hear
You
the
can
answer
have
to
it. You
that.
win.
I want to hear that
No,
answer.
you know
Do you
what
think
you're
every
saying?
Jewish person
Why
is Ashkenazi?
what you're
Is that the
saying is
only type of Jewish
irrelevant
person?
and a
No,
waste
no,
of
tell me,
our
do you think every Jewish person is an Ashkenazi Jew?
No, only the winners.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Okay, you're getting past the point. There's many.
No, the point was you
Oh,
make sure
You
shit.
actually fell apart with that.
No, you
I
don't.
said Jewish
You
ethnicity.
You said there's
Jewish
Jewish
ethnicity. There's no Jewish ethnicity.
I wonder if because they're live streaming and I'm like live stream their live stream, if people get pissed. Like if this, am I breaking any? Is this against the rules on YouTube? Someone chat in. Let me know. I know no one's watching. Someone chat in and let me know if this is breaking the rules. I'm about to switch.
Guys, can't make this dog pile. SNEAKO, finish your point, and then we'll let.
Ask your chat to show you the link where it says that Jews cannot intermarry because it's true, right? In Islam, you can marry other people of the book. We believe that other people of the book can go. You don't even have to be a Muslim to go to heaven.
Wait, is that why that's why you guys
Yeah, let her
marry-
finish, Zherka,
But that's why they marry
Let
goats?
Zherka stop.
Okay,
Let her
okay.
finish, man.
or camels.
As long as you are a good person in Islam, you could still make it to Jannah. You could still go to heaven as long as you have good intentions in your heart. It has nothing to do with.
Now these guys are trying to
Exclusionary
break
fucking
down.
religion is not true. But we could for every other one. It's just it's a
Thing? Yeah, let me close it, please.
This guy, man.
Jesus died for you. You owe him, nigga.
Thank you, Zherka.
Christ is king. Okay.
Jimmy G, this is the last, what, 1 or 2 here.
Let's see.
Ideas, you do your research,
Yeah.
and then you independently come to your own
audio went
conclusion.
Or can
Shout
I
out to
not
Destiny
hear
and
it?
Nick for having this
the
this
audio
debate. It was
gone?
great discourse.
Yes.
Nobody's
my
saying the
headphones
Jews
go?
have unlimited power. We're saying the
I think
influence is
so.
so
God damn
strong,
it.
it's affecting the way we have family units. They displace all the Muslims and bring them into white countries to attack the cross. We're saying the influence is strong. We're not saying what Destiny makes it out to be, where they're just like wizards and they control
lost
every
audio.
fucking corner of their flat earth.
And then also, I want to make this also very clear. Nobody here on the panel hates
No
Jewish people
sound.
at all.
Actually,
I have
he's
no
alive
sound.
together,
People
but
say
Nick
that
is
about
sick
Nick,
that
but it's
day.
not.
I'm
Oh,
a
there we
fucking
go.
Canadian. I need to get the citizenship if I'm gonna fucking die for this country, bro.
Yeah, Yeah, your
You're the
country. Yeah,
fucking-
your country is. Yeah, focus on your country. Try
I
to
got,
fucking
dual
hell up.
I got dual loyalty to Canada and US.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right, guys, we're gonna be back with some girls, man. We'll catch you guys back here. Chris, call it.
Midnight.
Hey, Jezebel.
Right. Maybe even
let's go.
sooner. But
hopefully.
But yeah, we'll be back with some lovely ladies, guys.
Okay. So that was the debate. It was mid. Okay. I'm gonna live watch their live reaction to Fresh and Fit after hours. Pew pew pew. Let's see. Let's go ahead and push this over. Bam.
And we are live. What's up, guys? Welcome to Fresh Fit Podcast After Hours Edition. We're joining some lovely ladies.
Damn,
Destiny,
they do
ZHERKA, and
fucking
some other people that are
long-ass
unnamed.
fucking
Let's get
podcasts.
into it.
Let's go.
All right. What's up, guys? Welcome to Fresh Fit Podcast, man. We're here with a couple girls and some special guests. Real quick, I'll make some announcements before we get into the show because we probably will be going on Rumble sometime soon. So, guys, go ahead, rumble.com/freshfit.
Why do these guys
already
always
know
leave?
we have conversations on there that you can't have anywhere else. To include the
Really?
show that we just had.
I just listened to their live debate. That conversation was ass. That's the conversation you have with a crackhead. That's the kind of conversation it was.
Really lit. We discussed a very taboo topic
That I just watched it. The shit sucked.
on there, so go check it
And
out.
we had 100K on Rumble.
Yes, yeah, I think I peaked out around
Thanks, guys.
102,000. So shout out to y'all.
Yep.
Also, guys, check us out on freshfit.locals.com. All the behind the scenes content is IC records before the shows, and then we put the Frank Castles right up after. So if you guys want to get all the exclusive stuff that isn't safe for YouTube, check us out over there on
Shout out to IC.
freshfit.locals.com. And then also get the merch, freshandfitstore.com. It's now Fresh and Fit Store, not Fresh and Fit Podcast Store. It's freshandfitstore.com, guys. We have to get a new URL because people are lame. And then also check out our Clips channel, guys. Fresh and Fit Clips. It's growing. 80% of you guys, though, are not subscribed. So make sure to subscribe to that channel so that we can go ahead and get 1 million subs and get another golden plaque.
Yes.
Well, that's if we last on YouTube that long.
We'll see.
And then also check us out, guys, our other one, more Fresh and Fit Clips. And then also check us out on Spotify, where Mo uploads video and audio every single day. So if you guys want to just listen to the audio version, be able to close out your phone, check us out over there on Spotify. And then Fresh, you want to talk about your vlog?
Yes, guys, we're going to be in Colombia. Actually, in 2 weeks, we're going to have a lifestyle adventure and podcast trip. Also, as well, if you want to see us behind the scenes, go check it out. And if you're in the CN Network, add value, give value, tap into that. Let's go.
Cool. And then check me out, guys, on FedReacts. You guys know I break down criminal cases over there. The last one I did was the Charles Manson murders, the Charles Manson family, the cult. Broke that down with Angie. It's a great show. Go check it out. Timestamps are there and everything else like that. So if you like true crime, you like serial killers, all that crazy stuff, terrorism, whatever it is, bank robberies, I cover it all over there on FedReacts. And then go get my book, Why Women Deserve Less, Amazon bestseller, hardcover, soft cover. I have it in Audible. Oh, pretty much all the versions that you guys want to consume it. So get over there and then Chris, go ahead.
Yes, and ladies, DM me at RC Poxon on IG. Make sure your IG page is public so I can see it. And yeah, let's have a great show.
All right.
Cool.
Without further ado, ladies, if you don't mind, give us your name.
This is what I want to watch. We need to get. They need to stop moving away from. The real question is who's gonna get kicked the fuck out. That's what I want to know.
Name, your age. Oh, shit, on the couch, actually.
Yeah, on the couch.
There you go.
What's up? Okay. So name is Yanelis. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Name is Yanelis. I'm 35.
Wait, 35?
Where are you from?
From Miami.
Okay. What do you do for work?
I'm a medical assistant.
Wait,
Okay.
medical?
And what's your highest education level completed?
I did some college.
You have an associate's or?
I have an associate's
Okay, cool. And is that and same thing in associate in
medical.
in medical? Okay.
Mhm.
And then what's your relationship status?
I'm single.
Cool.
Recently single.
Oh shit. Okay. What about you?
Hi, I'm Lita. I go by Jada.
Hey,
both names.
You said it's Lita?
Yeah, Lita, like Lita Hannes, and then I
Okay.
also go by Jada. That's my government.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay. Where are you from?
I am from here, but I'm
Okay.
Dominican Colombian.
She's dwarf. She's a dwarf.
Cool. What do
Yeah,
you do for work?
I am a nail tech.
Okay.
You are just adorable.
Thank you.
You're so small.
What's your highest education level completed?
Didn't finish high school or
Didn't
anything
finish.
after that.
Okay. Okay. And then what's your relationship status?
I am in a relationship.
Okay. How long have you been together?
We've been together for like 5 years.
Oh wow.
Nice. Okay. Cool.
Can he fight?
Yo, he could whoop ass. I ain't gonna lie.
All right. And how old are you? Sorry, how tall are you? You're like what?
I am
4'10"?
4'9".
4'9".
Yep.
So,
Holy shit! I knew she was a
We're
dwarf.
almost there.
are you legally a midget?
No.
I haven't really established it legally, but
4'8".
people tell me all the time, do it. Just
Yeah,
go ahead
because
and do
you
it.
can get a handicap sticker, right?
I'm about to.
Oh shit.
Like,
Shit, you might as well.
Might as well, man.
What a
Park
parking
close
lot.
by.
Shoot. Rush.
All right.
And that's
Nigga, what?
All right. Who's up next? Go ahead.
My name's Sydney, aka Rumble Wifey. I am 23
Wait,
years
Rumble wifey.
old.
Wait,
Is that SNEAKO's girl?
what the fuck? Chris, you fucked up, nigga. What you?
Wait, is that SNEAKO's girlfriend? I meant
Yeah.
this is the redneck from Kentucky.
I'm from Indiana.
Same shit.
How old are you, Sydney?
I'm 23.
23. And you're from Indiana?
I'm from Indiana.
Okay.
I'm a
Is that really Sneako's girlfriend?
massage therapist. Massage therapy school is my highest level of education, and I am.
How
single.
big is SNEAKO's cock?
Nice.
fuck, Zerka?
Good question.
All right. Massage therapy. And then what's your highest education level completed?
Massage therapy school.
Okay. And then what's your relationship status?
Single.
All right.
But what happened?
Different values.
Was it mutual at the exact
was-
same time at 1 a.m. you guys woke up? We want to break up. I want to break up. Like,
Yes,
or
Zerka,
did you
that's
get dumped
exact-
by the high
that's
value
exactly what
male?
happened. That
Did you get dumped by the millionaire?
no, we had
Happens.
different.
Hey, you guys dump guys
we
all the
wanted
time. Shit
different
happens,
things in
right?
life.
Yeah, no, hurts.
All right. Fantastic. What about you?
My name is Katya. I'm from Russia.
Wagner.
How old are you, Katya?
I'm almost 30.
So you're 29?
Yeah.
The wall. Watch
And
out.
then you're from Russia, you said?
Correct.
What part of Russia?
The last 10 years I live in Moscow, but like originally I'm from the place where it's bombing right now. So
Now, is Russia a shithole or is it fun to live there?
it's kind of okay. Just people not the same as here, but it's kind of fun.
They drink a lot.
That's kind of not really true. Maybe like somewhere like in a deep Russia they do because there's nothing else to do. But
And the men have big cocks or small?
I don't know. I didn't check everybody, but I think it's like
No, from your anecdotal experience, like so far, what do you think?
no, I don't know. I think it's just normal.
Ruski's normal. Got it.
Ruski's normal.
All right. So you're from Moscow, Russia. How long you been in Miami?
7 years.
Okay, you've been here 7 years. All right. And then what do you do for work?
I'm a fitness instructor.
Okay. And
Modeling
then what's your highest education level completed?
I finished like 5 years of education.
This is crazy. I always wonder, like, do these girls reach out to them and be like, I want to be on this show and get shit on? Or does, like, what's their, how do they I need to get people on my show. I need to start hosting a show and convincing people they need to, I'll pay them. I don't care. I'll be like, hey, come be on my show and we can talk about random stuff. And then I'll lose my mind and kick them out and be like, get out of here, you stupid bitch.
Engineering in Russia.
Okay. So you have your bachelor's degree, I guess?
Here it is, yes, but in Russia it's like
In
okay,
engineering?
Yeah.
Okay. You just didn't like it, I guess?
Not that much. I try my best, but
Okay. What's your relationship status?
single.
All right.
Correct.
Cool. What about you?
We could tell.
My name is Anastasia. I'm also from Russia, not from Moscow, but almost from Siberia.
Okay.
So I just
How
moved.
old are you?
I'm 21.
21. And then, all right. So I'll put Siberia, I guess. Almost Siberia, Russia. How long you been here in Miami?
Almost a year. I just
Okay.
moved from New York.
Okay. What do you do for work?
I'm a graphic designer and tattoo artist.
And where in New York?
Queens.
There's a lot of black people. Huh?
Yeah, like
Jewish.
Okay, we got something for that.
Jewish.
And then what's your highest education level completed?
I complete a bachelor degree in Russia for advertisement and PR.
Yeah, but that doesn't translate here, right? That degree's like worth nothing here.
Jesus fuck.
What's your relationship status?
I think I'm single.
I think so too. Did the guy break up with you or what? You think?
He just blocked me, but
Oh yeah, you're
okay.
single then. Why did he block you? Men don't normally block women.
That's a red flag.
I don't know. Maybe I'm.
She's Russian.
I'm Russian blonde. It's too tough for him.
But you're soft spoken. Was this man a homosexual?
He's Jewish.
He's sorry.
Oh Jesus! Oh wow!
Oh,
Save it for Rumble.
All right, yeah. Okay. What about you?
Hi, I'm Candace. I'm
Hey.
26. I unfortunately do OnlyFans.
Where are you from originally?
From a small town in Texas.
What the fuck?
How did that happen?
I just made a joke that they didn't find very funny.
About who?
What just happened?
It was just, it wasn't about anybody in particular.
Okay.
Well, can we hear the joke?
Yeah, can we hear the
'Cause
joke?
We're edgy. Don't worry.
I'm just curious.
Okay, I accidentally did blackface.
Hey, I did.
What
too.
the fuck? I accidentally did blackface.
I'm appalled as a black man.
It happens.
It-
No, I'm just kidding. I don't care.
It was really an accident, and then I was just like, I had a
What do you-
black.
you fell
beauty
into
mask
mud?
on.
Like, what happened?
I had a black beauty face mask on,
Okay.
and I was just like Snapchatting.
Did you get the red lipstick too?
No, I didn't do all that.
Okay.
I was just Snapchatting. I took a picture, and I'm like, when he says he only likes black girls, and it was just a
Whoa, nigga, you know.
And then,
But you're white. You're white, right? You
Yeah.
so you can't do that. I'm white.
I've never heard of blackface.
But I'm white. I could never do that. That's like racist.
It
That's, this nigga racist.
Low-key the most Texas thing I've ever heard.
Okay.
But yeah,
I
so
lost
like within
connection.
7 minutes,
What's
it went
happening?
viral. It was on CNN, New York Daily News, New York Times. It was like the #1 trending thing on Twitter.
them?
And I'm like, I'm not racist.
Google, you know that
Oh, God. Check.
a little
Oh.
racist.
That's weird.
Oh,
there we go.
single.
It's back, yeah.
Okay, well,
It's back,
There's,
it's back.
there's Destiny.
And it went real viral. Like they literally petitioned to get her kicked out of school.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Did
I
they,
actually
you got kicked out for real?
Yeah.
Wow.
If you Google, tell them to Google.
Nick, I think
Yo, if you're gonna tell the story, tell it all the way. Tell it all the way. Don't half-ass it.
Basically, you can literally just Google Oklahoma State racist.
Wait,
and
I was in Oklahoma when
Now
this
she's flexing.
happened
Now
because
she's
I
just
went to
flexing.
school at OCU and I remember you.
Hold on.
Wow.
Hold on.
No.
Hold on. Now,
Wait.
now
No, show
Myron,
me or no?
my boss Myron, you know the clan robe?
Oh, this guy.
Yes,
You guys are the perfect couple. If you fuck this girl, you gotta fuck this girl in the robe. She does blackface, you fuck her in the robe.
We're still on YouTube, bro.
Oh, okay, okay.
Save it on YouTube. Come on.
My bad.
Save it.
We got black robes now.
Yeah. Well, when did that happen? What year did that happen?
2017.
Okay, right when Trump took office.
I was a smart. I was smart too. I had a lot going for me. It was 4.0.
Yeah.
Full ride scholarship.
No, you should fuck Myron.
What the fuck, Zherka, man. Come on.
It's the richest guy in the room. I'm not competing with the richest guy, right?
No,
Plus,
no,
it should
stop.
scare me because I don't like black chicks.
That
All
sucks.
right.
That
What about
sucks.
you? We're gonna move on. I hate this guy.
God.
All right. Hi, everybody.
Please go ahead.
I'm
Say,
Angelina.
what's your name?
I'm Angelina. I'm 26 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I actually studied opera. I went to school in Oklahoma.
You're from Oklahoma? You said
no.
originally?
Originally, I grew up in St. Pete, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, I live in LA now.
Okay. What do you do for work?
I am an actor and a content creator.
Okay. What kind of content do you create?
I do UGC for companies, so you'll see me on like Fabletics, Melee, stuff
What
like
kind of acting?
that. Rom-com, comedy. I have a horror movie coming out this
So you
year.
can do anything?
Yeah.
Can you act intelligent? Okay, we'll see.
Okay, and then you said you went to college in Oklahoma. Do you get your bachelor's degree?
Yeah,
Okay, and what'd you get it in?
opera. I went
In
to
opera. Okay.
classical music. Yeah.
And then what school did you go to?
Oklahoma City University.
Wow.
All right.
Which is why I knew about her.
Okay.
because
What was
it-
the consensus at school when that was happening? What was
so Oklahoma is like a different breed of school, and then I went to a private school on top of that. And you were in a sorority, right?
Yes, sir.
You weren't? Okay, because Alpha
No.
Phi had an issue at my school. and
Alpha
then
Phi, the whores.
I was not an alpha phi, but some of my friends were.
But we alpha agree that all sorority girls are whores, right?
Well, I
Can we all
wasn't
agree that all if you're a sorority
Alpha
girl, you're a whore?
I don't think that's true.
All right, let's let her finish real quick. All right, so you heard about it. You said OKU, right?
OCU.
OCU. Is that no? You guys aren't the Sooners.
No,
Okay.
that's yeah.
All right, cool. And then what about you? Cool. What do you do for work?
I actually recently just started working for a tech startup about 2 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah, they always say that.
And then, what's your highest education level completed?
Holy shit.
Almost an associate's degree.
Well, it's about completing with something tangible,
Right, high
Or some
school,
kind of
high school.
certification, like a massage therapy. I guess
your father.
With my father.
No. Romantically, don't worry about him.
I am actually taken.
All right. How long y'all been together?
Like the movie.
I'm
actually obeying
that
you.
took too long.
Suspense.
Have
How
you seen
long
the
are we
movie
together?
Taken?
Yeah, it's
commentary.
It was really recent, actually. I really know. It was like
Bruh.
just friends, and then it.
You friends with lollipop chilling? Like,
question was just.
I'd rather react to the clips. I like better the clips. This is fucking boring.
All right. And then how long have you guys known each other prior? And then
real name.
Lauren.
Okay.
Where you from?
Yeah, I'm from California and
part?
Laguna Beach.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you do for work?
I
Thanks.
plan on being an attorney once I'm certified. I just passed the bar, but
Good job. So would we say you're
okay?
You just completed law school?
Yeah, I completed law.
You know what? I'm gonna end this fucking live stream. I got a lot of editing to do. I got a lot of stuff. Things need to be posted tomorrow. But thanks for whoever stuck around and drudged through this most craziest podcast ever. The most hated men on YouTube combined to bring us some super boring shit, if I'm being honest. But hey, fuck it. That's what happens. I don't know how to wrap this up, so I'm gonna say thank you. Bye. Have a good night.